What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? I can't hear you. Let me see if my microphone is working. With a razor. There we go. That's weird. All right. So I'm playing some World of Warcraft. Just continuing on my journey. No. Probably gonna play for like an hour or two. See how it goes. Alright, let's go sell all my junk. What's up? What's up?
Yo, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. How long does it take for someone to usually get in here?
It usually takes a couple minutes.
Okay.
But when they come in, we gotta be ready to bait.
Sure.
Gotta be ready. You
Really,
better
like,
be ready.
what do most people like start out like? What do most people want to debate about?
Generally, a lot of people like to argue about monopolies or how it
Okay.
would work. Generally, they like to ask how it works, how it would work in the real
Yeah.
world,
Okay.
or what if like somebody got to take it over? What if some outside force takes us over? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty typical from what I've seen.
But yeah, a lot of people tend to ask a very wide variety of questions. There's like a lot of people in this Discord right now, and I would expect somebody to join up eventually, so
Okay.
if they feel like it. But either way, I'm playing World of Warcraft, so I'm hanging out. Do you have a computer?
Yeah. 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 I don't have like a desktop setup now.
Ah,
I'm on a
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm playing Turtle WoW, World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How old
Yeah,
are
I've
you?
seen in your videos. I'm 18.
You're 18. So you're an ANCAP, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So how long you been an ANCAP for?
Honestly, only it's like I would say probably, how do I frame this? Like maybe over the last year or so, I've been I've become more interested in like, I guess like economics and like political discourse and whatnot. And I've always kind of, I think, been like libertarian leaning from what I can remember. And in the last few months, I've sort of leaned into that more heavily, and then within the last couple months, I kind of realized like I don't really believe in government, and that's kind of how I ended up here.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad
What
that
about you?
these guys don't want to show up. Nah. Anyways, it's just us, it seems.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're
KingSithis
pretty
is
new.
now live streaming
You're
World of
pretty new to
Warcraft. Debate
anarcho-capitalism,
An
so it
Ancap.
seems. I've always been a libertarian myself, and I'm pretty new to anarcho-capitalism. I've only been an ANCAP for like maybe a couple years, maybe like 1 year at the most.
Hmm.
And I was about to say I meant to say a couple months. I meant to say a couple months, not a couple years. But at 1 year at the most. And I've just in that time I've just been doing nothing but reading and trying to learn as much as I can about it. And the more that I learn about it, the more I agree with it. Um, and I'm trying to debate people because I want to hear every argument. I want to get better at it. You know.
Yeah. Just to be clear, did you say like you kind of, I guess, first started labeling as an ANCAP like a couple months ago or a year ago? What did you say?
I would say about a couple, like probably a year ago. Yeah, about a year
Okay,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I've just been studying anarcho-capitalism and its ideology and the beliefs and everything, and yeah, I've just been really agreeing with it a lot. So, and then I like completely changed my whole YouTube channel to an ANCAP YouTube channel, and now all I talk about is anarcho-capitalism, and I debate people about it now. And I read, and while I'm at work, I read books and try to fill my head with as much information as I can.
That's good, yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a forklift driver.
Oh, okay. Oh,
What's going on, Naji? Oh, Altic? Oh, it's you.
who's this guy? What do you mean? You said that so.
What's up, bro? What do you
Not
want?
much, just hanging out, chilling.
Hanging out?
Oh, yeah, that's about it. Watching some college football.
You want to debate some ANCAPs? What's up?
ANCAPs? What do you mean ANCAPs?
Oh, we're ANCAPs, anarcho-capitalists.
I mean, it depends on the topic.
Do you disagree
Like,
with
what do
us
you
on
think?
anything? What do you believe
I'm
in?
not. Yeah, so I'm like an anti-abortion advocate.
Oh, we're evictionist.
Yeah, remember I ran reductios on you last time about like having smecks with your daughter if she was dead, and you said yeah.
I said
Remember?
it wouldn't be a rights violation to have sex with a dead body. Technically, no.
No, but sentience is the only time you give moral
So it wouldn't really be your
consideration
daughter
to-
anymore. It would just be a dead body.
Yeah. Okay. So like you had a daughter, she died. You had sex with her. That would be okay.
Well, I never said it would be okay, but it wouldn't be a rights violation.
Okay, cool. But like, what would it be? Would it be morally wrong, or how would you justify that?
It would be like you're not violating anyone's rights, so technically, like I can't say I wouldn't
It's
stop.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could personally think it's disgusting and
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
people should not do that, right? But fundamentally, it's not a rights violation to have sex with something that is dead, because it's not a person anymore. So
Okay, cool. So what is a person?
something that's alive.
What do you mean alive? Plants
Like
are
it have to
alive.
be alive.
Plants-
Like it's a like a living human being.
Not a human being, because other things are alive. So what's the qualification there? Like, what's your metaphysical argument there?
Wait, a living human being? That's not good
Yes.
enough.
After conception, a zygote, embryo, fetus is a living human being, right?
Well, in the womb, there's still a human being too.
True, I agree with that. But like, so it's violating the rights of a living human being. Is that correct?
If you kill it, yeah.
So abortion is killing the unborn. So that's a violation.
Yeah, we're
of
against
right?
we're against abortion. We're evictionists. Well, I'm eviction. I don't know about ComCom. Do you know what evictionism is, or ComCom?
I'm kind of familiar with it. I don't.
Okay. Okay.
I have a stance on abortion, but I wouldn't call myself necessarily an evictionist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, King. So you're not for killing. You're just for, you can say, causing the direct death. Like, for example,
Not necessarily, because removing the baby doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna die. It's gonna die.
Well,
You could
well,
put it
that's
into like
true.
a synthetic womb or something, right?
True. So like, but again, what would be? Well, it's going to be contradicting to your moral consideration, because you said in our last discussion, only things that have sentience have moral consideration. Is that correct?
Well, I said with the capacity for it. Whereas that
Yes.
would be species wide in terms of like all human beings. And that would also include children because they have the capacity for it, even though they're not able to at that moment. So it's
Okay.
like,
So, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. So you're using kind of a substance view, and the pro-life argument. It's called substance view and identity view, but you're only saying that it's okay to kill these groups of humans if just by eviction, but not directly killing them.
well, evicting is not necessarily killing because all you're doing is removing the person from your property. If somebody dies as a
Yeah.
result of, like, for instance, I would look at it the same as, like, let's say you evict somebody and from your house and then they died of like starvation or something. I would say you're not responsible for that.
Okay, cool. So, and I
The
understand what
same
you're
thing with the
saying.
kid, you know.
Yeah, like, so if you kicked out your child, right, for violating a rule within your house, and let's say you kick them out in a freezing weather, you just evicted your child, but they freeze to death on the porch, or let's say off your property. You think that that would be justified?
Well, justified? No. Do I think
Well, it's
that?
justified
Do you think I
because
think there's a
you're,
rights violation going on there? Neglect is
yeah.
not a rights violation, no, because you're
Okay.
not. No person is owed your to be on your property. Now, if
Okay.
somebody wanted to take care of that child and they saw that kid
Yeah.
there and they were like, "Hey, I want to take care of that kid," you would not have the right to restrict them from doing so.
Okay, and I get that, but again, if there was no one there and your child starved to death or froze to death,
It's not. Yeah,
you're
that's not
not.
your. It's not up to you.
You don't
But I
think
would
that's an
assume.
absurdity?
I mean, it to do something like that would be absurd, but to say it's a rights violation would not be absurd because technically you're not violating their rights. You're not. You don't owe them
Yeah.
anything.
But the
Well, I mean,
child is
I
your
would argue. I
responsibility,
would.
no?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I would still argue. Hold on. I would still argue. Yes, your direct action would still, like, freezing weather, hot weather, allow your child to cook to death. I mean, I think that would be absurd and not should even be allowed. Like, essentially,
So you
what?
support slavery?
No, it wouldn't be slavery. No.
No, but you're saying that
I,
I ought to give up my property. I ought to
yes. Yes.
expend
You have
my
a moral.
resources to somebody whom I don't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't want to. You have a moral obligation to your
Yeah,
child.
I disagree with you on that. I don't
I
believe
know.
you
I
do.
know. Yeah, true. That's our disagreement. So
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, letting your child burn to death or starve to death or maybe be sexually assaulted should not and ought not just should, but ought
Whoa, whoa,
not
whoa,
to
whoa,
be
whoa! So
allowed.
I never said. Whoa! I never
Hmm.
said it's okay to let somebody get sexually assaulted. If somebody sexually assaults that child, the person who does that is a rights violator. So
But what
there's a
rights if
difference
they don't have
between.
sentience?
There's a different.
What
Huh?
right? But what rights if they don't have sentience
They
does a
do.
thing have?
They just don't have
Okay,
the. They don't have the ability to expand it, use it at the moment because they're a kid, but they will. So
okay, but
because of
if
that,
the
you can't.
unborn
They're still a self owner.
okay, but if the unborn, right, or the unborn are property, do you agree with that?
No. Well, unborn?
Yes.
No, they're not property.
Okay, so they're not property,
They're self
but
owners.
they're self owners.
Mm-hmm. But you're a self
How?
owner too.
Well, I mean, it depends what you describe as self owner.
You're the owner of your own body.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, right? Like, I get, like, I wouldn't necessarily owner. I mean, that's fine to use that language, but I would say I'm capable to do whatever I want to my body. But doing that, I would still say can be
But
immoral or allowing.
do you disagree with the whole idea that you're the owner of your body?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
So, like, when I say owner, I don't think we have a inherent right to do whatever we can. Like,
You an
meaning,
ownership would be the right to exclude other people from that scarce resource, and because your body is a scarce resource, I would argue
yeah,
you have the right to exclude other people from your body. And
from
if you
your
don't
body or
believe
just
that,
the resource.
well, your body is is the resource.
Yeah, sure. So, like, again, for example, I'll give you another example. So, like, a mother is within the forest and she's lost and she's breastfeeding her child. that I would say that child has a inherent ownership of the milk from her breast in her breast.
Yeah,
Like meaning
I would
you
disagree
can't
with
let,
you on that. I'm not sure where that baby gets that right from. Not sure where the baby
yeah,
gets that right from.
yeah. So it would be based off the mother's body
But wait, what if
produces
she
milk.
uses formula? Would that then be a violation of her right, that baby's rights, because she's not breastfeeding the baby?
No,
And that's
no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. So like
but wait a
again,
minute.
so like
You just said that the milk is the baby's, and if she doesn't give the baby the milk and she uses formula, then
yeah,
she's violated that baby's rights from your view.
yeah. So exactly. So I would still make the same argument, right? So
So
the
you
milk is
gotta
for who?
force women to breastfeed instead of using
Yeah, sure.
formula from your
No,
point
no,
of
no,
view.
no, 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 no. Don't straw man my position.
I'm not sure,
So
man. That's literally what you said.
okay. So what is the milk for? Go ahead.
Drinking,
For who?
drinking.
For who?
Oh, the baby. Or the,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
That
not
proves it. There you
necessarily.
go. Thank
Not
you.
necessarily.
Yes.
What if
Women-
I want to drink the mother's milk? It's
Yeah,
not
it's not for
necessarily
you,
for
but
the baby.
Why? Yeah,
It's
why
for
is
whoever the
biolog-
mother decides it's for.
No, that's false. Why does the body produce milk? For the unborn child.
Yeah, but
Even
hold
before
on. But
birth.
that doesn't change the
Uh-huh.
fact that it's still the mother's milk.
No, it's not. It absolutely changes.
It's
the
in
fact because
her body produced it. It's in her
Doesn't-
body. It belongs to her.
No, it does. Okay, again.
What if she
I'm
wants to
gonna
suck
make
her
a
own titty
logic-
and drink the milk?
Sure, but why does the milk even exist? Thank you very much for
It
the
doesn't matter.
child.
It doesn't
It
matter.
does.
It doesn't
does.
belong
So
to the
again,
kid.
It does because again, my logical justification: she produces milk for the unborn, as you admitted.
No, I disagree with you.
Okay, that's fine. But again, so
Well,
do you think
generally
you're-
that's so, but for the most part, fundamentally, the mother is the owner of that milk. That's her. It's in her breast, so she doesn't have to breastfeed.
Well,
if
I
she
would
doesn't
say
want
she
to.
does. I would say she absolutely does, even if she doesn't want to.
So she needs to be forced to breastfeed.
Yeah, sure. Like if the baby said, "Hey, that milk's mine,"
Why? Why?
because the milk is for the baby. That's why.
So,
I
but
Wait,
mean,
why does it
again-
matter that the? Why does that matter though, Atix?
yeah,
Sure, because that matters because that milk is for the baby, meaning it's the baby's, not her milk, but the baby's milk.
But it comes from her body.
yeah.
That is for the baby.
It doesn't
That's-
matter if it's
does.
for the
Yes, it
if it's
does
for the
matter.
baby biologically because it
Yes,
comes
it does
from her
matter.
body. She's entitled to that milk because it is produced by her own body and she owns her own body.
No. Again, I disagree with that fundamentally because again, here's the option. Like I said, you will let a baby starve to death, right? She has that option.
Wait. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Semen is produced for women to impregnate them. So should men
No,
be
no,
barred
yeah.
from ejaculating because it's not natural for a man
Yes.
to ejaculate as
No,
opposed to ejaculate a woman to impregnate her?
No, that's not why semen is for ejaculating within her. So semen is for to create.
So the
human
only
beings.
time you're allowed to ejaculate is when you're doing it inside a woman. Is that what you're saying?
No, again, no, not at all. So I would say to that question is that sperm. Yeah, you can laugh all you want, but sperm is for what? What is sperm for?
Impregnating women.
Yes, producing life, right?
Yeah.
Does it mean women have to be impregnated?
Okay,
Yeah,
according
but
to
you
your
can say
logic,
that of
if it-
milk. You can say that about
not
the
at
milk.
all.
Yes, you can.
True.
No, not.
You don't have to
No, you
feed the milk to the baby.
Okay, you can't say that because again, when it comes to pregnancy, we're involving another human being, right?
When you're talking about
Yeah.
impregnating another person, that also involves another person, right?
Yeah. So no one has to force someone to get pregnant.
You don't have to
I'll
force
make
somebody
an
to
argu-
give them milk.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
No, you don't.
Okay, you can say that. That's fine. This is where a fundamental disagreement is, right?
Yeah.
So you take a property rights as absolute.
Yes, 100%.
I don't.
I'm
I
an
don't. So
ANCAP.
yeah, that's where. Okay, cool. That's fine. But again, like I ran the reductios on you before, right? You let the baby starve to death. You let the baby freeze and
you're
burn
Christian,
to death.
right?
Yeah, I am.
So you use Christian ethics to justify your ideology, right?
No, not at all. It depends.
Then how
It
do you
depends.
justify your ideology?
Sure, it's called the substance view in philosophy. I can send you like where that comes from. Like
So-
same with the flow argument. Yeah.
so you don't believe in
depends.
God?
So I do believe in God, but
You
I
don't
don't have
believe
to
in
believe
Christian
in God.
ethics?
I do believe in Christian ethics, but I
Okay, so
don't
if your
have
God
to.
instructed you to rape a dog, would you do it?
Yes, remember. Yes, remember. We ran through this. So if not my God, your God too. If God exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember we ran through this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone, listen closely. If a God exists, right, and God is a sole bearer of morality, and God determines what's objective, and God tells us what to do, and we reject doing that, who is wrong? Him and I, all of us would be wrong. It wouldn't be my God. It would be your God too. Remember our last time we had
So
this
wait, wait, wait,
discussion?
wait, wait, wait. So you're saying that like if a living
Mhm.
child was in front of you and God
Yeah.
said go and do this sexual act to her, you're saying that
Uh-huh.
you would do it?
No, I wouldn't do it. So I would be defying God.
Wouldn't that
So
be
you're
Okay,
not.
wrong?
would you?
Wouldn't
Oh,
that go
yeah.
against your religion, though?
No, because my religion doesn't teach that in Christian ethics and virtue ethics. Okay, so
Yeah, but your
so I'll
God.
run
Wait,
this.
wait, wait. That's
Yeah,
not true. Your Bible tells you to obey God, right?
it does. Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're disobeying God, right?
So would you, right? If this God exists, you would disobey God.
Yeah, but I'm not a Christian.
It doesn't. You don't have to be. The same logic
Yeah, but you
applies
are.
because
Wait, wait, wait. It does
it,
matter because you're saying
no.
you're a Christian. I believe in this God, and therefore I should never disobey him. But then if he says something I don't like, I'm gonna disobey him.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
That's not
True.
consistent.
No, it is very consistent. For example, so this God exists, right? This so
Mm-hmm.
let's just if this God exists, you would agree that you and I both disobey God, right?
I don't believe that God exists.
I don't care what you believe. I'm asking to be logically consistent. So
Sure,
let
whatever. If you're talking about do I
sure.
disobey the Bible sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, I know
Yeah.
you. You're from
Yeah.
the guy from the
True.
internet.
I
Yeah,
am
so
from
we
the
disobey
internet.
God.
What's going
I'm the
on,
dad
So
of
we
man?
the
both
internet. Hey,
Nice to
not
meet you,
much.
man. Nice to meet you. Sorry,
Nice
I
to meet you too.
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Whatever.
Are you an ANCAP?
Yes, I
Are you
am.
the ANCAP?
Yeah.
That means anarcho-capitalist?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called distributism?
No, sure. Let me know. What is it?
Okay, so that's like I don't know how I've heard this similar to anarcho-capitalism, but it's the idea of
Hey King, I'm sorry. I won't cut
uh,
off your guys' discussion, but King, I'll send
family
you a DM. We'll
businesses being
schedule a
kind of the
debate on
main,
YouTube.
like the mainstay.
Sure, fine.
like,
Just message me.
All right.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just
Yeah, no
telling you.
problem.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a little bit like of a revival of like the late medieval economic system where like the success of families is the priority of the economy. And in some sense, so that it's not capitalistic in the sense of saying like they banned having chains and like, like conglomerates, like everyone had to have family businesses and they were protected somewhat from competition.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you could tell me what anarcho-capitalism is. It's kind of like, it's not laissez-faire capitalism.
It is. So
Oh, okay.
anarcho-capitalism is basically the idea of no state, no central control over the means of production, and
Yeah, okay.
that would then and private property rights over the means of production. So we believe that the means of production should be privately owned. And fundamentally, we
How do
believe.
you avoid monopolies being created?
Well, fundamentally, we believe that monopolies are created only under a statist system. A state is the only, is the only way to create a monopoly. The reason why is because the state is the thing that restricts other people from competing with these large corporations. When you look at the businesses in the United States that have the biggest monopolies, it is no coincidence that it's the most heavily regulated industry. So, for instance, if you look at the medical insurance industry, it's the most heavily regulated industry, and you see a very few companies that are able to go into it. The reason why that is because there's so much regulation, the businesses that have a lot of money can use that regulation to basically starve out smaller businesses that can't afford to pay those large businesses and those large fees, and then they could be the only ones in town basically providing a service. So when you take away those regulations and you allow for a laissez-faire market and you get rid of copyright and patent laws and all of these zoning laws, minimum wage laws, and you allow for competition, also licensing laws, you allow for competition for supply to meet the demand, you would see lower prices for all goods and services. And you wouldn't expect businesses to grow very large at all, because as soon as business gets large and makes a large profit, that will then signal to other businesses to then recreate that product. And then because there's no state to interfere in the recreation of that product, then that business won't grow large at all.
Okay, but would you, do you mind just like playing it out a little, like with the just kind of theoretical, hypothetical? Okay, so if we take something pure, almost purely capitalistic, like say gold, the gold rush, so they discover in where was it, Colorado or whatever, San Francisco, they find streaks of gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this land is not very valuable. People buy up land where there are claims, right? So they find a streak of gold, they got their little pans or whatever. Then the bigger players come in and buy them out. Wouldn't that happen?
Well, the thing is, under a free market system, as soon as you buy out that company, that will then signal to other companies, hey, as soon as I create a product that then it competes with this business, I will be immediately bought out, my whole company, and then I could just sit back and rake in the cash. So then as that business, because there's no, under a free market, there would be no restriction or regulation stopping that business from more businesses from popping up, that large businesses will just buy up every single new business over and over and over and over until they just run out of money. And then once they run out of money, then the smaller businesses will come in and sort of just make the supply meet the demand. But what ends up happening under basically a system of regulation is that the state can make it illegal for people to come in and compete with those businesses. And once you restrict the allowance of those businesses to compete, you then make it easier for those businesses to basically stomp out their competition.
Well, okay. Well, actually, this is my daughter Grace.
Hello, Grace.
Would you say this is an anarcho-capitalist, Grace? So he believes in kind of laissez-faire capitalism. He believes that you avoid monopolies through competition, which I think is interesting. But here's the thing. We, a couple of years ago, entered this space, live streaming space. Okay, and I've run a few businesses before, but you have highly competitive. I don't think you'd say this is highly regulated by the government. Okay, there is a platform, but like especially at the lower levels, there's really no one meddling. Okay, but what has happened is there are groups of people who gather together and they exclude others from competing. Now, what is the mechanism? Because they want to control an area. Now, you can still compete, but you're excluded by these kind of cliques online. So,
well, you would have to find a clever way around it. You would have to find some clever way around it.
Okay, you just like try to outcompete them.
Basically, in the market, that's generally what happens. Most when you look on the internet, most big streamers don't become the biggest streamers for long. They usually go very big.
Yeah, that's true.
For a little while, and then they eventually die out, and then somebody comes up bigger. They get bigger, and they get bigger than even that person. Oh my god! And then they eventually die down, and then another person comes out. So even in because it's
I don't really think that's true. I haven't really noticed that to be true. There's like a couple big streamers who've been big streamers for decades.
It does seem like they do,
but they have their ups and downs, right? They're never
Ice Poseidon.
Yes, but generally there are a lot of other streamers that have surpassed them and gotten even bigger than them, right? And not to say that they're not still popular; those guys are still popular. But there are many streamers who have surpassed them over the years who are newer, and as you see more competition and as you see more people coming in and those guys get older, people move on to other things.
But wouldn't they wouldn't allow it, but what if the biggest streamers colluded with each other to protect as a group their market share and really exclude new streamers by like lying about them, putting them down, right? Which is really, it is what actually happens. How does this mechanism get upended? You're saying by the little guy kind of having a better idea and competing?
Well, it depends on what you mean. It depends on whether or not they're violating your rights. I mean, lying about another person, I would argue, is not necessarily a rights violation because you're not stealing anything from them or harming them physically in any way. You're just not being honest. So if they're lying about them, I mean, you could lie about them in reverse, right? Too. So, I mean, that's not off the table for you. Also, I mean, as long as they're not physically forcing you from not starting a live stream, then, I mean, how you figure out a way to get popular is technically up to you. And even though, and I would say this, there are many people who have been canceled on almost every single website, and despite that are still popular, such as Nick Fuentes. Not saying I like these guys, but like such as maybe somebody like Nick Fuentes or Andrew Tate or all of these big guys, or Sneeko, right? All of these guys have been canceled on every single. They're trying to get them out of the market, right? And yet they're still going. The reason why is because they have there's a market for their audience. There's people that want to watch them. There are people that want to see what they're up to. And so long as there is a website, because we live in a free market of websites, which means that you'll find some website that'll probably be able to host you, right? There are ways
around things.
Yeah, so that generally is what ends up happening. I would argue probably Nick Fuentes would probably be a lot more popular if he wasn't banned on all these websites. But I would argue that despite the fact that he's banned on all these websites, he's still very popular. So I think competition always proves to be good. Sorry, go ahead.
An alternative to competition for streaming popularity, let's say something like that.
What would the alternative be? Government regulation, but I do think I don't know how KingSithis would say this, but I think there should be self-regulation among streamers, like kind of like where the people who are doing crazy shit are excluded, but like with the system of sort of rules, and then the people who can behave. And I do think platforms do that to some degree, but I do think that there should be a mechanism where people who have something interesting to say kind of get pushed up quicker than having to come up against this massive sort of existing, these conglomerates or niches or whatever you want to call them, who try to exclude anything new. And I do think that happens when there is competition, and I don't see why there wouldn't be. If I was a big streamer, I would want to control the competition as much as I could.
But there's not much you can really do in a free market. The thing is, unless without the power of the state to literally go in and forcefully stop people from starting up a laptop and booting up a live stream, what can you really do to stop them? I mean, there's not much you can do.
Well, you just make it very, very hard, including, threatening them, trying to destroy their reputation.
Well, I mean, threatening them physically, that would be a rights violation. So I would be against that.
Oh, so you think the government should be involved at that level, only when there's violence, sort of a threat of violence?
Oh, I don't believe in a state. I believe in privatizing the production of defense. So that would be defense.
You hire your own personal army?
And no, not necessarily like that. There would be insurance companies that would insure. There could be insurance companies that could insure your private property. So let's say hey, I want to insure myself and all my property from my land and all my goods. I could pay a certain amount of dollars every single month. And let's say somebody comes in and steals it, robs me, or harms me. They will pay me the restitution. They will go to that person, and then it will extract that restitution from that person or from that person's private security agency. And
you don't believe there should be any government whatsoever?
Well, I don't believe in a state. The state is. Are you guys live streaming? I just wanted to know.
Yeah, you say you're live.
Oh, yeah.
I am live streaming too. Are you live streaming?
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. That's good with me. I was just wondering. Okay, cool. So the reason why I'm against the state is because the state is a forceful. It doesn't ask you for a permission for the things in which you. In which it serves to you. It's a force. What taxation fundamentally is a forceful extraction of wealth from the innocent. No state comes up to you and asks you, hey, do you want to fund this war over in the Middle East? Do you want to take this money and spend it on the police throwing people in prison for victimless crimes? No, the state comes up to you and says, hey, we are going to spend your money on this thing, and if you do not like it, we're going to throw you in a cage, and if you resist, we're going to shoot you. And fundamentally, as libertarians, we look at that as a violation of private property rights. That's a violation of our rights. So we do not see the state.
Don't you think a family is like that? Isn't
Sorry,
a family basically like? Isn't a family basically like that? You don't have.
Well, not necessarily, because when you're a kid, you don't. It's a little bit different because you're a kid and you don't have the ability to make your own choices. So
yeah.
But if you're an adult, I mean, you don't have to be in your family. That to me seems consensual. You could just leave your family if you want. I might feel bad.
Right, of course. But
Mhm.
then you become part of the human family, don't you think?
Mhm. But the thing is,
And there's sort of like a dad that rules.
well, no, because that's not. He's not my dad.
No, I understand he's not your dad, but like, wouldn't you want someone to appeal to if like one of the other people are like being violent?
Well, yes, that's
Would
why
you
I
see it as
believe in
natural?
private security, insurance agencies, charities, militias, private ownership of weapons.
But don't you think that's just going to descend into like who has the most money, has the most guns?
Not necessarily. So like, just think about it like this. There's a lot of countries today with a lot of money, a lot of weapons, a lot of guns, and there are a lot of smaller countries around them. Like for instance, like the Germany has the weapons to take over France and maybe fight France, right? Maybe I'm not saying they're going to win or lose, but they have the ability, they have the weapons, and if they win, they would definitely have a lot to gain from it. Why don't they do it? The reason why they don't
But
do
the
it is
country-
huh? Oh, I was just going to
Go
answer.
ahead.
I was just going to say the
Yeah,
reason
go
why
ahead.
they don't do it is because they have a whole bunch of other countries that will step in and basically stop that country from and help that
Right.
country if that one country decides to basically be crazy or tyrannical. And it could
Would
work.
you want to live in Somaliland?
No, because Somalia is not anarcho-capitalist.
But it's anarchic.
Yeah, but they're not Ancap. So there's a difference between like anarchist means just no rulers, no. But whatever you are, whatever
Who's
you
gonna
you
keep
just
it
you can call
Ancap?
yourself anarchist,
Anarchy is
but there's that's just a symbol of like, oh, I don't believe in a state. But what you replace the state with differentiates you, say, from a Ancom or an Ancap or an syndicalist, right? So to
But
go back
who
to
is
what I was.
we? What you replace your state with? There is no state, so how are you gonna make anything anything? It's anarchy.
No, well, you're
Literally.
gonna this. What would be the thing that would do the service that would provide the services of the state, like protection, law enforcement, and arbitration, like in courts.
But
Exactly.
who cares what you say? It's going to be nature's going to take over, right? So without a state, what you find is like warlords take over in every situation.
Not necessarily.
Violent warlords.
Why again? So then you would have to argue with.
Give me an example when that hasn't happened.
Oh, so why doesn't France invade Germany?
France
Right now.
is a state. France is a state.
Yes,
It's
but
not
there's a
safe.
reason why they don't invade Germany, right?
You're saying like in a sense all of the nations are
Yeah.
like individuals?
Yeah, so these are countries, right, that have overwhelming force. They have a lot of weapons, they have a lot of guns, and they could probably benefit from taking over another country. The same way, like a warlord, right, could take over some other country with using their war, right? Because I consider the state to be just another warlord or another criminal organization. So the main reason why they don't take that country over, and this is the point that I was trying to get to. Which is the main reason why they don't invade each other is because they have other countries in which they have alliances with that'll come in defense of them if one
I
decides
don't
to be
understand.
tyrannical. Hold on, allow me to finish. So that could also very easily apply to, say, private corporations. If there's one private corporation that decides to take over one other private corporation, because there would be competing firms within the area, those other ones would most likely have like signed agreements with each other. In order to protect each other. Not only that, but you would have to deal with the armed citizenry as well as other militias that were in the area that would protect those armed citizenry. So, it would not be very easy to invade in Campistan, as it wouldn't be very easy for Germany to invade France.
So you're saying that despite every single historical example when the government breaks down of it looking a
Those
certain
people weren't
way,
ANCAPs.
But what I'm saying is this, or whatever. But if you're saying once everyone believes in what you believe, then we destroy the state, and it won't end up being like every other situation in which the state breaks.
No,
down.
what I'm saying is the reason why in those situations when the state devolved, it turned into fuckery was because those people didn't have a guiding principle that united them, right? That they could sort of rely on in order to keep the stability. Whereas we have the non-aggression principle, and we have private ownership and private property, which has been
But what
proven
if one
to work.
person says, "I don't care"?
And the thing is, right? Anyone could say, like, I'm gonna agree with you that anyone could just say, "Oh, I don't care," and
I have
then
a
stab
question.
you. And I'm sorry, I wasn't finished. If you can ask me after I'm done, if you don't mind.
No, just
Yes,
whenever you're done.
Grace.
Yeah, whenever you're
Yeah.
done.
I don't mean to be rude, but
What?
so I was just
No,
gonna
I
say,
just meant when you're done.
yeah. So I was just gonna say
Okay.
that, and you could come up with a situation where, like, yeah, somebody could just come up to me and stab me. But the only argument that us libertarians are making is that it's always wrong to initiate force against any innocent person and their private property, and we don't support the
Care-
state because they do that.
But if no one cares whether they think it's wrong, then they're going to win by force of violence, right? Which is what happens.
Well,
No
that's
one
why
actually-
we want.
do
That's
you
why
believe
the
when
idea.
governments break down that people actually think it's right to intimidate with force and
Well, as of
violence?
right now,
No.
yes, but again,
No,
that's
they
why.
don't.
As of right now, yeah, there's people who think it's okay to harm
You
and
think
murder.
that- you
Excuse
think
me.
that narco-
Excuse me.
you-
Excuse me. I would like to respond to that. Is that okay? You keep talking as I'm trying to answer the question that you're
Excuse
giving me.
me.
I know.
Very
Like,
demure.
Back and forth is fun.
Now
too.
interrupt
Go ahead.
him. He is a
Who?
rude, belligerent.
Me?
You should be. Excuse you. Go ahead, sir.
I'm back.
No problem. I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to be mean to you guys. I think you're all right.
No, you've been very nice.
I want to ask my question when you get a spare chance.
All right, I'll shut up now.
Oh, I was just going to say that fundamentally, we believe that the state is a forceful extractor of wealth. They violate our rights. And yeah, you could come up with a situation where somebody could come up to me and stab me. But that's why us libertarians are trying really, really hard to convince people of the non-aggression principle and get people around to our ideology. And maybe once we get enough people around to believe in it, enough to make the difference, we can make it possible. Now, go ahead, Grace.
Okay, here's my question. Okay, so I looked it up on ChatGPT what ANCAP is, and it said the key points of this. One of the
I
key
put a
points of
picture
this
in the
is that you
side
have
chat if you-
private law. So instead of state-run police and courts, there's private security and arbitration firms.
Mhm.
So doesn't that just mean that whoever has the most money would win in this society because they
I
can
already
pay
asked him
for the
that question.
most military protection from the private company that provides it?
No, because if you live in an area of people who believe very strongly in the non-aggression principle, or at least enough to make the difference, what you would see is that if a private company decides to violate the rights of another group or on the behalf of somebody who pays them a lot, the people who are within that society who are paying for that service are no longer going to want to pay for that service anymore. The difference between a private company and, say, a state is that with a state, you can't really opt out when they violate your rights. Whereas with a private company, you can. You could stop paying for their service. So that's going to incentivize them to make sure to actually provide you the service that you're actually asking for and not go for the people who are violating your rights. And if there is a private company...
everybody.
if there is a private
Grace,
company,
don't interrupt.
sorry, I was
Sorry,
one last
go ahead.
thing point. And if there is a
Okay.
private company that does decide to take over, and harm other people, in order to fund that, they would have to pay for soldiers, weapons, and armies in order to take over those other people, which would then raise the cost of their insurance firms, the cost in which they're paying for the people who are paying for their insurance, and then that would then incentivize even the people who are paying for their service even more to jump away from that company because they're charging more for a war that they didn't
Okay.
even really want.
Need help?
Okay, so you have these private security, private defense operations. You decide to stop paying them. Why don't they just rob you and take your money because they have more power?
Because there's other private security firms that will shoot them if you do that.
Who's paying them to shoot them on your behalf?
You
Nobody.
or you.
You're paying multiple defense firms to
No,
to
if you
keep
move
each
from
other
one,
accountable?
if you
Sounds like
move,
you're paying taxes.
hold on, whoa,
Sounds like you're paying
whoa.
taxes.
It's
You guys
not
are
tax.
on the
It's
securities.
voluntary.
If I pay for insurance, is that a tax?
So you're telling me that you would pay
No,
protection
it's not a
and you only
tax.
have a choice
wait.
between-
No, you're
That's
telling
like
me
the
that you would
mafia.
pay multiple private security companies.
I never
to
said
keep
that.
Tabs on each other.
No.
and- Well, but
What
guys,
I'm saying-
I said,
listen, hear me
what
out,
if you're
hear me
paying
out.
One of these private security. No, let me just restate the question. What if you're paying one of these private security companies? You decide to stop paying them, and they say, "Hey, fuck you. We got the guns. Give me your money." Then you're saying, "Okay, another
Because-
private security."
yeah,
firm will come
because
in there
there's
and protect them,
other private
because I'm also
security-
paying another private security.
Because there's multiple private security agencies, right? One of them, if you leave one of them and they decide to say, hey, you're going to pay us no matter what, the other competing ones would then join together and you could pay them to join their agency, and then they would then team up to stomp out that one that's violating people's rights. And in order to
Would they do
pay,
that? Why would they care?
well, because they want to make money. And in order to fund this war that they're doing on individuals who don't want to pay into the system, they have to pay using their own funds, which would come from the people who are voluntarily paying for their services. So in order to pay for the service, they would have to for this war, they would have to raise the prices of their insurance. And if they raise the price of their insurance, then less people are going to want to buy their stuff and move over to the more peaceful ones.
But we
Whereas
know what
under the
happens
state,
when
Whereas under the state, you're forced to pay them no matter what, even if they violate your rights. So if the state comes up to you right now and they violate your rights, you can't opt out. You can't say, hey, I want to move to this insurance company. I can't say, no, I don't want to pay into the system. They're going to literally force you to pay regardless of whether you want to or not.
Right, but the way these private firms, I know this because I spent 25 years in a place that used to be controlled by the mafia. When the government breaks down, private entities like the mafia will take over a certain area on behalf of everyone in that area, just like a government. They're not going to individually hire and protect individual people, like 10 different. They're just going to take over an area and force everyone to pay for the protection.
Or HOAs.
Right. So isn't there a kind of would you say there's an economy of scale here where to individually protect apartment 2B, but not apartment 2A, no one's going to do that. You're either going to say the whole building is under our protection for a fee or not. And then you would eventually just have replicated a government.
Well, I mean, we're not against governance. What we're against is a
true.
state. The state is what we're against. And I know a lot of people that think, oh, a state and a government is the same thing. Well, no, not necessarily. So let's say you're on your land and I have a gun and you're gonna rob me for some reason or something. Brace is pulling up a gun on me and is like, yo, I'm gonna take your gun and shoot you in the back of the head. I'm gonna be like, no. And then I pull a gun. Yeah, she's trying to rob me.
I would rob you.
Oh no! So I'm basically pulling out a gun and I have a big gun and I'm like, yo.
Private security won't be there.
No, yeah. So I'm a big guy. Hold on, listen. Wait. I'm not even done with the hypothetical.
Good point. Okay.
So let's say I pulled out a gun and I'm like, yo, Grace, get the heck out of here. And she goes, oh my God, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to get shot. That's me governing my property. That's me being a government over my property. Am I a state? No. A state describes a condition in which there's a group of people or a mafia or a criminal organization who has taken control over land and has been legitimized by a large portion of the people within that area. And what they do is they forcefully extract wealth in order to uphold their system. And that's what a state is. And that's the difference between a private company is a little bit different because a state, I mean, they may be governing the area, but they're not a state because you don't have to pay for them. And for the whole other thing, right? When you pay for a private security agency, they're not going to just be like, if you live in a certain area, what they would most likely have is jurisdictions, right, in which they cover. And if you have an issue, they probably won't have people roaming around. What they'll do is you have an issue like how it is right now with police. You call them up, and then if you have an emergency, they'll probably come and send a police officer to your help. And if somebody violates your rights, they'll arrest them and have them pay you restitution for the crime.
So, but the only difference between what you're proposing and the way it always happens is that everyone is going to be on board with doing things fair.
But the thing is, you don't have to, if you wanted to. If you didn't want to pay for a private security agency, you could be like, I'll take care of myself. Buy a big gun, grab a group of guys, and govern your property on your own. And you won't be forced to pay anything. Whereas with the state, they force you to pay for their protection, whether you want it or don't want it. Even if you have a group of guys that say, hey, I'm going to protect my property, the state is still going to force you to pay for their service. Whereas under anarcho-capitalism, you only pay for the services in which you use or you want.
Right. But what I'm saying is as you know, when governments break down, when states break down, what you have is local chieftains, local, whatever you want to call them. You'll have a feudal lord. This always happens that people look for protection locally to the biggest guns who will protect them for a fee and thus replicate a government system without the protections of law that a government provides, which causes a kind of breakdown of society. But you're saying You would admit that historically, that's true. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
in
but those
Yemen in
people were in
many ways.
ANCAPs.
Okay, but the difference is you're going to have everyone believe in something,
No.
convince everyone of something.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to
That belief
convince
is gonna
people
make
of
it different.
ANCAP so that there's enough of us ANCAPs to make the difference. See, the thing is,
but
feudalism only works when you have enough people that believe in it to make the difference, or at least are don't care enough to fight, right? That's the only reason why these warlords, like, how is it that one man is able to control a whole country? The only reason why is because the people within that country agree or believe, or at least don't care enough to fight against it. If we have that same belief system with like the non-aggression principle, I could definitely see it working out.
But don't you think human nature is hierarchical in the sense that there's always kind of a pyramid, and any people organize themselves according to a pyramid with the weaker on the bottom and the stronger around the top?
Well, if we have an anarcho-capitalist system, the way in which you grow in that hierarchy is by providing services for your fellow man. And that's why capitalism is why I think capitalism is the greatest system ever, because it basically rewards individuals who provide for their fellow man.
But there's no such thing as a capitalist system that doesn't have a state that regulates it. But can I just make a point? Marxism also had this view. If we all agree to work for the common good and contribute to the common good and take as we need, they also were anarchists, but they just thought
the problem is socialism doesn't work.
Right?
Marxists aren't necessarily anarchists.
Yeah, that is true too.
Marxism was like kind of like the idea was after the violent revolution, we won't need a state because this will be kind of utopia, right? Aren't you embracing a kind of utopia?
No, because socialism doesn't work, whereas capitalism does work. It's empirically true that capitalism works.
It's true.
Socialism never works.
But you're saying a theoretical capitalism works.
Well, it's not theoretical at all. I could give you examples of all the things in which the state does that are privatized in the real world right now. There are companies that do privatize defense. There are companies that do privatize roads. There are companies that do pretty much everything that the state does.
You're saying within the state capitalism, you can see there are things that work. And you're just saying, why do we need the state since it's the capitalism that works?
Yeah, we could apply that system, right, to the things in which those businesses do, right, to our system. Like, for instance, like with private roads, they'll like charge a fee, or they'll have like advertisements on the road, or they'll have like stores on the road that they charge rent from in order to pay for the roads. Like, those are things that happen in real life. So it's just like, why should I have to? So with us ANCAPs, we'd be like, okay, why should I have a state come in and forcefully extract wealth from people in order to pay for roads when we have real world examples of people paying for roads on their own without forcefully extracting wealth? Why don't we just do it that way?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the state is obviously a natural thing. It's
not necessarily.
Natural, like family is natural.
How is it natural when the state forces people to pay it? That's not very
If it was natural, you wouldn't need taxes.
Families force their children to obey.
Well, children are different.
Yeah,
children are they can't. We're talking about adults here. You know, children are different.
I understand that, but adults naturally, we're social creatures. Like, there are animal species that are not social, that they don't have these organizations, but like human nature always organizes hierarchically, always.
But the thing is,
How
if
are you gonna overcome
if
that?
it was natural for people to take over people and be okay with the state, then you wouldn't need to force people to pay in the state. They would just be okay with it, and nope, there wouldn't be anarchists.
Even like guys, like just like forget about like economy. You guys went through high school or going through high school or whatever, right? So you
I dropped out.
Okay, but when you were in school,
I got me too.
there was a social hierarchy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was a natural way in which people formed themselves.
We're not against hierarchy. We're just against unjust hierarchies.
But the natural hierarchy, the first primary thing that people seek is like security. And if
Yeah, but
there's no
that could be
security,
privatized.
they're going to form themselves into a hierarchy. I understand you could say it could be like, yeah, but like then it ends up just being a mafia or a gang.
The
That's
state already is
going
the
to be-
mafia.
The state is a mafia.
I agree. In many ways, it's similar, but it's it claims legitimacy
Oh, yeah.
in a way that mafia.
Wait, how is it legitimate?
Yeah,
though?
but what makes that state legitimate?
It's a
has
it's a
checks and
good question.
balances?
It is basically not necessarily.
what?
There are tyrannical states. The way
Oh.
it actually usually happens is just that like eventually the gangs get joined together and form a government, which is kind of like saying I'm the dad of this family, and you can say like, well, what makes it legitimate? Then they come up with things like, it's monarchy, it's our family is the legitimate. I get that in some ways that's artificial. But that's just the way it happens.
I know that's
And
the
if
way
you
it
say,
happens.
like, I would like
we're
reality to
we're
be
not
different,
arguing. We understand that. Okay, yeah, people take over people, and that's just the way it is right now. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the way it is. We're trying to make it so it's not that way. So that way is not the way it is. We want to make the world a better
by
place.
saying that, right, I agree. But you're saying because people will change the way they think, they won't care about like protecting their family at all costs. They'll all agree to this like non-aggression principle.
Wait. It would have worked the same way as any other law, right? Any other law, right? So, for instance, the Constitution, it's just a piece of paper. The only reason why it has relevancy is because people believe in it, right? I mean, it's just a piece of paper.
It's enforced.
And it's
People are
enforced,
willing
right?
to use it.
Well, we would just use
because people are willing
Hold on,
to use
incarnation,
force to defend it.
please. So we have ways of enforcing that as well. It would be just done privately.
But then we're not enforcing it. It's just whoever has enough money to pay people to enforce.
No, you could enforce your own
whatever.
land. We're not against having
Who
guns.
would make the Constitution if it was ANCAP?
We
Nobody,
already
right?
have our Constitution. It's the non-aggression principle.
Oh yeah.
My God.
The Constitution of ANCAP people is the non-aggression principle. Is,
Yep,
is
that's
that
our
Doesn't matter if you're
Constitution.
an anarchy. It doesn't matter if you have a constitution or not. You don't have a government. What do you need? Like
We're gonna
No
make
one may
one. We're gonna
initiate-
make one.
Wait, hold on.
We're trying
No
to make
one may
one.
initiate force. Hold on a second. No one may initiate force or fraud against others. Interactions must be voluntary.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's
you
the
against that?
Constitution?
Yeah, that's would be our Constitution. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's for the non-aggression principle until it works for them, right? I mean,
Not the
Hey!
state.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
base, you're with us. You're with us.
No! Why the fuck would she be with you for saying that?
She's
What
with
the
us.
well,
fuck? I will violate
I
your
believe you're
personal
describing
property when I
heaven.
say
are
that.
you not aware of
I believe you're
rules?
describing heaven.
So you guys don't
Yeah,
support
but
the
you don't need to
non-aggression
say.
principle?
Fuck no. What?
So you guys think it's okay to force people to harm people, to violate their rights?
Yeah,
Why?
kinda. Fuck rights.
No, but
Why?
criminals do.
What did they
Because
do
those
wrong?
they're not fucking real. Why do I give a shit?
But okay, so then I could just. So you're saying that it's okay for me to just come
You
up
could
and rape
try.
you? So you
could
can say.
try.
So it's. But if I could, I
could
could just do it. You're just saying that's fine.
I mean,
It's be
whether
good.
or not-
Maybe it's good from your perspective. From my perspective, it'd be pretty bad. But I'd be.
Oh,
raping
oh,
you
oh,
with it.
that's a moral. So you do
whether
believe in
or not-
morals.
whether or not he thinks
wait,
that
so
it's
you do
right
believe in
or
morals?
wrong is irrelevant in his ability to stop the
Again,
actual
but
rape.
he
You
said
need a
he
force
well,
factor
he
to
said that
stop
he
the
doesn't
rape.
believe in morals. He said that he doesn't believe in
Who
morals.
cares about
And then I
morals?
asked him,
Who
stop,
cares about
stop, stop.
morals if
Don't
you
interrupt
have
me,
the
because
force
your only
factor
reason why
to
you're
stop
interrupting
the
me is
rape?
because you're scared of my explanation. So my explanation is fundamentally is he just said,
Scared.
I don't believe in morals. Okay, you don't believe in morals?
No.
What
Who
if I
said
came up
that?
to you
When
and
did I
what if
say
I
that? When did I
You
say
just
that?
said
When did I
that.
say that?
You
When did I
did
say
say
I don't
that.
believe in morals?
So
When
he
did I-
didn't say that?
Verbatim? Verbatim?
He didn't say that?
Did I say I don't believe in morals?
You don't believe in morals?
Did I say I don't
You
believe
said
in
morals aren't real.
Did I say
He said
I don't
rights.
believe
He
in
said
morals?
rights,
I
not
said
morals.
rights.
Okay, rights
Bro,
aren't real?
I said rights. They're not real.
Okay, so so let's say I came up to you and raped your ass. Do you have the right to stop me?
What's rights? What are you using the term
Right
rights
is an
for? How does that
action.
prove
Right
rights are
is an
real?
action.
Why are you
A right
arguing
is
about-
an.
you
Do
have
you want to hear the
right.
explanation? Do you want to hear the explanation?
Why are you? No, stop
Anal
talking.
rights.
Why are you
Your
invoking
anus
the term
have
rights?
rights, sir. Does
Listen
your
to me.
anus have
A
rights?
right is an action that ought not be impeded. So therefore, if your body, if I
Okay,
stop you,
define that.
if I try to, that means that
if you impeded that right, that means you'd prove that there's no rights, like by doing that action.
KingSithis, when you
You're just
were in high
violating
school,
rights.
No. If I come up to you and I rape your ass,
It's like
do you have the right to stop me? Do you have the right to re-stop me? Do you have the right to stop me?
Non-aggression principle.
What do you mean
non-anus
rights? What is the
Do
principle.
term
you have
right
the right to
being
stop
used
me?
here? Stop.
An
We've already
action that ought
established-
not be impeded.
Okay, what define that? What the fuck
Okay,
does
so that
mean?
means
Hold
that
on.
you.
What are actions that ought not be impeded?
That means that it's a belief that you should. Do you want to hear
But
the
King
explanation?
Bro, what are you
I
doing?
want to hear
Listen
it,
to him.
and I want to hear it not fumble. I want to hear it not fumble.
No, shut
Okay.
the fuck up and let him speak, you dickwad. Holy shit, bro. You're a
Shut up,
fucking
bitch.
cunt.
So
I want to
anyway,
hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
okay. So I'm gonna next time you
Getting
interrupt
heated
me,
in the
respectfully.
Ancap.
Next time you interrupt me, I'm gonna kick you
Oh
from the
my
group.
God,
So
I
if
want to
you
hear
don't
it.
res-
I want to hear it.
So do you want to hear it, or you just stop
my
talking?
government
Shut the
is
fuck up.
cool.
I think.
All right, I muted you. So the problem is a right is an action that ought not be impeded. And an action that ought not be impeded is basically you saying that nobody should stop me from doing this thing. So if I come up to you and I try
Hey,
to
I
rape you,
thought you believed in the
hold on,
non-aggression
all right, so I'm
principle.
just gonna mute Grace real quick. So if I go up to
Believes in the
you,
non-anus principle.
yeah, so if I go up to you basically and I say, hey, you don't have the right to rape my ass. If I
Yeah,
stop you from raping my ass, I'm basically saying you do not have the right to rape my ass. So if
But
I
King-
come up to you and I rape your ass,
Why-
do you have the right to stop
See-
me from raping your ass? I'm
see-
unmuting.
KingSithis, KingSithis.
Wait, no, he's talking to me
Well,
like
so
Andrew.
why
your
don't bail him out,
right-
Incarnation? Don't bail him out, Incarnation. Go ahead. I want to hear your
I
answer.
don't want
I
it
don't
to
need
bail
to.
out. Okay.
I believe in anal rights. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe in
I
it.
agree
So you
with
don't
that.
believe it. So
Anal rights matter.
Azer here, I guess he doesn't believe in anal rights. He
I'm trying
believes
to-
that
I'm
anyone
trying to
should
ask
just
you- I'm
rape
trying
his
to answer
ass
you-
at any
I'm
point.
trying to answer your question.
Go ahead.
Can I answer your
Yeah,
question?
he
Right.
believes in the jail
The term,
system, yeah,
the
like,
term
I protect
rights
my own
being
interest.
invoked here is very obviously being invoked in a ridiculous way, right? Say, oh, you have a right to not get raped in the ass. Well, what if I'm dying of thirst? Do I have a right to drink water? Do I have a right to take your water and drink it?
No.
No.
Why not? If it's something
Because that's
I
my
ought
property.
not be impeded from doing, otherwise I'm gonna die.
That's my
Why do
property.
I care about your property? But why would I value your property? in that
Okay, and I'm
situation?
making the same argument to you. I don't give
It's
a fuck
not- it's
about
not a
your
good argument,
ass.
though.
Do I have the right to rape your ass? Yes or no?
So the argument is.
Do I have the right
argument
to
is-
rape your ass?
the
Yes or no?
argument- No, you don't have rights. Rights
Yes.
aren't real. You
Okay,
have no
so
right to rape my
wait,
ass.
wait. So then you have the right to stop
Yes,
me
I
from
do.
raping your ass, right?
I-
So
I
you're
don't
saying you
really
have
think
the
you
right to stop
understand
me
the
from raping your
argument.
ass, right?
And the same way I need to drink water.
Do
I need
you
to
have
kill
the
you and
right
take
to
the
stop
water.
me from raping your
Well,
ass?
I have
Yes
the-
or no?
I have the right.
Do
to
you
kill
have
and
the
take
right
the
to stop
water.
me from raping your
Yes.
ass? Yes or no?
What is the?
Yes.
No, I don't have
Yes,
a
I
right
do.
to do anything.
You don't
What's the
have a
term
right to stop me from raping your ass?
I don't think you understand what rights are.
Yes.
I'm asking you a
Yes, I do.
very
I have a
simple
right.
question. Do I have a right
I-
to stop you? Do you have
I
a
have a
right to
right-
stop me from raping your ass? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
I have a duty.
Yes, I
have a
do.
duty to stop you.
No,
from raping
I
my
didn't
ass.
ask you if you had a duty. I
I
asked
don't
you
give a
very
fuck.
clearly,
I'm
do
questioning
you
the
have a
term
right to stop
man.
me from raping your
I'm question-
ass? Yes
You're
or
invoking-
no?
Yes.
You're invoking the term rights.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you
improperly.
one more time, and if you don't get a, I
I'm
don't
gonna
get a
ask
clear
you-
yes
well,
or
hold on,
no.
Your IQ is fault. Your
I mean,
IQ
if you don't get a
rotten
clear
out,
yes or
like,
no, I'm gonna kick you from the group. So I'm gonna ask you one more time. Do I have a right to rape you from the
I
in the
don't-
ass? Yes or no?
I don't accept your definition of
Yes.
rights. I don't
Okay,
accept
got
your
you.
definition of
Got you.
rights.
No
But I
The
get that.
Ancap, he's one hell of
What
do you not
tyrant,
accept
isn't
about
he?
it?
Holy
You're
shit.
right.
Yes.
I just
Alright,
told
no
you what I don't
problem.
accept about it. That is
KingSithis, can I answer
ridiculous.
your question?
You can answer
Can
my
I-
question
can I-
now.
can I
Now,
answer
after
your
I got
question?
him to admit that people are okay with, he's okay with people
Yeah.
raping his ass.
Well, what do you mean
Yeah.
okay? You're invoking a
You
moral
just
standard.
said
I
you're
didn't invoke a
okay
moral
with raping,
standard.
letting people rape
I
your
didn't
ass.
invoke. I'm an
Yes, you do. Yeah, got you. All right, so Incarnation, go ahead.
Idiot.
Yes, so I do. I do have the right to rape you, and the right to stop you from basically
Oh,
preventing
you
you
have
from
the
stopping
right to
it.
rape me?
Based on the based on the virtue that I hold more power than you, and you really can't stop me. So your moral bullshit of telling me what's right or wrong really is irrelevant because I just overpower you and stuff my big fat black cock up your ass, and there's nothing
Very
you can do about it.
expressive.
Nice,
Yeah,
guys.
again,
Incarnation.
What's happened,
Bro.
bro?
Well, I thought we were debating Ancaps in here.
So okay,
Yeah.
guys.
We're debating
so,
the non-anal principle right now.
all right, guys. I know it's funny, but let's try to maybe if anybody who isn't talking, let's maybe try to mute. Maybe if so we all aren't all talking at once. I am live streaming this, and I do want this to be watchable. So
My apologies.
no, you're good,
My
Incarnation.
apologies.
You're perfectly fine. So
Okay,
to
let
answer
me
your
ask you a
question, wait, I just want to answer his question, and then you can ask me whatever you want. All right. Well, you could say you have the right to rape my ass, but fundamentally, I could just say the same thing about you, and then you wouldn't have any ground to stand on to stop me because you just said it's okay. You have the right to do so long as I have the might. And if I have the might to rape you, you would have no leg to stand on to stop me from raping you. Now go ahead.
Well, unless I somehow gather might of that's stronger than yours, or I get a bunch of other people together and increase my might to above your might, and therefore my
but let's say hypothetically, my might was stronger than yours, and I raped you. You would say that's perfectly fine. It's legitimate under your purview.
Well, I mean, if we're having a moral conversation, I would say no. But if we're having a conversation about my ability to stop it, then I would say it doesn't really matter whether
so then you don't
or not,
believe in that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So let's just let everybody know he just walked back on what he just said earlier because he was just saying that he doesn't believe in riots.
But King, isn't it true that in jail at some times when the correctional officers aren't doing their job, that it does turn out that your anal rights are only measured by who's going to protect you.
Hold on.
And
only
why
argument.
Would you want that?
Yeah, go ahead. No, listen to me. I'm not arguing that people can't rape you. Obviously, I believe I live in the real world. Yes, people can rape you. The only argument that I'm making is people don't have the right to. People shouldn't have the right to rape you. Now, that's the only argument that I'm making.
You want the correctional officers gone. And you want to have like a kind of jailhouse justice in which it does like come down to like who's going to protect you, who's not. Your anus is like up for grabs, right?
You're not understanding my point.
None of us want that.
You're not understanding my point.
Are you advocating for asshole anarchy right now?
I'm not.
It's anal anarchy. It's anal capitalism, guys. It's anal capitalism.
We listen, bro. I apply the non-aggression principle very anally.
I know you're An Ancap.
Anyways,
when you were in high school, however far you made it, you had this way in which like there was a hierarchical structure. The people on the top had some things, but one of the big things is like who's the most violent, who's the most bullying, who connects with others and networks to keep the bottom people on the bottom. That's not the only thing that's going on. But wouldn't it be great if like the band kid or the computer kid would be just as cool as the football player or the basketball player? And if we all believed that, then we could have a more productive like school society. But that's not how it works, right?
But the problem is most people don't believe that.
Okay, so if you so your thing is like, let's convince all the kids in junior high school and high school that the drama.
I've never said that. Okay, right? What? Okay, I have never said that.
Wouldn't that be a kind of
no? What I'm no. Why is the Constitution relevant? Like what? I mean, it's a piece of paper. What makes it relevant?
About the Constitution. I'm just saying this is the way hierarchies.
I know, but what makes the Constitution relevant?
I believe it's enforcement. Yeah, in fact that it's enforced
by people, right?
Yeah.
And those people, to a degree, have to agree with the Constitution. Like, people wouldn't be like protecting the Constitution if they didn't believe in it, right? Obviously not, right?
But you say you believe in the non-aggression principle, and then as soon as somebody says something you don't like in the call, you kick them out and or mute them.
Well, I only kicked that person out was because I literally asked him the same question over and over, and it was a very easy answer, yes or no, and he didn't want to answer it. Also, I have a history with that guy, and I don't really like him. Also, I muted you because you were interrupting me while I was speaking. So if you do that again, yeah, I'm gonna mute you respectfully.
I'm not complaining about my mute. I'm not complaining about my mute. I'm just saying the non-aggression principle says no one may initiate force against
kicking
others.
somebody out of a Discord call is not an aggression.
You're acting as the government.
No, it is not. I'm sorry.
Force. It's digital force. Yes, it is.
No.
You're enacting force.
I'm sorry. No, that's not how that works because it has to be physical force.
Southcat, we want to show you a video of a guy getting his head cut off. Southcat, come with us.
Who? Anyways,
I'm actually very soft right now.
Anyway,
Jew on camera over here. but it's okay. He's
I'm muting.
Just violated the non.
Yeah, again, it's if I'm the owner of the room, I am the owner of the room. So that means that I have the right to evict others from the room if I wanted to.
Yeah, you do. You're acting like a government. And good
Yeah, again,
for
I'm
you.
not against the government. I'm against states. Yeah, I'm governing my
Wait, King or Sithis.
Wait, isn't ANCAP anarcho-capitalist though?
Yeah, we're anti-state. Governments, we're not against governing
Wouldn't it also
property.
be anti? But anarchy is
We're against
by
the
definition
government,
against
the current
governmental rule.
government, but governing your own property isn't a violation of anyone's rights, right?
I don't know.
No, it's not. Why? You're the owner of your land. If you own your land and you shoot somebody for trying to rob you, then yeah, you're
Oh, I'm not
justified in
against
doing
that.
so.
No, I'm
You're
not
justified in
against
doing
that.
so.
But all
That's
the
part
state
of our
is doing is
That's part of the right. That's
state
part
is
of
like-
like
Yeah, that you're
state is
governing
like-
your
yeah, it's
property,
part of
right?
Your land rights.
Yeah, you're governing your property. I'm not against people governing. What I'm
Right,
against is
but
the
in
state,
turn- but in-
the institution
but
that
in
forces
turn is
people to pay
backed
into
by
it.
the state.
The state forces people to pay into its system, regardless of whether I want its protection or not. I don't advocate for it. I'm never going to advocate for a system that supports that does that. Especially if my money is going to
here's
wars
an
that I don't
example of
support.
something- Here's an example. Here's an example of something. The
So you're not
state
against
regulates.
government. You're against
State regulates-
military government.
I'm
the
against
state
the
regulates
state.
gun control, right? You have to have. You have to
I
have
said this like
certain,
5 times. I don't know
background
if
checks
you-
and stuff.
You.
Okay, the state regulates gun control, right? Like you have to have certain background checks to get a gun, etc.
Yeah, that we should
Would
abolish
you want
that.
that gone? And
Yep.
anyone
Yep.
can get a gun.
Yes.
Any kind of gun without any background check.
I mean, as long as
For
you're an
example-
adult. If you're an adult, yeah.
Should people be allowed to own nuclear weapons?
Probably not. No.
So do you think
That's
people
a
that have
meme
convicted
question.
criminals
That's a
are
meme
able to
question.
have
The gun
guns?
control
No,
debate.
It has-
Yes,
it
it
has
is.
the
The,
limit.
mental health issue.
it's a meme. That's a meme. question.
Under a private system, you would not see random people owning nukes because the only people who would have nukes are like really rich
Yes.
corporations that are in it for
Yes,
protection,
I'm aware.
protection agencies, and they wouldn't just sell it to a random person because they're generally there to protect people. And if they see that someone's gonna buy a nuke to blow somebody up or harm somebody or people, well then
That doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't leverage that
Comparing
against
nuclear
other
weapons
people.
to firearms.
no,
it's a-
because the
it's-
people
it's
in that
me-
area
it's
they're
memeing.
protecting, so they're not gonna want to do that. So, and
memeing.
I'm not gonna
It's
sit here and
never
argue about
warhead.
fucking
You're
nukes.
making a straight prediction instead of giving it leeway.
Can I ask
I
you a
mean,
question? If someone
if you are able to get a nuke, technically, yeah, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
King said
Bullshit
this,
hypothetical.
can I ask
Yeah.
you a question? If someone walked into wherever you are right now and was violent towards you, what would you do?
Shoot him.
Okay, and if you didn't have the means to shoot them, what would you do?
I'd be fucked.
You wouldn't call the police?
I mean, yeah, I call the police. Yeah.
Someone's crashing out in the channel.
You would call the police?
South Cap,
Well,
per
yeah.
usual.
Yeah, I know.
The state
And would you
stealing.
be glad if the police came and saved you from?
Hold on, just
the
because I use some of
intruder?
the state services doesn't justify them robbing me. For instance, like they take a lot more from me than whatever resource that I use to stop some burglar from robbing me.
Yeah.
Right, but wouldn't you prefer that to having? I understand you're saying.
Hold on.
Wait,
whoa,
running
when did
water?
when in this whole
Electricity?
conversation did I say we should get rid of all police and no security? When in this conversation did I say that?
Well, police are part of the government. If you have,
Did
like,
I say
militias-
wait? When did I say I'm against governments? I said I'm against the
Anarchy.
state.
Well, how's that different than a government?
Oh my god, I literally explained this in the beginning. There's a difference between governance and I felt like I've explained this like 5 times. I feel like you guys are just not listening at this point.
Switching words. Government.
Wait, I think-
Government. My dad
Government.
said
I think I can
Are you saying government or
So
government?
if you're on your own property, right, and you own a gun, you're the government of your own property. You're protecting
you're
your
not.
property. Yes, you are.
What?
No, that's
Whereas
yeah.
as a
That's
state-
actually right.
That is true.
You're not the.
You're governing. Are you not
government
governing your property?
You're governing your own property. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's just a fact.
That's not how the term.
Without it, you have to build off the assumption though that there
What we're
is
against
no
is the
government that
state.
supersedes your government.
The
So-
state. Sorry.
You're saying a father governs his family. Okay, sure. Okay, fine. But
Correct. Yeah.
that's not what you were talking about.
That is what we're talking about. That's the difference between a government and a state. You asked me what's the difference between a government and a state, and I just told you. Respectfully.
Okay,
how
a
are
government-
police going to work here?
I told
A
you.
government is the group of people. A government is the group of people and institutions exercising the state's power. So you're into that, but you're not into the state.
Again, I would not consider that to be a government, because you're basically saying that the only time you can govern things is using the state, and I don't think the only way in which you could govern things is using.
So you're
the state.
redefining
You could
them.
govern. I'm not redefining it. It's just a better definition.
Government is the administration that manages the state's functions.
That's literally part of the state.
I mean, it may be part of the state. I'm not saying that the state doesn't govern, but not every person that governs is part of the state, right?
You govern your household, right, and your property, and then other people do that together, and eventually you call that a town or a city or a municipality, which is then grouped with other municipalities, and they form a state in this country. And the
Is it
states
voluntary or
have
involuntary?
form of federal government. All of it is involuntary.
If it's involuntary, it's
not
a state. If it's
voluntary to
voluntary,
pay
then it's just a
taxes.
government. If
Do you
it's a
believe in
group of people,
taxes? Are you
How
okay
would
with
you make it
taxes?
voluntary?
by not forcing people
Taxes
to
are
pay.
taxes are
Yeah, but
involuntary.
by that point, you would be relinquishing water services, trash services, and any other services.
You never heard of a
provided by-
privatized water services or privatized electricity?
Good luck with that.
They have that already in the United States.
have
What are you
we have
talking about?
Most
You
of it's
think
paid for.
wait, you
most of
think
it's
wait, you
paid
think
for by the
electricity
state,
is
and it's-
nationalized? You think
You're
electricity
not
is
going to let me
nationalized?
speak, but that's okay.
We have a mixed economy. We have some things that are controlled by
Didn't
the
understand what I
government,
said.
things that are controlled by
So
private
the
entities.
majority of services provided to citizens is provided by the state because the state pays for it to organize it, and then those local services, the counties for instance, are the ones that are divvying out the costs of said services when it's mixed between the citizens. People that pay for their own private trash services, yes, they can do so. However, it is more expensive to the average citizen to purchase a private service than it is to go through the state.
Les de los
That's not true,
Novelas.
because the state is still stealing
Go
your
ahead
money.
and give me statistics that say otherwise.
Yeah, because fundamentally the state
No, you give
has
us
the-
statistics that say what?
I don't
That
have to.
justify
He's
your
making a
claim.
very positive claim to something
you're
that's
making.
not.
Hold on,
This
guys,
is a very
guys,
known
guys.
fact. I'm not putting statistics against a known fact.
It's not a known fact. Fundamentally, you ever heard of
not
the
a-
economic calculation problem?
Hold on.
But listen.
So the
An
economic
anarchist guy.
calculation problem is anytime
You-
that
you-
the state
your
takes over,
generation-
anytime that the state takes over any sort of or nationalizes any industry, they're always going to be more inefficient than any sort of private company. And the reason why is when you eliminate private property and the means of production, you reduce the amount of trading within those private property. Then you don't have the appearance of prices that then are, because prices are signals that show you what is whether or not something is in demand or it has a high supply or low supply.
Yes, but you're mistaking.
If you
the
don't have
difference between
those, if you don't
efficiency and
have those
cost.
signals, if you don't have those signals, you're not
we all
able to
get
make
that.
profit loss
You're
calculations.
mistaking the differences
that's why
between efficiency and cost, though. That's your problem.
Yeah, the
Efficiency
state
will
is
never be
always
100%, so you cannot have a perfect system, regardless of it being
yeah, but the
provided by
state
the
is
state or a
always
private
going to be
system.
more inefficient than any private company, and the reason why that is because they don't have.
But it will
private
also be
property
less
to-
costly.
No, incorrect. And the reason why that is because every single time a state takes over an industry, they always use more resources than what they spend.
So
And
you're
they may
assuming then
be-
that the
they may-
private sector will
excuse
not
me,
try to profit
excuse
from
me.
this business.
Yeah, they're going to profit from this business. That's the whole point. But
Okay,
the thing
so
is,
then how is it
the
more-
reason
how
why
is it less
businesses, the
efficient?
reason why businesses are always going to be more efficient is because they're making a profit. If they don't provide a good service at a low cost, then no one's going to buy their services, and they're going to be shit out of luck. With the state, they could charge whatever they want because they could lower the cost to random people, and then whenever they're losing money and by providing these services, they could just steal money to people from people using taxation in order to make up for that lost cost. Private businesses cannot do that. So yeah, they are more inefficient.
Don't you realize that like healthcare in the United States is run mostly privately? There's some government.
Incorrect.
oversight. In like
I'm an
Cuba,
insurance
it
agent,
is
so I
run
know all
by
about the
the-
healthcare system.
in
Yeah.
Cuba, it is run by the government, and it's much cheaper. And I'm not
Incorrect.
saying that I disagree with you.
I
that
don't
there
agree
can
with
be
the
ways-
current system. I do not consider the current system to be capitalist at all. I would consider it to be a complete
Right, until we
socialist
have
nightmare.
no state. Okay,
I would
but it's
consider
less
our,
socialist-
I will agree
current
with him
system
on
to be
that
a
one.
complete
It's fucking
socialist
horrible.
nightmare.
It's less socialist than Cuba, right?
Yeah, and they're in Cuba. They have
Wait.
is a disaster. Have you been to Cuba?
No, I haven't been to Cuba, but
Yeah, try go over there and try to get
better
any serious medical ding dong, and I can assure you it's a disaster.
Their grocery stores are totally state.
It's a disaster
right?
in Cuba. There are people dying of starvation in Cuba.
There are inefficiencies. Undoubtedly, there are inefficiencies.
Yeah, because of the state. If it was private, why do you think we don't really see people dying of starvation in the United States? Because most food is privatized, so there's an abundance. Groceries, and prices are represent the true value of the goods and services that are being produced, which then allows for resources to go to their most value productive route. When you don't have prices, you don't know what's the most value productive route. You can't make profit loss calculations, and you can't be as efficient. What you have is some guy at the top basically controlling all resources and then arbitrarily choosing where it should go based on what he thinks is the best. No person at the top or group of people, even if you get the most smartest economists, most smartest people in the world and get them in a room, they could not calculate the best, most value productive route for all scarce resources without prices. It's literally impossible.
And we've seen what happens when a city runs the grocery stores. Look at Kansas City; it was total fucking disaster.
I mean, look at New York City right now. They're gonna. I mean, there's some cities right now that nationalize their grocery stores and they're empty and nobody wants to buy from them. With food that's dilapidated, and disgusting.
Empty shelves.
Empty shelves.
There is something to be said for the market, undoubtedly. But you're saying, like, there has never been a country that doesn't have at least a police and a military to defend from external threats.
We're not against police and militaries. We just believe it should be funded voluntarily.
A state. There are countries in which things are funded are done in this way, and what you end up is with gangs or warlords or whatever. Now,
again, those people were not ANCAP. I've already responded to this. Those people were not ANCAPs.
Your generation of young men, I can tell by your voice, you're a young man, are going to be responsible at some point for taking the helm here and like guiding us. This is not going to work. Obviously, you're living in a fantasy land, and all of
take the gold pill
guys like you. You live in a kind of fantasy utopian world, which is probably good for you at your age, but it's not going to work anymore.
Are you seriously big brothering me right now? Are you seriously big brothering me right now?
I am speaking from wisdom. Yes.
Oh yeah, so you're big brothering me right now. Okay, listen, big brother. I don't need you to tell me what is right or wrong. Okay, I'm perfectly capable of figuring out what's right or wrong on my own.
Is different than big brothering, but
that is big brothering. That is big brothering. Okay.
I'm just saying that you're going to have to end up encountering reality. Have you ever been in charge of anything in your life?
Yeah.
Gosh, getting personal.
You're big brother. See, you're big brothering me right now.
Getting personal is total cringe.
Ben.
No, I'm not. I don't want to ban. I'm just saying you're big brothering me right now. You're being like, oh, I have more experience than you. I have done more than you. I'm older than you. So therefore, you don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say ban him. I said Ben. His name's Ben.
Oh, sorry. Got you. I misheard you. My bad.
And getting personal like that, Ben, is total cringe. Okay, we don't really care you have experience. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't
we
care.
Don't care.
Well, you should care.
You're not an ANCAP. Why should I listen to you? You think it's okay to violate people's rights and harm them and extract their wealth from people? That's not cool.
Aggressive.
I believe in rights. But I think
no, but you think it's okay for the state to violate my rights? If I want to have sex with a prostitute, I should be allowed to, right?
No.
Why not?
What?
No,
there are consequences for that.
That can cause consequences for other people.
No, it's not.
Societal consequences.
No, it's not.
Yes, it can.
There is
so you're saying, wait a minute. If I'm in a bedroom with another woman and she says, "Yeah, I'll have sex with you for this amount of money,"
and then tells you nothing about a venereal disease,
I'd wear a condom.
There are
what if that doesn't protect
just
you?
Only then have sex. Only have sex with women who have good tests.
There are societal consequences to legalizing prostitution.
Yeah.
Do you apply that logic to kids too?
No, kids can't consent. Obviously. Nice gotcha. Trying to make me look like a pedophile. Thanks.
No. It's an interesting question, right?
Nice got you, bro. You're trying to make us look like a pedophile. Haha. Great for you.
You gonna let me finish?
All right, go ahead.
Right? Or are you just gonna interrupt? Yeah. So
I'm not
check
kicking
this out,
anyone.
right? If you have a society of ANCAPs, right, and they want to change the age of consent to say, I don't know, 10 years old, right? And there's no government to stop them. How do you stop that in your society?
Well, the age of consent isn't 10 years old, so that would go against our principles.
Yeah, but
wait,
the government
who enforces the
It wouldn't be an
education?
ANCAP society. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about I'm not I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me look like a pedophile, but can we move on to the
No,
prostitution
I'm not trying
thing?
to make you look like a pedophile.
All right, so then can we move on to the prostitution thing?
I'm
Could we
asking
move
you
on to the
address
prostitution thing, please?
Hold on, wait. Can I actually answer you? The one asking the question about this, because I think I can provide it. So if you theoretically had some society where it's a bunch of pedophiles or whatever who want to say, let's make the age of consent 10 or whatever, ANCAPs are against that, because these are children. They cannot consent. Therefore, they're not allowed to do that. That would be, if they try and go and have sex with children, that would be an aggression, and others would be allowed to stop them.
Yeah. Also, let me ask you a
you
question
do
real
realize
quick.
I want to change it to like
you do
16
Let's say the
instead of
government,
18
your
or something
government, you
like
guys believe your governments are legitimate, right?
Well, they are. Yeah, they have a lot of guns.
Okay, so
Well,
let's
not
say
necessarily.
tomorrow they would
Our
lower the
government
hold on. Let's say that the
is
government
legitimate.
tomorrow, your government tomorrow, which you support and say is legitimate, they say tomorrow we're gonna lower the age of consent to 10 years old. Are you supporting them? Are you
No, I
still
would say
supporting?
that's not okay.
So you're like us. You would say that's not legitimate, right?
But we
No,
have
well, it
literally
would still be
rights in the
legitimate,
Constitution
right?
for that.
It's just-
Wait.
it-
What would make it
it'd still be
legitimate?
legitimate.
Oh, so
Well,
so you
do
think?
you do
Oh wait,
know that the
10-year-old
age of consent.
age of consent is legitimate in
Stop
your percent?
spurring, right? So check this out. Just till very recently, the age of consent in Japan was 13 years old.
So that was legitimate.
It was, yes. That
From
was
your
the
purview?
fucking law.
In Japan.
Yeah, I would never.
Yeah, in
I would
Japan, that
never
was-
consider. I don't care whatever systems, whatever the government says. I would never consider it to be legitimate for a person to marry a 9-year-old. Whereas you would say, that is legitimate, depending on whatever the government says.
No one is saying that everything that every government does at all times is totally legitimate.
But he
That's not a
did say
theory of
that. Though.
government that
Well,
anyone
it
holds.
makes
No,
it the
he
law.
said in Japan.
I understand it makes it the law, but it wouldn't be
was-
legitimate under my purview.
Okay, right.
What do you,
I would
what do you
hope
mean
it
when
wouldn't
you
be
say
legitimate under your purview.
Hold on. What do you mean when you say legitimate?
As you consider it to be the law of the land.
It is the law of the land.
I wouldn't consider it to be the law of the land.
But it was the law of the land for a very
Just because,
long time. That's
wait,
true.
just because a group of people in Congress say, "Hey, it's okay to rape 10-year-olds," does not make it so.
It makes
The
it
king
legally
said
so. Yes, it does.
Yeah, but again, I would not recognize that law. I would say that law is illegitimate
King-
because they're violating
King said
children's
that-
rights. Whereas
can I
you
ask
would
you a question?
disagree. You would say that is legitimate under
King
your
said, can I ask
purview.
you a question? Do you believe that parents have rights over their kids until they reach the age of majority, 18?
Yeah.
Okay, what if a 17-year-old said, I don't recognize their rights. I'm basically an adult. Why is it that you would say, no, you still have to obey your parents legally?
It would depend on whether they are an adult or not.
What? Then how do you
But
define
on
an
what
adult?
grounds
An adult
can a
is adulthood,
17-year-old
and
say,
people
like, I wanna
enter
date
adult
whoever
or
I wanna
exit
date?
adulthood at different ages. So there are some people
No,
who
but
might be
you need to define what adulthood means then.
having the ability to
What I'm saying, a 17-year-old
exercise
can
one's
do-
will.
And how do you decide that?
Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor. It would be done by doctors.
Then you can't define that as a thing. What
Doctors
are
can
you talking
define
about?
that. Doctors can define
What
that.
if the
Yeah,
doctors
but you would have
say
to have
that
a
it was
legal
12?
definition as to what an adult is.
I just gave you one.
That's not because
Someone
it's
under
still
18,
subjective.
that's fine.
No,
Let's say
it is not subjective at all. It's
It's
like
still
quite literally, you're
subjective to the
able
doctor.
to.
What's the definition? What do the doctors have to abide by?
I just gave you it.
but
No,
King
you
said that-
didn't.
My question is,
Listen to me.
why
Hold
is
on.
it that your
How about this?
parents
I'm
have
gonna just make this
legitimate
very, very
authority?
clear to you guys. If a person is an adult, they're allowed to do what they want. If a person is a child, you can't do whatever they want to them because they're a child. Whereas under
But
you
there's a-
guys,
what
wait,
is a
wait,
child
wait,
and
whoa,
what is
whoa,
an
whoa,
adult
whoa,
to
whoa,
you?
whoa, whoa, not done. Whereas you guys
Why do
believe,
their
whereas
parents have
stop,
the
I'm not done. Whereas you guys believe, if the government says it's okay to rape a 9-year-old, you would consider that to be legitimate.
Why do their parents?
So I
have
would
a
never
legitimate
say it's
right
okay
over
or
them?
legitimate to rape a child, whereas you would say, it depends on what the government says.
You're doing the same thing you just said you didn't like.
You're conflating words.
Yeah, I don't like. Generally, I don't like to go into this. But you guys forced me to by bringing it up. We could
King,
move
I'm
on if you don't
asking
want to
you-
talk about it anymore.
Why is it that your parents, those two people, have certain rights over you when you're
because
17
they
years
are
old?
a child.
Why?
Children are not able to consent, right? And I like it's kind of weird that you're disagreeing with me on this. That children can't consent at a young age. Yeah, children can't consent at a young
I'm not
age. So
talking
therefore,
about sex. Your parents can tell
Yeah,
you.
but you
like,
still aren't
can't do
defining
this
it.
move.
so wait. So you
It's
guys
so
disagree with
quick,
me that
bro.
children can't consent?
We're not talking about consent. We're talking about every decision.
Okay, so if children can't consent, so therefore you have to have some sort of guardian over that person to
But
make sure
what is your
that no one's
definition
violating
of the
them.
age of consent?
But
The
your
age of
parents,
consent would be
at
when
age-
they
when
enter
you're
before they enter adulthood, and you enter
But what's adulthood?
And I've answered this question. When you enter adulthood,
No, you
is-
said by
I've-
science.
you don't- okay, so you don't want to know. So you don't want to know.
Rules.
You just want to hear yourself talk.
Okay,
No,
you're
no, no, no,
spurging,
no,
but
no.
that's okay.
So-
No, you don't want to
So
know. You just
wait,
asked me a
when-
question, and now
when-
you don't want to know.
When
So the
So
answer,
in a
okay,
greater
so
society-
I don't believe it's ever okay to violate the rights of a child, whereas you guys believe if the government says it's okay to violate the rights of a child, you guys believe that's legitimate. I would never ever say, no matter under any condition, it's okay to violate the rights of a child.
Let me ask
Okay.
a question.
Just
So
because the government says
greater,
something doesn't
Okay,
mean
but what if the parents?
That's what they said.
people are
consent to
anti-abortion.
violate the
Abortion is
rights.
legal in a
No,
lot
that's
of
not.
states,
That's
and
not.
That's
one
what
That's
they
not what
said.
anyone said. You just made that the fuck up.
We
That's
could
what
say
you
that
said.
even if the government
No.
is wrong, it's
You
better
didn't
to
say it was
have a
legitimate?
government than
So
have
I could
no
read- I can send you the
what
clip if
what
you
I'm
want.
saying, no, yeah. So here's where you're conflating two words: legitimate and morally good, right? So just because something's legitimate doesn't necessarily mean it's morally good.
I
When I say
agree.
legitimate, I mean it's legal.
Yeah, and I don't think it's morally good, and I don't think it's legitimate. I don't think it's legal because I don't
Well, no,
I don't consider that
it-
authority. I don't consider that authority to be the one to create laws, whereas you
Yeah,
do.
All you
So if you
do
believe
is
that
use
they are legitimate,
proprietary
then you are saying
definitions
that.
to shift the meaning of words to fit your worldview, whatever.
I'm
it
not.
happens
You
to
just
be.
don't like. You just
Yes,
don't like the
that's
outcome. You just
exactly
don't
what
like the
you're doing.
logical conclusions of your own beliefs, and
Wait,
you're
wait,
upset
wait,
with me
wait,
for
wait,
pointing
wait,
it out.
wait,
That's what it
King,
is.
No, I'm not upset at all.
King, I
So,
wanna
do you
ask
guys want to move
again.
on from the age of consent, or do I have to keep like?
We're not talking about the age of consent. I'm
Okay.
talking.
I
want
wanna
to
talk about prostitution.
Like tell you where you have to live. Your parents at age 17 can tell you where you have to live, right?
It depends on whether or not they're an
Why
adult.
do
So I
they
don't really
have
want to talk
that
about children
authority?
anymore. I kind of want to move away from children. I kind of want to talk about prostitution. But if you want to continue talking about children,
I have a
I could
question.
go back to
I have a
talking
question.
about.
I have a question. I have a question. So I have a question. So if doctors all got together and decided that a child becomes an adult at 13 years old, is the age of consent now 13 years old?
Yeah, but that's not true.
Yeah, no,
They
no,
would be
no,
wrong.
but if it was.
But by your
Yeah, they would be
definition,
wrong.
that would be factual.
Yeah, that would be
Understand it, though,
factually
is it?
incorrect. That would be factually incorrect.
How would you?
So
but
you're
how would you
contradicting
define that if the
yourself.
doctors
I'm not
are the ones
contradicting
saying it?
myself. I'm saying the way in which you evaluate an
are.
adult person is an adult is by generally getting into doctor. But I don't believe that children become adults at 13. Whereas you guys believe that if the government said that if the person is 13 and an adult, therefore you have the right to do what you want with them. Whereas I would never consider a law like that to be
You're just
legitimate.
gonna keep
That's
saying
not
this
what we
thing,
said.
nobody
Okay, so
believes
if you
that,
guys
okay.
continue to bring up the children stuff, I'm going to continue to
You're
bring up that point.
strawmanning.
That's fine, but
If you're
you guys
talking about
continue to
children,
bring
that
up the
doesn't
child
mean
stuff. That
you're
I'm going to
talking about
continue to bring up
that.
that point because you guys are trying to make
It
me
doesn't
look like
mean you're
I'm okay
talking
with having
about
sex with
that.
children, whereas you guys are legitimately okay with having children,
Nobody
sex
was
with children,
trying
so
to make
long
you
as the
look
government
bad.
says that it's
No
okay.
That's a
one
claim.
said that.
Talking about parents,
No one has
you're
said
not
that.
only
No, you
talking
guys said,
about
oh, you guys didn't say it was okay. You just said it was legitimate, so long as the government says it's okay.
That's
Gotcha.
just called looking at laws and reading them.
Got you. No problem. Thank you, guys. Thanks for proving my point. All right, so are we gonna move on, or are we gonna, or am I gonna have to keep bringing this up? All right, I guess you guys want to move on. So why do you guys want, or why are you guys against prostitution? What's wrong with that? Why can't I have sex with a prostitute?
Oh, you guys sound like a bunch of dumb niggers too.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
Jesus.
God damn.
Ben, bro, what the hell did you bring in here,
Hold
bro?
on too. My God.
Listen, guys, we're all friends here, right? I hope we're all friends.
Yeah.
Grace, I can't hear you at all.
No.
Who muted me?
I'm just here.
Who muted me?
Wait,
What's
who
up?
muted him?
This is
Damn.
King's debate.
Damn.
Muted him.
Wait, who muted King?
Somebody muted me? This is my room.
He's screaming too. Oh my gosh.
This is my room.
Yeah, he's screaming.
Who did that?
Yeah, who muted
Get
me?
server muted.
I
I'm
Yo,
assuming it's
chat,
because
one if you agree with me, two if you agree with King. What are the results, King?
Why are you
what?
guys
From
muting me?
what?
I did nothing wrong.
well, I'm just gonna do it unless anyone else has a reason why they did that. So,
Geometry.
I don't know why someone muted him.
That was a rando that popped in.
He's unmuted now.
Yeah. Whoever muted me. Who muted me? Who muted me?
That was me. No. Poon, shut the fuck up.
Who muted me? Let me know who muted me right now, so I can let
No,
the other
it was-
mods know, because that was bullshit. It's literally my room, so why would you mute me in my room?
Dude, he made a mistake.
He made a mistake. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just
I made
so
a mistake.
coincident. He coincidentally
Why do you
muted
say
me.
you're non-aggression pact when you're so aggressive to people? What the fuck?
Who did I aggress? Name me the person I aggressed against. Show me the person I aggressed against.
The mod that you just didn't even let explain himself. Like what?
All right, go ahead. Explain yourself. I want to know the great reason why you muted me. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because I heard someone say the N word and I wasn't sure.
And you
I was trying to
automatically
figure
assumed
out
it was
who's-
me. Thanks.
All right, can
He thought
I'm
it's
so
because it was the
sorry.
person next to you, so it makes sense why. He
All right,
muted
it's
you,
okay.
because
I
he just
forgive
thought
you.
it was
It's
me.
fine. I won't break your balls. I forgive you. I just felt like you guys muted me because you guys think I'm an Ancap and you guys don't like me. I felt like that was the reason.
There's other reasons.
no,
I feel
no.
he was being an Ancap, but yeah.
You guys just
So wait, so guys, we're all friends
that's
here,
all
right?
right.
So then that means we're all friends. We're all cool here.
You're my
Yeah,
friend.
I'm fine, I'm
We all
fine.
really like you.
Oh, thank you. I like you guys too. Why is Grace completely muted?
What happened to Grace?
I'm not muted.
Oh, okay.
Nah, she's just quiet. I
She's
muted
not
Poon because he
responding
wasn't-
to
he
the
won't shut up.
Zoomer energy. Zoomer energy that lacks.
So why shouldn't I be allowed to have sex with a prostitute? I want to have sex with a prostitute. If I want to have sex with a prostitute, it's my body, my choice.
Earlier.
Because it's degrading. You should do better things with your time.
Yeah, but it's my money, my body, my choice.
What if you want to play Russian?
What if I want to win?
consensual,
What if I
what's the
want to
problem?
pay to win? You know what I'm saying?
What if you want to play Russian roulette? Is that fine? Should society let you?
Why not? If I'm up for it. If I'm up for it.
You want to play Russian roulette?
I don't want to. I never said that. I'm saying if I'm up for it, you know.
If
I want to blow my
I mean, if I wanted to.
hypothetical.
I mean,
You
if
wanna
I wanted
play
to, yeah,
Russian
sure.
roulette?
Fuck it. Let me do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, well,
That's fine.
right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
What
I'm
about all
perfect.
the
I think
investment
dueling should be
society
legal
has
again
made
too.
in you?
I think like if people want to duel each other, I think that's perfectly fine.
That's so
This
big.
is what happens when someone doesn't understand what an ANCAP is. They start answering these, like asking these questions.
It's so funny.
I'm just so glad that all of you guys are here.
It's
This
like
is so cool.
everyone who doesn't get it does that.
And you know what? I've seen you guys on YouTube, and you guys were hanging out with Destiny and all that. But what happened with you and Destiny? Are you guys not friends anymore?
No, we
Dude's
are going
I'm
really a
suing him for
pedophile.
defamation.
through the government. We are going to pursue through the state, through the courts.
Incorrect.
Remedying the wrong that he has done to us.
Incorrect.
Oh, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know the drama at all. So you know, I that's why I was asking. So I don't really keep up.
Bro is
Wait, who
literally
here-
getting a
who here is
lawsuit
streaming
for
besides
child.
Sithis?
Like what?
Trump has a
Have you
lawsuit
guys-
for child what?
I'm
Well, I
streaming.
mean,
I'm
I don't really
streaming, too.
care about Destiny like that. I don't really watch him like
Have
that.
you guys filed your amended complaint yet?
Suffer.
No, not yet.
You should do that.
Suffer fuck.
I know.
Damn, I almost said it.
I think you only got 21 days from the original date. Otherwise, you got to go to court and ask permission, and it's a pain in the ass.
Well, I hope you guys.
Oh no, you have 30 days.
Wait, what are you guys
have
suing him
30
for?
days.
Is that Reap?
Suffer, suffer, and suffer.
Defamation.
No, Reap ain't in
Oh,
here.
defamation? That's ass. I
I
hope
like
you guys
him.
lose.
Reap hates this server, dude.
Real.
Defamation
Yeah.
shouldn't be
Why?
real. Defamation isn't a crime.
Wait, what happened?
Incorrect.
Actually?
Well, it's
Well, I
not
mean,
a crime,
now it's a
against
line, but I
civil law.
don't consider it. It's not. It
I'm not
doesn't
saying it's
violate
a
the NAP.
crime.
Now what's the
Well, it
law?
should be
Civil
like
issue.
yeah, civil, right?
Yeah, the
I'm
NAP
gonna
like
I'm gonna send
'cause
preacher.
you could
up
lie
there.
about
Oh,
another
okay,
person. That's not a rights violation.
Wait. But you believe you're an anarcho-capitalist, right? So if a business lies about another business,
That's not a rights
openly to
violation.
hurt their business. You don't.
No, that's not a
It's
rights
a rights
violation.
violation.
No, it's not.
How is it?
Yeah, it is.
Because lying,
Not
because
an
you're not
Ancap.
what are you stealing from them? What are you What are you doing?
You're stealing
to them?
clients.
Business.
That's not stealing
Yeah, you're
clients.
stealing
reputation.
reputation.
Wait,
You're making
then,
them look
then
like
you
shit.
could make that argument for any
McDonald's-
business
Which
that
is an
wait,
aggression.
you could make that argument for
McDonald's
any
said
business that
something about
competes
a
with another business. They're
manufacturer-
stealing their customers by providing a new product, so they shouldn't be allowed to
Yeah, but
provide a new
competition
product.
is
No,
different than
providing
lying.
a better
For example,
service versus lying is two different
competition
things.
is different than lying.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rights violation in lying.
If you are,
McDonald's
wow.
lied about a machine, a manufacturer who gave them certain machines.
No,
They lied about how
100%
machines
beef.
were
100% beef is what
saying,
is the
for
lie.
instance, someone else
that company
has
sued them on
illnesses
I mean,
in
fraud
their
is a
food.
crime, but the whole necessarily lying is not necessarily a lie. Like I could say,
Suffer,
"Hey, Grace,
suffer.
she stinks," and I could go around and say that she stinks all around what I want. But am I really violating her rights? Am I doing anything to her that's harming her? No.
What?
I don't think
No,
you
you
actually
could be
stink. I
an-
think
You
you
are,
probably
like,
smell
you're
good.
defamation is.
She hurt
Yeah,
your
I
feelings.
know what defamation
Like
is. I'm
lying
saying I
about somebody.
disagree with
That is,
defamation.
If I say you're a
violating the
poo poo head, is that defamation? No.
KingSithis,
I mean, you don't
you're not
have.
allowed
It's
to-
a lie.
you're not-
technically.
you're-
Wait. Can we,
KingSithis.
guys? We're talking all at once. Please, please.
I just want to say one thing, bro.
Go ahead, go
You're
ahead,
not
go ahead.
allowed to say the quiet. You're not allowed to say the quiet parts out loud, bro.
Okay, listen.
So,
I wasn't
I'm just gonna
actually
leave it at
saying.
that.
I wasn't actually saying that she stinks. Okay. Okay. I was just saying. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think
Guys, you
know
guys
what
are making my
defamation
fucking
is.
World of Warcraft lag because of how many of you guys are in the room right now. Oh my god.
I don't think you know what saying the quiet parts out loud means.
You're playing World of Warcraft?
Hell yeah.
I know what it means.
He literally.
Yeah, well, if you know what it means, then suffer.
Yeah. I don't know what we're talking about.
Maybe if I go to a different
suffering.
realm.
what it means.
I just
Suffering
wanna
and
say,
dying.
So Grace, where do you guys Grace and Ben, what do you guys live stream to?
Right now, kick.
Kick.
Hey yo.
So what do you guys viewers think about my anarcho-capitalism arguments? Do you think they're good?
They said I should tell you to rope.
No!
Whoa.
Holy shit! Average kick viewer, bro.
No!
Suffer and dilate. Right? That's all you can do. Suffer and dilate, or dilate and suffer.
They said a few other things. They said you have the typical nasality of a Discord user.
Wow.
They said your system is
Coming from a
gonna
kick
end up
user?
the same way every other system has ended up. It's gonna end
Imagine
up in
supporting a
warlords and
government.
tribalism.
Imagine supporting a government. Ugh. Imagine.
You mean
Say it's going to end up in warlords and tribalism. This is what I hate when people
Dude,
make
we're
this
under-
fucking argument.
we're
because
under a
where do you
state.
think we're headed now? Where do you think we're headed now?
The state
Hold on,
is a
I thought you
warlord.
said-
The
I
state
thought- I
is
thought
a
you said that
warlord.
you were pro-government.
What? Wait,
Yeah,
I didn't know that
so
my
if the
state
state's
was
a
actively
warlord-
trying to pursue, like, keeping me under the wraps with the.
I mean, if you want to say
Maybe
the
not
state's
you,
a
but
warlord,
others.
that's fine. I trust. Look, the state has problems, but I would trust it more than random people establishing
Fuck that.
geographical
Bro, the
dominance.
government is made up
why?
of random people. The
militias.
government is made up of random people.
They're
Wait,
voted
what-
for. Like, I understand there's corruption and everything. I'm not like a huge pro.
Oh, so
government.
voting makes it okay? Voting makes it okay?
Hold on. Millions of people, millions
sense
of
of
people
a
are voting for people they've never fucking met, dude. Like,
You don't even
We don't
know
have-
half these
we don't
guys.
have-
You can make
we
the argument
don't-
government should be smaller.
We don't.
Or
No,
more
no.
centralized.
Yeah, I
We-
definitely agree.
Minimize the
Smaller.
government
I
all the
agree
way
with you. I agree
down,
with that,
all the
Gracie.
way down to 0%.
So then you would.
Yeah, so
in a
abolish
sense-
the federal
in a
government.
0%
sense-
is crazy.
So that in a
Thanks.
sense, you do agree with some of the arguments being presented, especially like if it was a libertarian, right? The only thing is that you're having a problem with the extreme position of let's just not have a state at all, even though there have been examples of how stateless societies have survived, right, in history, and then the fact that we have reached a point in human evolution where we think that there might be some pretty big success in a stateless society. What you're comparing, right, to what ANCAP would be versus what we have now, there's clearly much more negative implications and effects of a state rather than just a stateless, meaning there is not a state. There is not a body that holds a monopoly of violence on you, right,
What
and
is
then
the-
forces
what is
you
the
to pay
example of
taxes.
that? What is the
So
example
the
of that?
United States government is a state, right? Because it holds a monopoly on violence on you.
It uses laws and law enforcement in order to enforce its laws upon you and enter into a contract that you have not consented into, which includes taxes or other things like that. Also, the fact that you're not able to hold land. Property in the United States is not actually yours. You have to pay taxes. If you do not pay your taxes, the land will be taken away from you. Eminent domain exists as a concept.
We all know what a government is.
Correct. No, but that's what we define as a state.
It's a legal thief.
So when we then say
criminal
that you can
organization,
have a stateless society, that doesn't then mean that something of like a governing body can exist.
Yeah,
but the
we don't want
governing body
Libya.
wouldn't hold a monopoly, wouldn't have a monopoly of violence on people, and forces people to be in that government. Right? It would just be a governing body made of people.
People under the age of 18, and this is not about sex. Let's not take about sex. People under the age of 18 are governed by their parents. And there have been people who say we should abolish the family system. But
that's not us.
Are you going to argue that the family is not natural? Now, there are bad families. There are families where the parents are irresponsible. But generally speaking, with very few exceptions, we would say children are better off in a family than not.
But we're not
Likewise,
against
if we look at
families.
history, it is obvious. But I'm just saying, okay, so is the family a natural institution?
Yeah, it's a non-coercive institution. It's perfectly fine. We're not against families.
Totally coercive. You do
How
not
is it
sign a contract
coercive?
with your family. You were born into your family. You do
You're
not sign a
coercing your
contract. There's
children?
no
How?
consent. There is no consent given at any point.
Children can't
by the
consent.
children.
Children
but
can't
there
consent.
is no- you're saying it's not coercive. It's completely coercive.
How are you coercing your children?
I wouldn't say
racist.
I wouldn't say it's
They are under your
coercive.
discipline. If
I think
you
it's a different
say
word.
You can't go with your friends tonight. They
That's
have
not
to
Yeah,
listen
that's
to
not.
you.
I'm not sure that's coercion. You're
You're
taking
just-
care
you're
of the
just-
child
you're just-
until
It's
they're able to
non-consented.
be an adult.
Non-consented, not coercive.
non-consensual.
Coercive would imply
Yeah, it's non-consensual.
coercion would imply
Without being
coercion would
part
imply a
of the
change of
family.
mind. There is no change of mind to be given.
And I would argue
Suffer,
children
yeah.
can't really make their
Children
own
have
decisions. They can't
minds.
consent. They can't make up their own
Children have
mind.
mind.
He's saying there's
Right,
no
but there's
change of
coercion.
mind.
Coercion would involve that there's another choice in the first place.
Yeah, there's no choice. It's do what I say or suffer, right? Like that's the answer.
No. The
Wait,
reason
so
why
you guys are
parents have-
arguing that parents are like these tyrants that force their children to do what they want?
Yes.
That's what you're arguing?
That's technically true.
Yeah, that's what
Yes,
we're
that's what
child.
Yeah, I
parents
disagree.
I tell my son all the time, if you don't play Space Marine co-op with
Yeah,
me,
but
you're
I
gonna
wouldn't.
be grounded.
I wouldn't say that your parents are. Listen,
I
just
mean-
because my parents tells me to go to bed on time
Well.
doesn't make her a fucking tyrant. Like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Curfew.
Do you have a choice?
Is there
Or your
punishment
parent-
if you
They're trying
disobey?
to.
Yeah, it's.
Yes,
So-
ass,
so I think
ass
it's quite- I
whooping.
think
What
it's
do you
quite-
do?
Tire
I think it's
flipping.
quite dumb.
Parental relationships are the
think
quite
it's
literal
quite-
definition of tyranny.
I just think
Yeah,
it's quite
Yeah,
dumb to compare
unfortunately.
for it
the
to be
natural
tyrannical,
institution
there
of a
has to be
family.
coercion. As far as I could tell, you're not coercing your children.
I'm the
Yeah,
dictator
you
in this
compare- I think
house.
compare-
I think to
So you're
compare the
coercing your
natural-
children?
To
You're
compare
born
the
into a
natural
relationship
institution of a
you have to
family
obey
to the
your-
political state that we're talking about is quite a stretch, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not even acting. It's not even
It's
the
actually
same
an exact
factors here.
analogy. It's
It's not an exact analogy.
No.
It's not an
It's not.
analogy. It's not because what you're
So
what
your
you're
mother,
comparing.
wait,
What you're comparing. No, no.
Your mother
Because
telling you
what
to
you're
go to bed
including here
early
a
is the
child-
same as
No.
taxing people and fucking sending them to
No.
war to die.
Exactly. And on top of that, you're not even including the
Born
difference in
into a
terms of
family.
consent. No. You're not even and you're not even talking about consent in the difference of the examples. You can't compare the consent of a child in terms of how an institution of a family works from the parent to child the same way as the government to every single adult in the United States that is forced to pay taxes.
compare it.
It's not
You're
the same
born
consent.
in
It's
a-
not the same consent.
So
It's
many
not.
dumb niggers.
Born
Whoa, whoa,
into-
Whoa.
Kick
Only
that
I get
person.
to
Kick
say
that
the N-word
person.
like
Yeah,
that.
kick that. Somebody, please. There's a mod in here. I know there's a mod in here, right?
What's that?
Can they repeat what they said? Just
It
so
wasn't
I can
me, and that's
added
a
it.
problem. It was supposed to
Can
be
they
me.
say it one more?
I was about to
can they
say
just
it.
one more
I was
time
about
for
to
me?
say it.
Bro, shut up.
I didn't hear
Oh, someone already
I just
ruined
want to
it.
be sure. I just want to be sure.
It
that
was
they said-
Harlocker, right?
It wasn't me this
You
time.
got
I
it.
promise.
Yeah.
I already
Okay.
added him in the side chat if you needed the.
Well, check out the GIF.
Yeah,
Hey, why don't you
that's what I
guys
thought.
let's
Thanks.
take a moment to check out the GIF in side chat. It's pretty funny.
Mutual friend, South Cat. What
I
a
was
surprise.
Poon muted. I'm gonna post a random episode
I
of
didn't
Opportunity
do it.
Force in the side chat if anybody wants to watch it. Air Inflatable Fuhrer, here you go, have fun. Watch Inflatable Hitler on
Hey, streamers, are you guys interested in streaming y'all's reaction of like a video of a guy getting his
Is
head
this
cut
guy
off?
spamming TOS stuff?
That goes against the TOS. I'm pretty
Honestly,
sure.
you should probably get rid of him. To be honest with
Yeah,
you.
please
Bro,
do.
you are
please
so
do.
weird for saying that.
What's going on now?
What is a weirdo?
Who said that?
It was the American ADL, the Pepe Frog looking guy.
Oh, okay.
I posted an episode of a very famous cartoon that was on like fucking national television. The FCC definitely allowed this to be broadcasted on live television, so I don't think there's anything anti-Semitic about episode
No,
of
this is
Opportunity
awesome.
Force.
This is the Big Slump show. Big Slumps in like the first 5 seconds of this.
Who's the Ancap here?
The episode is called Dare Inflatable
We're on the,
Fuhrer.
okay,
If anybody wants-
guys. We are in a debate and ANCAP this part the room. So if you guys don't want to debate and ANCAP, respectfully.
Yeah, let's let.
Shut up.
I'm one.
Let's let Ben.
I'm an ANCAP.
I lock this.
Hey,
I
no,
lock
do you have a source
circumcising
for that?
Jewish mice, dude.
Do you have a source for that, King? That this is a debate? I mean,
Yeah. Look at the fucking the room.
oh yeah, okay. I could. That's true.
Dude, King's just a troll. He just trolls everywhere he goes, bro.
I'm not a troll. I'm a real.
He
I'm
is.
a real
He's a big
pilot.
troll.
I'm not a troll. I'm a pilot. R2, is this guy gay? Yes or no? Oh, God.
Why don't you make your
That was good. That was good.
Wow, bro.
This is an X-wing pilot.
That's actually pretty funny.
I will give it.
Okay, so I'm an ANCAP. My friend, the ComCom is an ANCAP. My friend Dylan here is an ANCAP. So if you guys have any questions for us, I'm chilling. I'm playing World of Warcraft. So
if the state, like a family, is something which, generally speaking, though, it has a lot of problems.
You think he's a fraud?
Let him finish. Let him finish talking.
hold on, let him finish talking, please.
Wouldn't you say we should back that institution?
No, because a government's not a family.
I understand a government's not a family, but I said if a state, like a family, though it has lots of problems, leads to better outcomes.
Family is
It's
not like
not
a
a family. It's
You
voluntary.
just admitted that they're not. Wait. So you just admitted that they're not the same, but then you said, if they were the same, would it be
I
like
said
this?
If
What?
the institution of the family, you guys don't even understand basic logic. If the institution of the family, though it has lots of problems, though it's not consensual, though it doesn't abide by all whatever libertarian principles you think
does.
should be there, it doesn't in any way do those things.
It does.
Leads to better outcomes, and the state follows the same formula, then shouldn't we back both of them or neither
No.
of them?
Because one's
No.
consensual and the other one's not. Next question.
You just admitted that there's a problem. There's a
Not
difference in
consensual.
consent.
No, but
You
neither
just
of them are
admitted.
consensual.
You just admitted in your explanation that there's a difference in consent. Because of that, they cannot be the same,
No,
and
I
we cannot
said
value them the
neither
same.
of them-
There's a
You're
reason
born in the
why
United
the
States,
institution.
the laws of
That
the
is the
United
reason. Wait. That is the reason why we
Same thing
think
as
that
a
the
family.
institution of the family is fine because it's not a tyrannical monopoly on children versus a state
It is.
which is literally a criminal organization created to benefit itself by increasing its power by taking from the people. I can
Why
list
wouldn't
many
parents-
examples
parents
on the
can be
daily how it
right?
does that versus a parent, right, who is objective of becoming a parent is not to hold a monopoly on their children and beat them when they break a rule. That is what
Why
the
not?
state
It
does.
could be. It could be. Some bad
Whether it
states
could be-
do what you're
whether-
saying. Some bad families.
All
do
states,
what
no.
you're saying.
All states do
Some
this.
Parents exploit
All
their
states do
children
this.
for
Show me
money
a
or
state that
whatever they
doesn't.
want.
Show me a state that doesn't do this.
The United States of America generally
Doesn't
speaking,
hold the
don't
monopoly of violence on people. It doesn't
Generally
force
speaking,
people
he
to.
said
do that.
generally
monopoly
speaking.
of violence over their kids. What's the problem?
No, but I'm asking
Wait,
you.
hold on. There's
the
a
difference
limitation to
here
that
is-
violence, dude.
Wait. What you're going is for the
State.
extreme minority of the cases, and I'm asking you. Okay, in that same question,
And you
show
are
me
too.
the extreme minority of states that don't hold a tyrannical hold on its people, and you're not going to find it. You know
vast
why?
majority of
Because compared to
benefit their-
parents, right? You're gonna find difference in parenting, right? But in a majority of the cases, parents are not. Their objective when becoming parents is not to beat their kids. Yes, there might be a case out there, but that doesn't mean that that's what their objective is to become
That is not
parents.
what governments
And that's not the basis of
All
the family
governments
institution.
violate property rights.
All governments. That's what you're not
This is like
understanding.
some communist stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
How are
It's
we
not
communists?
communist.
What?
This is some,
We're
this is some
completely
Karl,
other-
this is some Karl
We are-
Marx
and we're
stuff.
capitalists.
Violate property rights.
Rothbard
All
is
governments
exactly
violate
like Karl
property
Marx.
rights.
Yeah.
You guys have the same mentality as like 13-years-olds. My parents are
No, you don't.
tyrannical. They make me come home.
No, we're
when I
saying
don't wanna
literally
come
the
home.
opposite. We're
They
saying the
have
opposite. That
We're
parents
literally
aren't
saying the
tyrannical.
Childish. It's puerile.
You have the mindset that might makes right.
You can't deal. I'm sorry you can't deal with the differencing in
Damn,
opinion.
this guy's crushing out, bro.
Yo, this guy is sweet.
Oh,
Take
God.
it easy. Whoa. Take it easy. Take
cry,
it
liberal,
easy.
Cry liberal. Cry liberal. Go cry. Go cry in the corner. I am the child.
Yes, we are better. Us and caps.
I am the
And caps
child.
1,
I-
status 0. And caps 1, status 0. And cap is
Ancap
1.
is best.
Yes, and cap is the best.
Ancap
Take the
bad.
gold pill. Take the gold pill.
Hey,
Take the
you're
gold
clipping your
pill.
mic.
If you think this is
Hey.
a win, take it as a win. If you think this is a win, take it as a win, Ben. You can't understand.
against TOS.
Take the gold pill.
Oh, God.
Take the gold pill.
Take the gold pill.
Ben,
Take
I
the
just,
gold pill.
Ben, you were
Take the
peeing
gold
mic a
pill.
little bit. Ben, we couldn't
Oh,
hear you
God.
very well because you were peeking the mic a little bit. You can
wish
repeat
you
what you said,
could-
but
you
do it
could-
at
you
normal
could-
volume, please.
You couldn't even hear the rage. It
You
wasn't
can
even.
mute him and you can hear him in Gracie's mic.
You're not allowed to hear
That's true,
him.
exactly.
I mean, even though he's yelling, I don't really hear him that well. I'm not gonna lie.
Dad. You gotta like go to Discord voice settings and turn off like crisp or noise cancel or something.
Yeah, because your voice is really low.
Yeah, we couldn't even hear the
We're
rage.
already
in
know
Gracie's
why
voice.
Yeah.
it was off.
Like we didn't even hear
I
a
would've-
single one.
Like, I knew you were yelling, but I could barely hear
We
it.
couldn't hear the fucking rage properly.
Ben,
We didn't even need to mute you because you muted yourself with the peaking.
That's what I was trying to say.
As a
Yeah, we didn't
developer-
get to hear you yell.
I need a second attempt. I need a second take. Are we ready for this? Let's fix
Are
the
you sure
mic
you want a second attempt?
situation.
Because most people
Let's
don't
get a
survive
second
a second attempt.
The gold pill is the ANCAP pill. Take the gold
He's gonna
pill.
make it to a heart attack. He's
Take
gonna
the
go in
gold
for an
pill.
arrest.
Chris suppression, I think.
Turn
it's
that
called.
off.
Let him at him. Let him at him.
All right, now
If-
is there noise suppression on like crisp, standard, none?
Voice
She's
setting.
not even walking over.
If
You might have to put
I
it
am
in.
not- never
You
mind.
might have to do it. That was
Wouldn't it-
Guys,
Grace-
like, stop.
What,
Grace,
guys?
wouldn't it be more
This is
effective- wouldn't it be more
debate. This is
effective going
the
over and
this
doing
is
it
a
for him?
debate and ANCAP channel, guys.
This doesn't help Boomer fix his mic.
So, like I was saying,
I'm
until I
trying to
was
help.
yelled
Can we
at.
go back to the
We can
debate
have-
now?
It's not about. So look, I
I
understand the
turned off
frustration.
advanced voice activity.
I think I
It's boomerang,
understand. I understand the frustration when it comes to talking to an ANCAP. That it might seem that the idea is a little extreme, or that something here
A little.
is
Yes.
something that may not be understood. But this is a political philosophy that is pretty much explained very, very largely out. This is not something created by kids. This is something that has been up and coming, and it is a brand new philosophy in terms of
Created
political
by
philosophy.
economists.
It's new.
Created
Exactly.
by economists. Yo, Grace,
So
put
this
show
is-
this
this is-
picture
But
on your
made-
live stream.
Made by kids and for kids.
Childish.
It's
I don't
made-
care
No,
how
it was
is.
not
It's not
made by
childish.
kids.
It's not childish. We don't call
It's
Karl Marx
effective.
childish, do
Totally
we?
childish.
No, he's really bad.
Karl Marx
I would.
is a child.
Karl
He
Marx
was
was
an
based.
last I checked, he was an adult, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm joking, by the way.
Boone, can you play the soundboard of me saying based?
Wait, unmute that. I want to hear him.
I don't have
Penis.
him mute. I didn't mute him.
The problem is,
Oh.
the problem is you cannot. Wait, but you can't.
The fact that
can't-
he wasn't
Ben, you're muted. Ben,
Listen,
Even
bro,
though-
you just
Server
if
muted.
you
Even
wouldn't be
though-
yelling if you took the gold pill. If you took the
Ben,
gold
can I
pill,
ask
you
you a
wouldn't be
question?
yelling right now.
What the fuck is the gold pill, dude?
It's
It's the
Handcap
gold
pill,
pill.
come on,
The
get on it.
gold pill.
Cap pill.
This sounds like
Yes.
a cult.
That's
No,
why.
It's
you
not-
need to
it's
take the
not
gold
a
pill.
cult.
It's way better.
Take the gold
Red
pill.
pill,
Well,
blue
actually-
pill, red pill or
Supporting-
blue pill.
supporting
Wrong
the
question.
No, I got
Wrong
something better than the
question.
gold pill, dude.
It's
I got
the
something
gold
Hold on,
pill.
Sithis. Hold on, Sithis. I got something better than the gold pill, bro. You can't beat this, bro. You can't beat this, bro. You want to know what it is?
What is it? What is it?
It's the Eucharist.
The what?
Yeah.
The Eucharist.
What's that?
I don't get it.
I don't know what
Eucharist,
that is.
dog.
The body of Christ is what he's referring to.
The body of Christ.
I'm sorry, but the gold pill.
Body, blood, soul, and
the
divinity.
gold pill is better.
I'll take it, but point that I was trying to say was, even though it might seem childish, as much as you want to call Karl Marx a child,
cringe. Suffer,
within
Chris.
political philosophy, we consider these to be political philosophers and their theories to be very well versed in what they're talking about.
Yes.
Whether there's applicability in them, that's different. We can argue that, and we can say that the applying Karl Marx's idea, maybe there's definitely a problem there. I definitely think so too. Other people would agree with me.
Easy beat.
But in terms of him and his theories, they are still extremely highly valued theories, right?
Yes.
Especially his theory of labor. So I don't think a child will be able to come up with that type of theory of labor. So can we agree that Karl Marx?
Capitalism is good. Yes.
So he is not a child, then, correct?
His analysis
he was like,
of how
you
to
need
change
to take
things
the
to
gold
create a
pill.
fucking utopia in which everyone is going to be working for the state is utterly childish and ridiculous.
Guys, unmute Ben, I
Move
can't
on.
hear him.
The 20th century was one gigantic bloodbath.
He's not muted.
When are
He's
you guys going
unmuted.
to register?
No, it registers for me. But what I'm saying is,
Century was a
as much as
bloodbath
I don't call
utopian
Karl Marx.
ideas that were not grounded in a basic understanding.
Yes, I agree with you. We don't disagree on this. What we disagree
It
on
isn't
is
human nature to tax.
calling political philosophers children because you disagree with their theory and the application of their theory. So because you think that Rothbard is a child because of the way that he presents the basis of our arguments, right? I feel like that's really dishonest, and I don't really even think you even know who that person is. Do you even know who Rothbard is? Do you even know?
Murray Rothbard?
Yes, do you?
Murray Rothbard, the dude who wrote the Anatomy of the State.
Yes, American. Thank you. American knows who it is.
Penis. It's a very short book, but it gives you a lot of information in very couple pages.
Exactly. It's a beautiful book.
Totally valid to say, like, maybe some things are better run by the market than the state. But to
All
call
things are
the
better ran by the
abolishment
market than the
of
state.
is ridiculous.
No, it's
ridiculous,
not.
guys.
Just because
Move
humans
on.
aren't hold on, Ben. Just because
Wait, what
humans
do you mean,
aren't
move
ready
on?
for
Let's
it
see.
yet.
Wait, you're in a
because-
VC, you're in a VC talking to an ANCAP. This is
I like to
entirely
fuck
your
Apache.
Yeah, this is the debate
Boom,
in
I
ANCAP.
swear to
This is
God.
the debate in ANCAP room. If you're not ready to debate in ANCAP, then go suck a dick.
I was an ANCAP
Ew, my
until I
ass.
found out that
Oh,
until I found out that
Ew, my
capitalism is
goddamn
just
ass.
another economic system of the state. So it's like if you're having capitalism, then like
You're an
Capitalism
agorist.
doesn't exist.
So you're an agorist.
Capitalism.
I would say, yeah.
Capitalism
If the whole point is to get rid of the state, I think you need to get rid of like the economic system the state is using as well.
Yes, I agree.
What?
That's corporatism. That's corporatism.
Not called capitalism.
That's not ANCAP.
Capitalism existed way before states.
Yes.
Thou shalt not murder.
It's a natural process that had been identified within political philosophy to exist before states. It gets reinforced through states, and then there's like a what's it called?
Corrupted by states.
There's minor but there's also minor like branchings off of capitalism.
That's why we need to abolish
This
the
is a
state.
fantasy. Let me help you with
Sir,
this. Are you
sir, respectfully,
involved in a fantasy?
Social capitalism.
states-
Social capitalism.
Sir,
Do you think that there were
respectfully,
anarchic
states-
tribes that didn't have a chief? Do you think that's true? In early man?
They wouldn't be anarchic if they had a chief.
Right. So do you think that there were anarchic tribes that didn't have a chief? Is there any evidence of that whatsoever? No.
What
there's
does
not.
that prove?
Which
What are
would
you
tend
trying to
to lead
prove?
us to believe that
This is why I'm a social. No, see, this is why I'm a social nationalist, dude. Like,
here we go.
Social dick sucker. That's what you are.
I would be a state.
bring back the monarchy. Bring back the theocracy. It's time for the Holy American
That's a good
Empire,
point.
dude.
There have always been hierarchies, so the idea that no hierarchy is actually
ultimately,
We don't believe in no
ultimately,
hierarchies.
any system
Again, oh my god.
KingSithis, what about minarchism? What about minarchism? What are your thoughts on minarchism?
I'd rather have
We just
minarchism
think
than what we have now.
Gracie, what we tried to explain is within ANCAP, it's not that we're saying that no body of governorship cannot exist. What we're saying is a state cannot exist, and we carefully
question.
define a state in a certain way so that it covers a very specific example, right? When it
But
comes,
unless
for
you're
example,
playing, unless you're playing semantics games,
welcome to political philosophy. That is what political
Government
philosophy
is
is.
But a government is just
Yes, it
the
is.
people people who run the state. You cannot have a government
No.
without a state. They are together.
Yes, you
But
can.
you can.
Yes, you
Gracie,
can.
True.
Gracie.
No, you can't.
Okay, okay.
Gracie,
all right,
Gracie,
all
I have a
right,
question. I have a
wait,
question.
wait, wait,
If
wait,
you,
wait,
me,
wait,
and
wait,
Ben
wait.
create a book
We need to
club and we
establish
say
something.
Gracie is the president, did we just create a government without creating a state?
The state is the
No.
book club, and we are the government. Like that's how it works.
No, it's
Gracie,
not the
okay,
same.
No.
Gracie, I just
No,
want to
it's
say
not.
something though. I just
Oh
want to
my
say,
God.
guys,
All
I
right,
just want to say
let's
something.
let
An
incarnation.
example-
Let's let
guys,
incarnation go, please. Go ahead.
I just want to say something to Gracie. An example of a government, a stateless government, would be the French government or any of the governments that were ousted by the
What about
Germans
Antarctica?
in World War II. Those would have been governments without a state. Right? They're effectively governments. People are still running the country as it was, but they just don't have a state because it belongs to the Germans. That would be an example of a government without a state. However, everybody would agree that any central form of authority that governs a certain boundary makes a state. You can call
Not
that a
necessarily.
city state, you can call it a nation state, you can call it a
Right, whatever you-
theocracy state. It's all the same thing. If you had a
It's
central
all just
authority
the fucking
that
Squidward
governs,
state,
So the
okay?
local
if
McDonald's
you
down the
have a
street is a
central
state.
authority that governs a boundary, that
Does
is
the
what
local
you would call a
McDonald's
state.
down the is the local McDonald's
Okay,
down the
sure,
street
I agree with
a
that.
state?
An authority
Sure.
that governs a boundary. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, wait.
No, it's
so
Jewish.
is the local
That's
McDonald's down the
Makes
street a
sense to
state?
me.
No,
No.
Why not? They
It's a
protect their property,
solid.
right?
no.
No, they
Fuck
don't.
McDonald's.
Property rights are
No, they
established
don't
by the
have money.
state.
Okay,
The
so-
property rights are established by the state. So the only reason a McDonald's exists as it does is because the government that governs the boundaries that we call a state establishes what the property rights are within those boundaries. Therefore, McDonald's.
So if
exists.
I own my own
It's a
land
business that
and I
exists
have a
within
gun and I
states.
stop
I'll be right
people
back.
from robbing it, am I now a state?
I didn't hear what you said.
If I have a gun and I stop people from robbing my house, am I now a state?
No.
Oh yeah, that's
You
true.
are.
Fact.
No.
Okay, so but I am
You
government,
are.
right?
You are an agent operating
But I am
within a
governing
state
my
that has a
property, right?
government that governs you. So your property only exists because you are part of a system that has a government which governs a boundary that establishes property rights within those boundaries that you then purchase a property within, which recognizes your right to that property. Without the government or the state, you don't necessarily have a right to that property. It doesn't really exist.
That doesn't make any sense.
So if the government said, "Hey, I want to take your house from you and give it to some other person," you would say that's perfectly fine because the state is the one that chooses what you own.
No, not necessarily. The state establishes their
So you
property
don't
rights.
believe that? So you don't believe
well,
that?
No, the state as an agent cannot act and come and take my property.
Yes, they can.
But the state that is
they
itself within the
enforce
laws.
the property rights.
Yeah, the state
not
would
your
enforce your property rights. Exactly.
I get that they're, but they
can't
you
own
said
the
that
right
you could
exist
only
regardless.
have property rights under a state. So I'm just saying, like, let's say the state came up to you and said that your house is not yours, and they snatch it from you, give it to someone else. Like you would say, hey, nope, you're not the owner anymore because the state is the one that determines what's property. I'm sorry, did I ask you a question? Or no, you can't. Not until he's done.
Well, again, so the state establishes the property right. So what you can and can't do with the property, and what it can't and can't do with your property. So within the boundaries of the property rights that are established within the state, then no,
Who's
the
the one
state
that
wouldn't be
sets
allowed
the
to just
rules?
walk up to your house. The state enforces the rights.
But who's the one that
it
sets
has
the
agreed
rules?
to bestow? I mean, I guess in this case, some form of central doctrine.
The state,
could be
right?
A constitution, a charter, could be the municipality, could be a lot of things that establishes what it is. So.
Yeah, so the state, right?
Not necessarily the state. No, could be a municipality.
So you're meaning to tell me, so like if the state came up to me and snatched my house from me, you would say that's perfectly legitimate because the state is the one that protects property rights, and he's the one that defines property.
Well, unless the state has established some form of bylaw within your property rights that allows it to walk up to your house, put a gun to your head, blow your fucking head out, and take your property, then yes, I guess the state would allow that. But if the property rights established within that state it doesn't allow that, then no, the state couldn't just.
Yeah, but
walk
let's
up
say
and
they changed the
take your
law and
property.
made it so that they could do that. You would say that's fine.
Well, that's why hopefully within a democracy, you don't let that happen.
Yeah, democracies never turn tyrannical, right?
Yes, but
No, they often do.
KingSithis, can I make a point to you? Okay.
Go ahead.
So you're talking about political philosophy, right? And you're aware somewhat of political philosophy. So there's been a debate for a long time. What's the ideal form of government, right? And
Ancap.
you would admit that a tyranny, a benevolent tyranny, can be a very effective form of government. But you would see it as the worst.
No, I would disagree with that 100%.
Benevolent tyranny.
Okay, because you think the only thing that matters in politics is maximizing the freedom of the individual. Right?
100%. Politics should be abolished.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but like, okay, so
You
you're
don't know what
saying
politics is?
maximizing.
Abolish politics?
I don't know what that means. Abolish politics.
Politics is the idea of the state, right? Governing
can't
and
abolish a
setting rules on
concept. That's
individuals.
crazy.
Okay.
The idea
Yeah,
of-
how do you
Talking
like?
about
Let's
political
abolish
philosophy.
geometry next. Come on, no more
Politics
geometry.
is
like I
is
said,
the institution of individuals who put laws in place in order to restrict our rights. That's what they're doing.
Wait,
That's why
wait,
they
wait.
should
This
abolish
is
it.
Politics is
Politics
Hey, can I
be
have a
about
question?
subject
just be
matter.
about any form of government and how
Politics is an idea and
deals with
subject
things.
matter.
Can I ask a question?
let's take apart the word politics. It's like policies, and then what is the?
You
Never
guys are
mind.
getting hung up on the word
making that up.
politics. I think you guys are getting hung up
You
on the
really,
word politics.
you
But
really
the
turned
point
your
that I
camera on
make,
and your mic on to say that, buddy. You really turned your camera and
KingSithis,
your mic
can I
on
ask
to
a
say that.
question?
who me?
Can I ask a question? Can I
You
ask
can
a
ask whatever
question?
you want.
You can just ask like 3.
So if in Ancapistan
He
you
just
have
asked 3.
5 or 6
He did.
different property owners, or 5 or 10 property owners, or 20 property owners who come together and they decide to join together and defend their property rights collectively. They're like, you know what? It's a lot easier if we just come together, we pool
You've
our
asked me this
resources.
before. And I'm going to give you
yeah,
the
no,
same
I'm just
answer you
asking
asked me before.
Wait, just let me you do. You don't even know what I'm asking, okay?
I do.
So these 10, 20 people, they come together, they say, look, we're going to defend our property rights. Here's the rules we're going to establish, and the rules are the NEP, whatever, okay? And they come together, and then they establish the rules. Okay. Now they say, look, we have to be able to pay for our defense, so why don't we pool our resources together, because we're all collectively in this together. So how about we charge ourselves, 2% of our income per month will go to the defense pool.
Are they the owners?
There's
Are
no
they the
currency
owners?
because it's an anarcho-capitalist state.
Yeah, so are
There's
they
no
the-
currency?
Huh?
Okay,
What?
so
We
it's
believe, wait,
that's
we
true.
believe in
That's what your
currency. What
income
would make
You
you
can't
think
have
that?
currency without a
right?
government.
Yeah, yes, you
What?
can.
True.
You never heard
Go
of a
ahead and
free
try
banking?
it.
You never heard of a free
Crypto?
banking system?
You ever heard of
Good,
crypto?
good.
You never
good
heard of
luck with it.
cryptocurrency?
Yeah, it's really successful without it having something grounded in
It's very
physicality.
successful.
But
It's
the
very
point is,
successful.
King,
I would say
but the
Bitcoin
Wait,
is
wait,
pretty-
but the
pretty
point, hold on,
successful.
stop distracting from the point that Incarnation is making. So the point that Incarnation is
You're
making, let's say,
distracting me. You
Stop.
distracted me.
stop. So Incarnation made the point, and tell me if I'm misrepresenting you. You're saying, okay, there's like 5 people, they homesteaded some property, they
20.
put the non-surrender
20.
principle as law, and now they're putting their money together in order to protect that area. And you're saying, oh, because they're doing that, now they're a state. Is that the argument you're making?
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily what I said, but they would eventually they would obviously charge themselves a vig or like a something per month. You know what I mean? They got to pay, they got to contribute somehow, right? A
And then
tax.
you're saying that they're a
So
state
we've
because of
established that
that.
taxation isn't theft, right? So we've established that taxation right there isn't theft. So there's your number one.
I did not
privilege,
establish that.
and then number 2.
I think
well, we
zapping
just
is
did,
theft.
right? We just did. And then yes, you're right. If by virtue of them coming together and formalizing one central authority to kind of defend themselves, they've effectively created a government, and because they're each property owners and they have
Yeah, I agree they created a government.
They have created a state, and that state now has provinces or some states, if you want to call it yourself. Like
All right, I get the
hypothetical. In the
hypothetical.
world,
I get the
Are
hypothetical.
there lots of black
So
people
let
there?
me stop.
And Mexicans?
Yeah, in one of the provinces, mostly to the south.
Whatever you want. So listen,
That's awesome.
there's a difference between private property owners and the state, right? The state forces individuals on land that they don't own to pay into their system to fund the security of that nation. These private property owners are owners of their property. So if they want to put their money together voluntarily in order to protect their land, they're not a state because they're not forcing anyone to pay into the system.
Okay,
And
so let
they
me
are
ask you this.
the
Let me ask you
owners of
this.
their land. The state is not the
Let me
owner
ask you
of the
this.
land.
Okay. So you've put up a standard. I like this. I love this standard. Okay. So in your standard, how far back in history do we have to go to establish who the original property owner was?
It depends on the situation. Do you have? You would have to have. If you believe that a person stole something, you would have evidence that you would need evidence that they stole it. If not, then
evidence for who?
Not necessarily.
If you're
you
making
say
an
that
accusation, yes.
In order for a transaction to be valid, you have to have purchased something legally, or you have to homestead it. Well, the only way that you can homestead something is if somebody doesn't own it, and you yourself, you hold that burden. You have no way of establishing that nobody owns this property.
Well, you're the one making the
Therefore,
accusation that he stole it. You would have to prove that accusation.
I don't because you're
Yes,
putting
you do.
you're putting prerogative to the state. You're like, the state must have.
Are you making a
gained
claim?
its land through. Yes, you're saying that the state.
Okay,
must
so
have
you
gained
need
its
to
land
prove
through
that
just
claim with
means.
using evidence.
Stop for a second. Yeah, stop for a second.
And
You're saying that the
prove it with Israel.
So you're saying here that the state in and of itself, right, it doesn't exist because it didn't get its land through just means. So if the only way for that to happen, for you to say because that's your definition of a state, the only way for you to be able to establish that is if you can go stretch back all the way into the history 6 billion years ago and figure out who created and who owns the planet.
Yeah,
or
but again,
nobody owns the planet.
the state is stealing from us today, so I don't need to go that far.
That shit's funny. So y'all Catholics,
Why?
and y'all believe that we live.
They are, because
6
if I don't
billion
pay into their
years ago.
system, I'll be forced out. I'll be forced out of my house
Okay,
and be
but
robbed.
the state, but we've already established that if you are a participant of the state, you have to pay a tax or whatever, a fee.
Yeah, but they're not. That wasn't a state. The argument you made before is not a state.
That's not theft. You agree.
It is theft
you
because
agree
you're
with that
forced to.
concept. Yes,
You're
but
forced to
stop.
against
You
your will, and the
agree
state
with
is
that
not
concept.
the state is not the property owner of the land. Those two guys,
Okay,
those
but the
5
problem-
guys,
okay, so let's go back to this.
in the hypothetical in which you gave, those 5 guys are the owners of the land. The state is not the owner of the land. If you are not an
This is
owner
not
of the
a
land,
debate.
you
This
don't
is
have
not
the
a
right.
debate.
You don't have the right to charge somebody to stay on that land. If you are the owner
Alright,
of that
let's go
land,
back.
you do have the
How
right
is
to
the
charge somebody to
state
stay on that
not
land.
the owner of the land. Okay,
Because they
so
did
how
not
is
get
the
it.
state
Because they
not
did
the-
not get it through consensual transaction or homesteading.
Okay,
They
so
stole
how
it.
do you know that? So you just made this claim. You just made the claim.
Because
Stop,
they
stop,
forfunded through
stop,
taxation, and
stop,
taxation is
stop.
theft.
Pull back down. Stop. You just made the claim now. You just made a claim. The state stole the land. You just
I
made
have
the claim.
evidence.
Now. Okay, so what is your evidence that the state
Did they ask
stole the land?
permission from the people whom they from the people whom they took the money from in order to pay for the stuffs in which they bought?
Yes, taxation is not
No,
theft.
they didn't ask. They forced them to.
No, taxation is not theft.
They literally forced them to. What happens if you don't pay taxes?
It depends. Depends which timeline we're talking about. Are we talking
What do you think
modern
I'm gonna
times
do?
as an American citizen? As an
Through
American
all of
citizen, if you don't pay your taxes-
American history, if the government came up to you and said you need to pay our tax, and you said no, I'm not doing it, what's gonna happen?
Well, post 1918, of when there's income taxes, then yeah, you've got to pay.
They had taxes back then. They had taxes before then. So let's say I didn't want to pay that tax. Yes, they did. Let's say I didn't want to pay that tax. What's gonna happen to me?
Well, pre-World War I, the United States predominantly had its tax revenue through either
Doesn't matter.
tariffs
Doesn't
or
matter. They still
through sales
tax.
tax.
Doesn't matter. They still tax. Doesn't matter. They still tax. So
so-
you're avoiding the question because you know the answer is
No,
true.
actually-
You know my answer.
No,
You know what the
actually,
answer is, and it's
No,
going to
no, because
expose you for actually supporting a system that robs people.
No, wait. Stop. Stop
Okay, so then
interrupting me.
answer the question.
fundamentally,
Galloping, dude.
Yeah, so fundamentally, they're conflating
I know
two
he
different
is.
systems, right?
No, you.
You're conflating.
I'm not gish galloping. I asked him a very simple question. He's the one that's not answering it.
Yes, there were taxes.
So
yes.
fundamentally, a sale.
Okay, thank you.
So fundamentally, we agree that sales taxes are not like compulsory.
They are theft.
Like you're an active.
They are theft.
You're not. You're an active.
How are they
You're an
not?
active agent. In
What
the
if I don't want to pay the
transaction,
tax?
right? Well, you don't buy the item.
Who are you?
What if I don't want to? What if I want to buy the item but I don't want to pay the tax? Let's say I'm at a store and I pay for it. I bought it and I don't pay the tax. What do you think is going to happen to me? What do you think is going to happen to me?
You don't buy the. You don't buy the item.
But I did buy the item in the hypothetical, and I didn't pay the tax. So now
Well,
what
then if you
happens?
bought the item, then you pay the tax.
But I didn't pay the tax. I bought the item without paying the tax. Now what? What's gonna happen?
Well, then that's fundamentally impossible. You can't.
Yeah, no, I can't. I went to a guy. I went to a store and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna pay for this without the taxes." He said, "Sure, give me the money." He took the money. I took the item.
But that's
there
not
you go.
on you at that point. That's on the short.
Oh, so then
shop
what
owner
happens
at
to that guy?
point.
So what happens to that guy?
He then becomes liable for tax.
So what happens to that guy if he doesn't pay it?
He becomes. He gets
Now you're gish galloping. Now you're gish galloping.
He gets charged for. He gets charged for tax fraud.
Yeah, that's a violation. So he gets kidnapped against his will by the
Wait,
state.
what government agent? Wait, stop.
So your state is a group of kidnappers.
How is it against his will?
What government agent?
Did he consent to go to prison? Did he consent to go to prison?
Yes, he did.
What?
Dude.
If someone violates another person's rights, does that mean?
No status you have.
Whose rights did I violate by not paying the tax?
What government agent is forcing a shopkeeper to run his shop? Who is forcing the shopkeeper
if he
to run his
does
shop?
not pay the tax, even you admitted that the state will come in and kidnap him, correct?
But he doesn't have to open a shop.
That's his right. If he owns, does he own the land?
answer is yes.
Does he own the land?
Yes.
Exactly.
Does he
Thank
own the
you for
land? Yes or no?
establishing that if
Does he own the land? Yes or no? So now you guys are gish galloping. You were complaining about me gish galloping, and now you're gish galloping. It's a very simple. It's a very simple yes or no question. The question is very easy. Does the guy own the land? Yes or no?
I agree.
Does the guy own the land? Yes or no?
No, he does not.
He doesn't own the land?
Why does
Okay,
the
so then he
shopkeeper-
doesn't own the shopkeep. He's not a shopkeeper then. If he does own the land, then the state has no right to force him to offer that land. Very simple. If he is the
He's
owner,
not a shop owner.
is wait, you
That's like saying
said
you're not a swimmer if you don't own the pool. That's so stupid.
Whoa. If you don't own a shop and you're not a shopkeeper, then yeah, you're not a shopkeeper. Duh.
Do you know what rent is? Like you can rent places that exists. That doesn't mean
Okay,
you
so
own
then
it.
you're renting a
paying
shop and then
somebody
you're a
to use it.
shopkeeper. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that somebody
Yeah.
else owns it. And then that person, let's say the person who does who
has-
does own that, let's say the person who does own that says, I don't want to pay the tax. What's going to happen to them?
They get in
Wait,
prison.
what does that
for
have?
breaking the
No,
law.
okay, so then your
guys,
government's going to kidnap him.
dude,
Got you, no problem.
Right, he chooses to live in America.
Yeah,
Too
he
bad.
got kidnapped.
Like,
You
can
so you
leave
support
America
the
if you
government
don't wanna
kidnapping
follow
innocent
laws.
people. Got you, no problem.
Yeah, if you don't want to
Guys,
live in
you're missing
America,
the
you can
whole point
leave.
of it.
That's the beauty of
got
America
you.
is that you can
But-
just
but
go to a
if
different
I'm on my
country.
own land, if I'm not violating anyone's rights, what
not
gives
your
the state the
land.
right to steal my
So
land?
so that's
Or
so
force me
that's
off
who
my
the
land?
Amish. So that's who the Amish people are. The Amish people live on their own land and they don't pay any taxes to the government.
let's
because
say they
use
don't pay
any
ta- let's
government
say they
programs or any
refuse-
government services. They produce all of their own stuff.
Yeah, so let's
That's
say
what
the
Amish
government
people
came
are.
to the Amish. The government came to the Amish, said, "Hey, I'm going to charge you 10% for whatever you
But
make."
they won't.
They wouldn't have any right. They don't have any
Okay,
right.
so then
because
they
the
don't
Amish
have the
don't
right
pay
to do that
taxes.
because
They
they
don't
So
pay
the
don't
Amish
taxes.
don't
land.
pay any taxes.
Correct.
Yes, correct. They
But
don't pay any taxes.
let's say hypothetically the government came to the Amish and said, "Now we're going to tax you." Now what?
They
What's going to happen if
They
these?
can't.
I
They
think
say
the
no.
Amish pay taxes.
No,
I think
in the
Amish pay
hypothetical,
taxes.
in the
But you're
hypothetical,
giving-
in
oh
the
my God.
hypothetical,
Then the
in the
government-
hype,
then the
in the
government would be in the wrong.
in the
Then the government
hypothetical,
would be in the wrong.
in the
Guys,
Guys, you're
hypothetical,
fucking wild.
in the hypothetical,
you're both
the government
wrong.
is saying,
You're insane.
The Amish
in the
pay taxes,
hypothetical, the
guys.
government is saying
The Amish
that
pay
we are
taxes,
going to
yeah.
The
pay,
Amish
we are
pay
going to.
taxes, okay? But you're
Okay.
all
Some Indian
wrong. The
tribes
Amish pay
don't pay
taxes.
taxes. Some
And
Indian.
if the
Yes,
Amish
natives is a better example.
you know what? If the Indian guy takes his merchandise and goes into New York City and opens up a shop in New York City, it doesn't matter that he's Indian and he's tax exempt. He's paying fucking taxes for being a participant
Which is theft.
in the
Which is theft.
economy in New York. No, he's making the choice to
He's
go
being
open up a
forced.
shop in New York. He could open up a shop on his
The
own.
government doesn't own that land.
Like you're being forced, if you feel like you're being forced to pay taxes to a government you don't want to be a part of, then you can move to a different
What
country.
is
Yeah,
It's
and
the
if you don't
beauty
want to
of
be
America.
raped,
What is
don't go
being
down the
forced
street
is
with
the
a high
tax.
skirt.
You shouldn't
Got
have
you.
to.
Yeah, so yeah,
That
don't
woman,
do that.
So under your ideology, if a woman walks on the street with a high skirt and there's a high chance of her getting raped, then she deserves it because she could have left, right?
No.
What?
No,
I don't think that tracks at all. No.
Well,
She'd be
you're saying
protected by
you're
the
saying
government.
you're saying that I have the choice to leave, so therefore if I choose to stay, then whatever the government does to me is perfectly fine. All right, whatever.
but
So
taking
if a girl's
preventative
walking down
action
the
against
street in a
rape
very
is
skimpy
different
clothing
than living
and she gets
inside of a
raped,
government.
right? And she gets raped, under that logic you would have to say, hey, she could have just left, so therefore, hey, and she deserved it under your perspective.
But why, like, to go? You said earlier that you think like the most free and individualistic government is what we should be pursuing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why that is your highest good, because there are lots.
Yeah,
of
I don't think it's okay to
relationships
rape
in
or
which
murder or steal from people. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah, so
principled
the
on that
government
thing.
enforces that, by the way.
That's not even close to what I was talking about. But
Well, again, what we're the only thing that us libertarians are advocating for is a system of governance that does not
Libertarians.
a voluntary
More
a voluntary system of governance where you're not being forced against your will to pay into a system that you don't support. Whereas you guys are supporting a system in which where you guys are saying, yeah, I do believe you should be forced against your will to pay into a system that you don't want to.
That's what America is. That's what America is. You can leave.
No, yeah, and if a robber comes into your house and pulls a gun on you, you could just leave.
No, what are you talking about?
What?
You could just leave.
No, if a robber comes into your house and pulls out a gun, you have the right to shoot him. By the way, that's
and if
that's
if a criminal comes into my house, I have the right to stop them from coming and robbing me. Yeah, I agree. And the state is a criminal, and the state is a criminal organization. They forcefully extract my wealth through force. If I do not pay into the states, if I do not pay into the state, if I do not pay into the state system, the state will force me. The state will force me, and if I don't pay, they will throw me into a cage and lock away the key.
Because you pay money to live here. You pay money to live in the United States through taxes.
So you support a system in which people get kidnapped if they don't pay the mafia. If you don't pay the mafia,
you have to pay taxes to America.
don't pay the mafia. If you don't pay the mafia, you got to pay. If you get thrown out. Gotcha.
Mafia.
It is a mafia.
But okay, what about
if you don't pay in Kapistan, if you don't pay in Kapistan, you don't get to stay in Kapistan. Like I don't see what the fundamental
difference is. One's a private property owner.
There's a fee.
One is a private property owner. The other one is not. See the difference. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong? Hold on. Stop. Incarnation. Why is it wrong for me to go into your house and then take it from you?
What house?
It's not.
Who establishes
wrong
that it's my
if
house?
you
Listen,
own
no.
what-
In the
what house?
hypothetical, you're the owner of a house. What is wrong with me going in there and snatching it from you?
Wait, who knows that I'm an owner? Who knows that I'm the owner of the house?
In the hypothetical, you're the owner of the house.
That's
What is
how
wrong?
you know
What
the
is
house.
what is wrong? What is
That's
what
a-
is what
that's
is what is what is what is what is what is wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong with me coming into your house and snatching your house from you? What is wrong
Yeah,
with
you
that?
can get DJ with that shit, bro. What is?
Because you're not allowing me to finish my statement, and I'm not going to stop doing that until you allow me to finish my statement. So the question that I gave to you, Incarnation,
heard it
very
5
simply,
times.
very simply, very easily
heard
to
it
you
5 times.
is
You don't
if
have
I
to
came
repeat
into
it.
your house, there's a house, you own the house in the hypothetical, and I say, you need to get out of the house, I'm forcing you out of the house. Do you have a right to stop me? Yes or no? And why?
How do you know it's my? How do you know it's my
In the
house?
hypothetical, it is your house.
Just answer his hypothetical. Just answer his hypothetical. Yes, and it's because it's your property.
Okay, so
How
the
do you know?
only
Wait,
claim that I'm
how do
making,
you know it's my? No,
only
no, no,
claim,
I'm gonna go back.
the only
It does matter.
only
No, Jonah, it does matter.
the only
It does
claim
matter.
that
How
I'm
do you know
making is
it's my
that the
property?
owner of the property
No,
has the
Jonah.
right to exclude other people from using that property,
How do you
and
know
the state is
that
not
I
the just
own
owner of the land.
the property?
In the hypothetical, you are the owner.
Thank you. It's ComCom. Thank you. How do I know it's irrelevant? You've just established that your entire purview of
You are the
establishing
owner.
a state through just
In
mean is
the
irrelevant.
hypothetical,
Thank you,
you are the
ComCom.
owner.
You
In
are
the hypothetical,
right. It
you are
is
the owner.
irrelevant. You are right.
So you're
because it is
avoiding the
irrelevant, because the only
hypothetical
person
because
who
you
establishes
know
what a
that you
property
can't
is
actually
the
answer the
state.
hypothetical.
The only person who establishes what a property
That's
right
not
is
at all
the
what I
state.
said, and that's completely incorrect. That's
You are right. You are right, ComCom.
So whatever
Thanks for arguing against the person who's not giving you a hypothetical.
Unfortunately, yes, because the state in and of itself
doesn't make
acts as
any
a
sense, 'cause
collective.
that's completely
Stop for a
arbitrary,
second.
you
Stop for a
dumb
second. Stop for a second. Yeah,
No,
stop
I
for a
just
second.
demonstrated
because,
how your
stop for a
mindset is
second.
arbitrary.
Stop for a second. Here. Stop for a second. The reason why this is important is because property rights are nothing more than a social construct. They are an agreement between people that you own some part of the planet.
If
But
the government
without other
says that
people to
I own you,
agree-
does it make
stop
it
for a
okay?
second. Stop for a second. Without other people agreeing that you own that piece of the earth, it really
Yes, it
is irrelevant who the property is, who owns the property. All of that is irrelevant. So
It is relevant.
The entire thing that who is the owner of the property is established.
What
by
is,
the fact that there are
bitch?
property
What
rights.
is?
And the only way you have property
Whoever
rights
the
is
owner
in
of the
state.
property is very relevant, and and
Thanks.
you don't agree with that, and I can show you why you don't
You
agree
have
with
no
that.
way of establishing a metric. You have
You
no
don't
way of
agree with
establishing
this.
a metric of
You don't
who is
agree
the
with
owner.
this. You don't agree
Yes,
with
we
this.
absolutely
You have
do.
no way of
No.
establishing
You
a
don't
metric
listen,
who the owner is.
Incarnation. You don't agree with this. Because if you did agree with this, you're saying no. You're saying that it doesn't matter how you got the property. If you're the possessor, then you're the owner. If the state is in the possession of it, they're the owner.
That's not what I said at all.
That's not what you said?
That's not what I said.
Okay,
at
so
all.
then what did you say? Go
Not
ahead.
what I said at all.
But why don't you want to have a communal group, like a society where people care about each other and people elect people to take care
When
of
did I
you
say I
in a
didn't support that?
If it's voluntary, it's fine.
Yeah, we're not against
I don't
voluntary. Yeah, we just don't want
we
people
live
to
in a
force.
democracy. It is voluntary.
It's
You
not
can live
voluntary.
here and you
What
can
happens
live
if I
here
don't
and
pay
you can be
taxes?
fine.
What happens if I
It's
don't
not
pay
voluntary.
taxes?
It's not
They
voluntary.
they send men to your
It's
house with
voluntary. You
guns,
can go somewhere else
then
if
they
you don't
put
like
you in a
it.
cage.
If a government
and if you
came
don't-
to your house and said, "Get out of your house," are you gonna be like,
spit
"Hey"?
on you like a dog?
Yep.
You can't live wherever you want. No.
Let's say the government came up to you,
you
smacked
can't-
you in the butt,
okay.
called you a slut, and it's like, now you
Again.
got to get out of your house.
And pretty much any country
Yeah, but, like,
that
what if
you
the
would want to
government
move
was
to
hot?
is similar. Of course.
They're not
But the real
us.
question is, why are you putting individual freedom as the highest good? Do you
Because
do that
I
in
don't
other
think it's
areas
okay
of
to
life?
rob people. I don't think it's okay to harm people.
okay.
You know,
Do you believe in like marriage as an institution? Do you believe that
I think marriage
a
is
thing?
perfectly fine.
Okay, so wouldn't
Marriage
the
is
best
not an
marriage be a
institution.
marriage in which you can
No, it's not.
get out of it anytime you want to?
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't that
I'm
the
not
same
against
logic?
divorce.
Whoa, God is though.
So okay,
I'm
so
not. I'm not
you
Christian.
think-
Suffer.
Okay, right. So you think that the best relationship to have with a female is one that you can get out of it?
No, I
Right?
don't think people should be forced into a marriage. No.
Okay, so at
That's
any
not
time
what
you
he-
can get out of it. How about
Okay.
parenting? Would that work with parenting too? Should you be forced to be a parent, or should you be able to
Okay,
get out
I've
of it?
already answered this question, and I gave you a hypothetical earlier in which you said that I asked you, hey,
In an
if the
An
government
Ancap society,
if
the free
government-
market would set
stop
affordable
talking. Okay,
adoption.
all right, Eric. I'm respectfully. If you interrupt and again, I'm gonna have to kick you from the room. So
That's wild.
So if you want to talk,
I'm
I'll let
asking
you
if you
talk.
believe in
but-
any natural-
So earlier today, I asked you, hey, if the government lowered the age of consent to 10 years old, would that
No,
be
we're not talking about
legitimate?
sex.
You
We're not
said,
talking
yeah,
about
that would be perfectly legitimate. Whereas I said, no, that's never legitimate under any situation. So because
We're
you
not
want to bring up,
talking about sex.
no, I get it,
parenting more.
because you want to bring up children again, and every time that you bring up children again, I'm gonna just bring this point back up again because I'm tired of talking about children.
Nobody's talking about
Just
sex.
walk away from kids. Wouldn't
Huh?
that be the best form of parenting, in which a parent can just opt out of their responsibilities toward their kids?
Yeah, we're
Would
not
that be the
against
best-
evictionism. Yes.
I know what that means, but you're saying parents.
Yes,
should be
parents
able
can
to just
opt out of
walk away
being
from
the,
their responsibility.
yes, parents can opt out of being parents. Yes, I'm not against adoption.
Okay, and married people can opt out of being married.
Yes, I'm not against
Like, they're
divorce. I don't
committed.
think it's okay to force people into
At
a
any
marriage.
point.
No.
Okay,
Yes, I
so
don't think it's okay to force people into a
So
marriage.
that's
No.
perfect. So that's perfect. Okay, so here we see your philosophy. Is that like
Yes, I
human
don't
beings
think
should
it's
be able
okay to
do
force
whatever
people
they
against their
want?
will. Yes, I think
Whatever
people
they
should be
want.
allowed to do what they want so long as they're not forcing people
Not
against their
whatever they
will.
want.
Okay, so do you think that there are many people who would see that as like
I don't care what they
healthy?
think. I don't care what they
Okay,
think.
you don't care?
No. Why would I care?
So,
Okay,
so
do you think
hold
there
on a
would be
second, let me ask
anything
you a question.
wrong? Parents can just walk.
I think that's personally wrong, but again, I don't think people should be forced to be parents if they don't want to. If someone wants to give up their kid for an adoption, I think that's
That's
perfectly
not
legitimate.
what the. Oh my god.
Just walk away.
No one said
Okay,
anything
why-
about adoption.
Yeah, I think giving up your child is perfectly legitimate. I don't think there's
At
any
any
you should
time.
be forced.
At any time.
Yeah, so long. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So long as
Do you
what?
see there being any negative?
So long as you
No,
aren't
here's gonna
violating
say-
their rights
having
in
a
any way.
society in which parents can just walk away from their kids at any point they want to.
That's a society we live in right now. If you want to walk away from your kid, you can. It's legal.
Let's say you're on a raft.
No,
on a
that's not
whitewater-
true.
Well, you're on a
It is legal.
whitewater trip. Can the parents just
You
jump
could give
out
up your
of the
children
boat?
up to adoption.
Can the
Oh my
parents just
fucking
jump
God.
out of the whitewater boat with their kids in it?
No, because you would be violating the child's rights. Why are you
There you
asking me
go.
these questions over and over, dude? Like you didn't ask me these questions earlier today. I answered these questions for you earlier today.
But wouldn't
It's
it
the
be
ComCom.
better
You were here
if-
earlier today, right?
if the
He literally
highest-
asked me these same
I've been
questions.
here the whole time.
Yeah, so he asked me
If
this
the
question
highest
over,
good
right?
is
Earlier,
freedom,
right?
If the highest good is freedom, you said it is.
Something similar, maybe.
Yeah.
then
I've already
why
answered
wouldn't
this
it
question.
be-
I don't think it's okay to violate the rights of children, and I don't think it's okay to force
But what
people to
right
take care
do
of
they
people who they
have?
don't want to.
What right do they have to force you to stay in the
They are
boat?
the self-ownership. They have self-ownership.
What right do children have on their parents?
They don't have any rights over their parents.
Okay,
They're
so
children.
why can't the parents just decide in the middle of a trip, we're gonna bounce.
I already answered
They
this
have a
question.
responsibility
I've already
to take
answered
care
the
of those children.
question. I don't
Why?
think there's anything wrong with giving up your child. Giving up
Okay, in
your
the middle
child's
of a
responsibility.
whitewater
I don't
trip.
think there's anything legally illegal or any rights violation in giving up the responsibility of your child. I've answered this 5
Okay.
times. How many more
Okay,
times
so-
do you want to answer? Do you want me to answer this question before
So
you get
on
it?
a whitewater rafting trip, can you just bounce and leave the kids in the boat?
Not if the kids are your responsibility.
No, not necessarily.
But they
I don't
have
think
no
so.
rights.
Are they your
They have
responsibility?
no rights on you.
It depends
to
on
this
whether
guy,
it depends on whether or not. See, 90% of the time, what you would expect is if somebody wants to give up their child, they're not just going to leave them in a boat in the middle of nowhere.
Why not?
90% of the time, what you would
What about
expect.
the other 10?
Not okay. So you
what
want to hear
about
the
the
answer
other
to the question? You guys just keep fucking talking as I'm speaking. Like it's
You're not
really getting
answering the
annoying.
question.
Stop talking as I'm speaking. Next person who talks as I'm speaking is getting kicked out. So, the question that I'm to answer to your question, 90% of the time, you're not going to see something like that happening because when people give up their children, they're generally not on a life raft. Now, if somebody does just want to deliberately give up their child, they have to give they give up the right as soon as they make up this decision. They can't just go onto a raft and then leave them on a raft and then be like, okay, I'm done. That's not how it is. If you make the decision
So if
to
they
give
make
up your
the
right,
decision, yep.
if they make the decision before they go on the boat,
Wait, Sithis, can I ask you something?
yes.
What if they make it while they're on the boat?
Oh,
Well, then that's up to them. But 90% of the time, that's not going to happen.
Okay. All right. So this
It's
is your
up to them.
philosophy. The parents can opt out of a white rafting trip
There's no rights violation in,
in the
that
middle
situation.
of the trip, and no one's going to enforce.
Again,
that.
but 90% of the
You're a
time,
fucking
90
idiot. You're a fucking
again,
idiot.
90% of
You are
the
so fucking
again,
crazy.
90% of the
Beyond-
time, it's not going to
beyond
happen
belief.
because most people are not
So-
going to give up their children in the middle of a fucking raft. Yeah,
Nobody's
most
You guys
people.
spurging the fuck
Also,
out.
yeah, you are spurring
I think
the fuck
Ben's
out.
just inconsistent because he's
Yeah,
a
you're just
statist.
very
No,
inconsistent.
he
That's how it
just
is.
said-
So Ben, you
Really not
support
addressing
slavery?
it.
Wait,
No,
Ben, you
we're just
support
consistent
slavery?
with principles.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, we're just consistent.
Suffer.
You
No,
may not
I
like
think, you
it,
know what I
but
think is a bit ridiculous? Supporting
doesn't
slavery.
mean you're
Saying
right.
that it's okay to enslave somebody. I think that's pretty fucked.
Slavery's
Supporting
back, dude.
slavery.
Yeah. You just said you think it's okay to force somebody to take care of somebody against their will or work
Oh
for
yeah,
somebody
okay.
against
If you
their
want to
will.
interpret that as slavery, okay, great.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Taking
kind of
care of
fucked.
your kids
So
is
you support-
slavery?
So now we see
If you're
the logical
forced, yes.
this- You're fucking crazy, dude.
It is slavery. You're being
Just
forced.
crazy.
What is
Taking care of your
slavery?
kids
Wait,
is
what is slavery?
slavery.
If you're being forced, yes. What is slavery?
This is the problem with you guys. You think anyone is going to buy into this? Is crazy.
I don't
That's
care
not
what
really
you
no.
think.
Abandon
I
their
don't
what?
care what you think.
Then what are you doing here?
This is
Yeah, what
debate
are
and
you doing
Ancap. I'm
here?
debating people.
So what are you
what are you
debating
doing
for if
here?
you don't care what anyone thinks?
Because I like to debate
No.
about anarcho-capitalism. I enjoy
Why
it.
do you care
to what end?
of
For no
joining the
reason?
server?
It helps.
And then-
It helps
I said just
like,
because I don't care about
What?
your specific opinion doesn't mean I'm not allowed to debate people about Ancap.
I'm not saying what you're allowed
Neither,
to do. You're allowed to do
neither
whatever
is
you
he
wanna
running
do.
away.
You waste
I'm not
your
running. I
fucking
never said
life
he's
away
running
doing
away.
This stupid stuff.
No. I'm saying.
So hang on a
neither
second.
is-
Hang on a second.
He's not
Does
running.
anyone else
but
here
Synthesis-
think it's
Synthesis-
okay for parents to abandon their kids on a whitewater
Yeah, and you
raft
think it's okay to
because they
enslave
no
people.
longer want
You
to
support slavery.
consent to
No,
being
I get it. You
parents?
support
Does
slavery.
anyone think that? Does
And do
anyone
you
think
support?
that?
You know what's crazy? You support
Okay,
slavery.
Whatever, call it slavery. Call
Why
it
do you
slavery,
support
that's fine.
slavery,
No
dude?
problem. I
Why do you
totally
support slavery?
That type of slavery.
Why do you
Does
support
anyone else-
slavery, bro? Why do you
Does
support
anyone else
slavery?
agree with this guy? This is
I-
so crazy.
The Comcom
This is
agrees
not
with me.
even a
Dylan
political
agrees with
Well,
me.
wait, to be fair,
Who does? Who
to be
agrees
fair,
with
I
this?
don't think I entirely agree with you, Sithis. I think our
Back, I don't
like
know
like
what's being argued.
I view
All right,
like
the Dylan
when it
agrees
comes
with
to
me.
children.
Yeah, I don't know what point's being argued. Wait, what?
We're talking about evictionism and whether or not somebody
This
has the
guy
right to
is
abandon their
saying
children.
that you can abandon your children on a whitewater raft in the middle of the whitewater trip, which is the logical conclusion of
Was that
his-
your hypothetical that you presented to him?
Yeah.
And he said yes.
That's why he's mentioning it so much about the whitewater rafting. Okay.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, if there's no violation
That
of
is
their,
insane.
you could say it's insane all
Not
you want, but
philosophy,
you know what else is insane?
It
It's
is
supporting
insane.
slavery. That's what's insane.
Sure, if you want to call that slavery, fine.
Okay,
I'll call
got
it
you. You
slavery.
support slavery.
The
Got you.
slavery known
Wait.
as parenting.
Yeah, no, it's not
It's something
parenting. You're
that you
forcing somebody to
cannot
take care of
just
somebody against their will. Got you. You think that's slavery?
Absolutely
Sithis,
right. Absolutely.
It's because
fucking
you
right.
don't think the parents have an obligation necessarily in this situation, right?
They don't.
Is that what? Okay, that's your. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. your
Mhm.
position.
In the situation, Because
They don't have, the parents don't have an obligation.
Because again, I don't
If they're on a
believe in
raft with their
slavery.
kid-
Again, I don't
'Cause he
believe in
believes that
slavery.
freedom is the,
If they're
is the
on a
greatest thing.
raft-
He's being consistent. Give him credit.
I'm being perfectly consistent. You
This
can call me
parents
crazy
are on a
over and
raft.
over and over and over,
Maximally
but it doesn't matter. Fundamentally, I don't think it's okay to enslave people. I don't think it's okay to enslave people.
No
You can repeat the hypothetical until you're blue. And listen to me, you can repeat the hypothetical over and over and over and over, and I'm gonna give you the same answer. I do not think it's okay to enslave people. No.
Enslave people. Wait, what's the basis of the conversation? I'm confused though. So like enslaving parents by what? By them having a child? Or
No, they're forced. They're saying that they're saying that they believe that if a person has a child, that person should have that person should be forced to take care of that child. Whereas I'm saying no, that's slavery.
Okay, yeah, no, I completely agree with Sithis here. You guys are crazy.
Okay, so this led to a
you think that there any no, because if your basis of this conversation is to force it force into wait, I just understood. You guys have been talking about this. You made no headway, so you continuing is not going to help.
Yeah, just talk over me. That works. Yeah, no thanks.
That's
you were talking over us too. We were all doing it to each other. Okay.
Everyone's been
Just trying to clarify.
Your father.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Your father was literally been yelling at everyone. Tell me I'm the bad person for trying to talk
why don't you
here,
break his
out of
balls,
like
huh?
25 people. Yeah, she won't. Point is, it doesn't make any sense to then use this hypothetical. To then use this.
She consented.
Wait, you said you were gonna let Dylan talk, and now you're not letting him talk. You're being kind of rude now. Let him go.
It doesn't make any. So I don't understand why we're starting with this question about that we should force parents and then say that they have a natural obligation or responsibility to children. That's two different conversations, right? Whether you think that there is a responsibility or an obligation that a parent should have, that should be based on whether the parent consents to it. If a parent consents to having a child with another person, and then the child is then born, okay, then there would be some obligation or some natural responsibility.
Not according to
slavery. But if you then force
I don't want to sleep. I just
two
want
parents
to get high.
but if you force two parents
I'm gonna
to take the child to term, if you force two parents to take a child to term and be born, that is slavery by definition. So to then jump on this hypothetical to make it
We're
look
not talking about abortion here.
Yeah, King just disagreed with your first. Like, why?
Is that not? Is that not?
No,
what's
what I'm
being
saying is that
argued?
fundamentally, once the baby, if the
You're
mother does
forcing them
not,
to term.
if the mother does, I don't believe to forcing the baby to term. I'm an evictionist. If the mother wants to remove the baby or stop taking care of the baby or not want to be the parent of the baby anymore, at any point they have the right to do so. And 90%, and then 90% of the time, it's not going to happen in that way. And the reason why is because most of the time, people don't make decisions like that in the middle of a boat. So what you would see 99.99% of the time is them giving them up to say maybe an adoption agency or
So you're saying like at any point after their birth. So this has nothing to do with like abortion or forcing anything.
Well, I'm an evictionist.
No.
Okay, that's what I originally understood. I still agree with Synthesis to an
They're just
extent.
objectively
because
immoral.
Whether I think that there does exist an obligation as a parent to take care of a child, that doesn't necessarily then mean because that parent has the obligation, we should then force them to be to have to do this, right?
They don't have a legal obligation
then. What's an obligation?
Yeah, he's saying that they don't have a
saying that
legal
there's a
obligation.
natural obligation.
He's saying
Yeah,
he
no, there's not a
personally
legal
thinks they are obliged to take care of the kids, but legally he
I
would
think that
say there is no rights violation in saying, "Oh, I don't
Correct.
want to take care of this kid."
Because you have examples of that happening all the time, and especially if the parent is all that's going to be done is that a parent is then saying, giving them up to maybe another family member or this or that. I don't think you have examples of parents purposely putting their kids on a raft, throwing them on a river, and hoping that they on a waterfall.
And even if that was true, that only happens maybe 0.00001%.
Show me the majority of the cases, man.
It wouldn't be majority of the cases.
Women kill women just straight up kill
Yeah, I'd
their
rather
infants, right?
that happening maybe 0.0001% of the time than enslaving all mothers and forcing them to take care of all of their children. Yeah, I think that's immoral.
Like women can kill their infants.
I never
No,
said
he's
that.
not saying kill.
I
He's
never
saying
said
allow
that.
them-
No, but
I
why
never
not?
said
Why
that.
can't-
That's
why can't
completely
they
an
abandon them to
allegation.
certain
Yeah.
death, right?
Now you're being bad
They can
faith at
abandon
this
them
point.
to certain death.
No, I'm
They can
asking you,
abandon
why
them
not?
to certain
Because
death.
That's an aggression.
because babies
to
have
kill the baby
rights.
like that.
They're the
Oh,
self-owners.
what rights?
They're self-owners.
Yeah. So they. What do you mean?
If you're a self-owner, right?
Oh my god. Here we go.
You're a self-owner, right? I'm asking you a question.
I'm not a
I don't know what that
You're not a self-own. You don't own your own
You
body.
own yourself.
Hold
You
on,
own your own
Sithis,
body.
maybe just explain what
I don't think so.
self-ownership means.
Okay,
child
ownership
father.
is the self-ownership is the right to control and use your own body, right? So long as you ain't harming another person. Because a person is a
So like my body, my choice, right?
So because you're the owner of your body, right? I don't have the right
Wrong.
to do what I want to your body without your consent, fundamentally. But am I obligated to take care of you against my will? Well, no. It's the same thing with a child. Because they're a self-owner, you don't have the right to violate their rights. But are you obligated to take care of them against their will? Your will? No, because we're against slavery.
So like, abandoning an infant in like a dumpster is okay for it to like.
Did I say it was okay?
For it to die of natural causes, right?
Did I say it was okay?
You're not murdering it, right?
Did I say it was okay?
You're not murdering it, right?
Did I say it was
Answer the
okay?
question.
Yes, you did.
I say
Yes,
it was
you
okay? No,
did.
not
did not.
once in this
Yes, you
whole
did. You said
conversation.
you're
This
an-
whole this is how bad faith you guys are.
You're an
You guys
evacuationist.
are
You
not
said
able.
you're an
You guys are not
evacuationist.
able
You
to make
said
any
it's
arguments.
slavery.
Saying that there is
You're not
illegal-
able to
you're
make
saying-
any arguments against my argument. So
saying that there
therefore,
is
you
not
have to
illegal-
misconstrue it to
There's-
try to
You
make
said
me
slavery
think, to try to
say
make
you
me
can't.
seem like
That's
I'm
not the same as
happy
saying-
or
that's
I
not-
think it's good
Sentence-
to abandon
sentence
your
is not saying-
children. Wow,
He's not
you
saying
have
it's
no
okay.
choice
Said it's
because you don't
slavery.
have any good
Legal
arguments against my
responsibility
arguments. You have
within
no
An
choice
Ancap.
but to use bad
You
faith
need
arguments
to
against my
understand.
ideology.
You need to understand
you
that he is
done?
not saying it's okay. Wait. So Timothy,
no.
he's not
No,
saying
no.
that it's
I wanna
okay.
talk to him, actually.
He's saying that there is no legal.
God.
Well,
Okay, tell me when you're
good
done.
for you. I got you.
Yeah, tell me when you're done.
You good. So he's saying that there isn't a legal responsibility within ANCAP. That's what he's trying to explain. So then argue in bad faith and then claim that he is saying that he's okay with you just leaving a child to die. It's just bad faith, man. Because it doesn't.
No, it's
that-
slavery
against
to punish the woman for doing that, right?
You said what?
It's
Slavery? No. What I said is it's slavery to force somebody to take care of somebody against their will. Forcing somebody to take care of another person against their will is slavery. Because it's my room. Don't like it. Get the fuck out.
Okay, say again. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Parent doesn't want a parent. That's becomes slavery as soon as they say
You don't want to. If you don't want to take care of somebody, you're not
now
obligated to.
like,
Now, can we
you're not
move on? Because I feel like I'm literally repeating myself over and
So you're
over
walking
and
around
over
with your
and over.
baby. You don't feel like
Oh
taking
my
care of it
god!
anymore.
Oh my
Dump it
god,
in a
Grace!
dumpster.
You're asking me the
Leave it on the
same
street.
question. Grace, you're asking me the
If
same
you
question
paid attention,
over and
I didn't actually
over
pay
and
you
over.
I didn't actually ask you a question. I
Okay,
just
but you're
made a
asking me
statement, but I
you're
guess
asking me a question
you
that
get so
Dave asked
fucking
me.
triggered
I
every
am.
time I fucking open my mouth.
Yes, I am. Because you're asking me. Because you're asking me a question that these other people already asked me. You're making statements these other people already
women
made.
very much, but that doesn't mean you have to have
Yes,
a
I
women
hate
in your
women.
fucking talk.
Grace,
Ben, I will
don't. Grace, I go to you. Okay.
Ben. The genetics are definitely showing, and that's a good thing.
Well, if you had a relationship with you said I can do and
Grace,
you can
don't be mad at me. I goon to you.
Whatever we want, whenever we want to. Do you think any woman would want to?
Okay, that's horrible.
Dude,
What the actual fuck?
Yell at me more. It makes me
No,
Typical fucking Zoomer sub.
I'm not even a Zoomer. I'm 28 years old. You know that, right?
That's Zoomer.
Oh
Is that technically millennial?
I guess, yeah.
I don't
know.
Ben, we know you're joking that too.
You're the worst of all.
You're just mad.
You
because
can't even get
you're just mad because I
at,
want to
You
debate.
can't even get mad at these people. They love it.
But KingSithis,
I love it.
let's-
Funny.
It just gets me
let's
so
say
hard.
you
Give
were-
me more,
let's say you were-
mommy.
Yes,
Let's say you were
please.
dating Grace and you said,
Huh?
I can do whatever I want. I have no commitment.
Do I have permission
all
to date
towards
Grace?
you."
That's
Why are
fucking
you asking for
crazy.
permission? Don't you believe?
You're her father, aren't you? Aren't you her father? Like you gotta ask the father first. Like that's the rules, right?
Well, I mean, she's a
In the
grown woman,
ANCAP
probably.
world, you don't even have to like take a baby if you don't.
Oh
feel
no,
like.
okay. Oh, all right, no problem.
Whoa,
I'll just pick her up and not even ask you anything. No problem. Grace, I'm gonna hit you up later. I got you.
That's fine. Now,
I believe it
if
would be
you
a
pick
violation
her
of the
up-
non-aggression principle for you to hit me
But
up
if
in
you pick
DMs.
her up for a
Please don't.
date, and
No,
you
no, no,
decide
not
I
if
don't
you
want
like
to
it.
date her, you can just leave her at the restaurant.
No, I ain't with
You
it.
don't have to
I mean,
bring her
if she
back.
does, if she's annoying and I don't like her and I don't want to be around her anymore, then yeah, I'll leave her at the restaurant. And then you gotta go pick her up.
That's why you haven't had pussy in 28 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I go to you.
Shit.
Okay,
That's
bro.
why you get
But
off
you
on
really-
women yelling
No, but
at you.
you
Yes.
Because
really-
you have that
I'm
mentality.
gooning,
Gracie
I'm
Jones.
gooning to it right now. Oh
Yes,
my god. You probably licked that ice cream at you. Yes, yes.
God
So if you're
damn.
dating Grace and she had sex with another guy, you'd be fine with that.
No, I would not. I would be like, hell no, I'm
Yeah.
out of here. Grace, you
But
can't have
you
sex with
wouldn't
other
be
men. You
angry
can only
at
have
her,
sex
right?
with me. That's it.
Yeah, ho.
Don't call her a hoe. She's not a hoe. She's not a hoe,
That's
guys.
slavery.
You gotta
I'm
treat her. You
singing
gotta
music.
treat her with
I'm
respect,
singing
guys.
music, bro. I'm not
You're
talking
such
to
an
no
enslaver,
women.
King.
You better treat her with respect, bro. What are you? What are you, an
Wait, hold on.
incel?
Let me pause my music. Hold on. What'd you
But
say?
isn't that slavery?
You are
What are
an
you, an
incel.
What are you, an incel?
You are an incel. Don't hide it.
I was listening to
Don't be
music. What are you
ashamed.
talking about?
Don't be ashamed.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I get pussy every other
I
week.
don't know. All right, I'm gonna put
Yeah,
my music back
on
on. I
WoW,
don't know what the fuck
on
you're
World
talking
of
about.
Warcraft, you get
Oh,
pussy?
bro, I pay to win. You know what I'm saying?
You live with your parents.
No, I don't. I have my own
Yes, you
apartment.
do. I
Yeah.
heard you. You
No,
slipped.
sorry.
You
He
said
rents the
something about,
basement.
like,
Get it right.
Yeah, I rent the
You live with your
basement. It's
parents.
different.
I
I
know
pay
you live-
rent. It's different. It's different.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
because my
Yeah, it's
parents
$200,
just
so he
because
has
I
to pay for food.
Just because my parents own the basement doesn't mean I'm living with them. I'm
According
just
to
renting
this
from them.
so-called society.
Do you
Yeah, I
eat dinner
pay-
with your parents still?
No.
Because I bet you do.
No. They bring
Bull
the food
fucking
to me.
shit.
They bring the food
They
to
bring
me.
down a plate
Yeah,
occasionally.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You balling. That's why you're the king. Basement king.
I'm KingSithis, of course.
Basement
Yo,
king.
Grace, come over anytime. The basement's open. Don't be stressed
By
out.
any chance, do you happen to have Funko Pops on your wall or anything of the sort like that?
No, I actually don't have any decorations in my house.
Damn, talk about living in a fucking pad
Give
cell,
me
dude.
that pussy, little mama. I bet I kill it.
Okay.
Get rid of her.
Okay.
Yo, you guys ever heard of Milo? What his name is? What's the rapper?
Miles?
Yeah.
That
Yo,
fucking
that guy
phone
is
guy?
so funny, bro.
But King, what do you think about being like what you are, a libertarian in terms of females? Do you think that gets the pussies wet or no?
No, bro. No, I never get
It doesn't.
pussy. No.
But it in and of itself, you may get pussy.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the
In
side
and of
chat
itself.
for
Not
y'all so
even
y'all can listen to
libertarian
what I'm
women want to
listening
have
to.
sex with me.
But there are no libertarian women.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Why not? Why not?
I don't know. It's a weird coincidence. It's a weird
You
like.
think it's just a
Well, being
coincidence?
correct
It's just
is better than
it's just a
pussy.
weird
I mean, not
coincidence.
capital L libertarian, maybe lower
Don't you
case
Do you
think
L
know,
that
do you know
libertarian.
women-
do you know why women aren't libertarian or anarcho-capitalist? Or
No, I
whatever?
don't know. I think it might just be a
Because
weird coincidence. I don't
women
know.
depend on men like children depend on parents, and so therefore
Yep.
we rely on men feeling obligated.
You could still be a trad wife in
Protect
ANCAP. You could still be a
care of
trad
us.
wife in ANCAP.
to defend
True.
us.
You could still
And
be a
so
trad
this
wife.
libertarian stuff works for men in a certain way, although it really doesn't. But it doesn't work for women at all.
Okay, how would it?
Yeah.
How would it
women
not
don't
work
have to
for
rely-
women?
Women don't have to
They-
rely on men.
We're not okay
They
with
can't-
every person
Because
in
women
society.
would be
Like, they can
inherently
do
at a
whatever they
disadvantage
want.
physically in the society.
So
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
force people against their
They're
will to do
Already
what they want?
inherently physically at a
That's right.
disadvantage.
I
That's
want
why
women-
We know.
So
but it'd be
why do you
worse
want
with
to force
girls.
other women? So
first
you're
time
saying it's
government-
anti-women. Our beliefs are anti-women, but you're the one here talking about, oh, I want to force women to do what I want. Like, wait a minute.
pissed.
I didn't say women. I mean, I want to. Yes, I would like people to be held to standards as society is supposed to be, and then they go to jail if they don't.
Yeah.
are
And so
not
if I
held
have
to
sex with a
standards.
prostitute, you think I should be tossed in the pin?
No, because probably getting pussy for you is more of an imperative than not. So you have an
Oh,
exception,
fuck.
but yeah, the rest of
Wait,
them.
is that
yeah.
what this is
You know,
all
you could
about?
solve that problem for me, right?
Is that what this is all
Oh,
about? You
ew, bad.
pussy.
Ew,
Jesus fucking
disgusting.
Christ.
You just want to be able to pay for
Don't
pussy.
save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't
Can I be
save
honest?
her.
I feel
You
like
don't wanna
I
be
feel
Grace,
saved.
Grace,
Don't
Grace,
save
Grace,
her.
I feel like Grace and Synthesis are enjoying this
Grace,
more
just
than the actual
because
conversation
just because we
beforehand.
disagree doesn't mean that we can't be friends. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean we can't hang out on
Hey,
the
yo.
weekends. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You know,
How much do you pay?
Bruh.
How much is
I
it?
actually
Why
make a
would you
pretty
be
good amount of money.
embracing
So.
something?
You know what's
How
funny
much
is that
do
she
you
said she
pay?
couldn't afford you, so there's a price tag, but it's just it's a very large one.
Oh, listen, I make a lot of money, so it's okay.
How much do they
I'm
cost?
not gonna tell you.
How much do they cost?
No,
do
he
you
didn't
mean
ask
they?
how much you made. He's asking how much does it cost.
How much does it cost for a prostitute? I'm genuinely curious.
What?
Depends on the
Probably
prostitute.
right.
Yeah. How much do you?
Let's
usually
depend.
pay?
Oh,
I've heard
I
it's
was
expensive,
just
like,
kidding. I don't actually.
$3.99 if you're
I
looking
was
on
just-
Okay, so
OnlyFans.
you are an
That depends. How much? It's
well,
more
actually,
about
I
how
know a
much are you
couple
willing
women.
to spend.
Generally, so
I
there's some
mean,
women that would
probably
like they'll
depends.
charge by the time. So, for instance, they'll be like $15,
fucking guy.
15 minutes for $100, 30 minutes for $200, an hour for like $300, and then and then you pay her for her time.
And why don't you
Or
do
not-
that?
But
Not just time, but, like,
I'm not talking about I'm not speaking from personal experience or anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just,
Why
don't you
this is just
do
what my
that?
friend told me. This is what my
Why
friend
don't you
told
do
me.
that? Yeah, why don't you
Or
do
she
that?
can just say like a BJ for like a hit a crack, maybe.
Yeah, if she's a crack hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a perfect libertarian relationship? One that's just transactional?
I mean, if you're okay with
No
it, I don't care.
obligations?
If you're okay with it, I don't care. I'm not against
I
prostitution.
don't care. I'm asking you whether you would care.
No. Why would I care?
So sex for you is just a transaction. There's no.
Not all the no.
You
not
don't
necessarily.
aspire to having.
Not for me.
But you
Not for
don't
me.
aspire to having. I'm just saying it's okay.
I mean,
You
it
said,
can
like,
be.
I get your parenting thing, but how about relationships, right? So
Oh
you're
my
saying
God.
I want to have a relationship in which there's no obligations, right? It's purely transactional.
No,
Purely
I don't.
consensual.
No. Just because I'm saying you shouldn't be legally forced to marry a woman or take care of your kids doesn't mean that I don't think that people should have like guidelines in their relationships, right? Like if you think like
What would be a
like,
guideline?
Let's say me and Grace are we start dating, right?
Mhm.
And she tells me, "Hey, Sithis, I don't want you cheating on me. Don't go kissing on some other some other guys." I'm gonna,
Other
that's
guys?
perfectly legitimate. That's
Whoa,
perfectly legitimate. That is a perfectly legitimate.
Hold on
Pause.
1 second.
That's perfectly legitimate
problem is
for
you
her
kissing
to
other
set that
guys?
standard. And if she wants to
Nah,
set that
it's this.
standard, if
It's
she
this.
wants
We're
to
gonna
set
have to
that
take-
standard, that's perfectly legitimate. She says, "Hey, I don't want to be with you anymore if you kiss another man." Then that's perfectly legitimate. And
Then you walk out on her. Yeah, that's a no
and she
deal.
walked out of. But
but
because
what if
but
you
because I'm a
agreed
man
to
of
that?
culture.
Rewind to where he
But
says to kiss another man.
But because I'm
Yeah,
a
we
man of
can't be-
culture. But because I'm a man of culture, I would never cheat on Grace because me and her have something special.
But
No.
wait,
Wait, Ben.
When
Ben,
you
I
agreed
wanna-
to that
Bring it
standard,
on.
would
Yeah,
that only
What's
be
your-
for that
Grace is
moment,
astonished. She
or
doesn't
would
even know
it
what to
always
say.
go?
Really unrealistic,
She doesn't even know
hypothetical.
what to
Wait, Grace,
leave
you're
or not.
single, right?
She's tingling the fingers, man.
I have a boyfriend.
No.
Sucker!
No, she doesn't.
Get fucked.
You're lying. You're
Get
lying.
ass
You're
fucked,
lying.
bitch.
I have a boyfriend.
You're lying.
Bro,
You're
No,
lying.
you
okay,
don't.
sit this.
You're lying.
Don't sit this. Don't worry.
That doesn't matter to me. That doesn't mean that doesn't stop most of it.
That hasn't
Yes.
stopped me. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
That hasn't
That's not gonna
stopped
stop
many
me,
men.
guys. That's not gonna stop me.
Wait,
guys.
Dad. The point you're making, you're not. It's not really working against his point because you're saying, okay, if you have a relationship and you have standards in it, doesn't that mean you're not all about individualism and freedom? But he's saying, well, if you consensually enter into that relationship with those standards,
Yeah, but can't you
still
revoke
go
your
with
consent
it.
at any point?
Yeah, but you could
Can't
leave the
revoke
rela-
your
yeah.
consent at any point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's just
what
a
you can do in
relationship.
All about-
That's,
Okay,
and that's
but
how all
okay,
relationships
but
work.
Then how do you
wait a
have
minute.
standards?
Wait. What if my
the
standard?
country
And what if we
works.
get married and I say my standard for our marriage is that you cannot get out of this? Then what?
No. 'cause
Well,
then
then,
that wouldn't
well,
be-
then if I
that
get
would
out of
be
it, then the
violation.
relationship's over.
Are you in a relationship?
I mean, wait. But what are you gonna do, Grace? Wait, Grace, what are you gonna do? You're gonna lock me in the. You're gonna lock me in the basement and tell me I can't leave?
All right, King.
I'm just asking.
So, what about
before
like?
all that? Would you agree
what's this-
to that?
Probably
If I
not.
said-
No. I mean, and even if I did agree, I mean, what are you gonna do if I try to leave? You're gonna lock me in the closet?
But what I'm saying is,
Well,
even
it
if you
wouldn't
go before,
matter.
don't worry about me. I'm saying,
But
if you say You don't want him kissing on other guys, which is his phrasing of it. Don't understand that, but let's say you say that too.
I mean, I would assume she doesn't want me to kiss other men in our relationship. I would assume that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that.
What if part of the agreement was she gets to lock you in the closet if you disagree?
Yeah.
Well, then I agree. Then I agree.
Okay, well that's the relationship you have with the country, you motherfucker.
No, it's not because I don't agree.
Yes, it is.
No,
Yes,
it's not.
you do.
I don't agree.
You did.
I don't agree.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Check your
Right,
wallet.
King. What is your ethical framework?
You have a legal name. Do you
Maybe
know
I can ask
Incorrect.
you.
I disagree.
You know
I'm
what
an ANCAP.
You know what
We're
a legal
ANCAPs.
person. You know
No,
what a
that's
legal
not an ethical
person is.
framework.
We believe in the non-aggression principle.
Framework.
We believe in the non-aggression principle.
The standard is.
Do you know that you have one?
Okay, so what about
She
a
says to you the
16-year-old?
standard is that
Hold
we're
on.
exclusive.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
I agree.
King,
We're
a
exclusive.
16-year-old consents
have
to
any
be in a
obligation?
relationship.
Oh my
with
God,
a
I've
40-year-old
answered these
man.
questions already with the children. Why do you guys keep going
child
back to
cannot
children?
consent to that.
Children
What do you mean a
cannot
child?
consent.
What
Children cannot consent.
What
Children
age
cannot
cannot
consent.
We're talking about children. We're
What
When
talking
they
age
about
become an
cannot
adult.
consent?
When they become an
What is
adult.
an adult?
When they
is an
become an
adult?
adult.
We're talking about
What
two
is a
adults.
adult?
Okay, we're not
What
talking about children. We're talking about
Okay,
adults.
King, what's an adult?
So if
What
she
is
says,
All right,
an adult?
I've already.
this to
How
be
about this?
exclusive.
Listen, bro. When we debate, we could talk about it. But right now, I've explained this like
Yeah.
5 times, 6, 7, 8,
Well,
9
I
times.
send
I
you a
don't
DM.
feel like
I send you a DM.
it's fine.
It goes on silent.
No, it's fine.
You
I
haven't
got
explained
no.
this.
I'm in the middle of a debate right now. I'm not going to be able to get back at you right now.
Okay, it's been like 2 weeks, and I send you another DM. Maybe
I
within
will.
the
I
week.
promise you. I will DM you. I promise. I will not lie. to
Okay,
you.
cool.
I got you.
Well, okay, sure, but you
Do you
said
want to join my
won't
Discord
answer-
server? How about this? You could join my Discord server, and if I don't
Yes.
mention you back, you could complain in my Discord server. Okay, how about that?
Yeah, but do you agree with any reductio I
Who are you
ask
talking
you?
to?
The only argument that I'm making, right, is that children cannot consent, so therefore you can't have sex
There's
with a
nothing to do with
16
children.
child.
There's nothing to do
No,
with
okay,
children.
that's
You're not-
fine. But
I think you,
but
Ben, you're the
again,
other person.
you
saying it, by the way.
refuse to debate me, asking you certain reductios.
Oh,
Is that not true?
There's someone else talking. We don't.
Well, because
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
feel
you
like
kinda
going
know
into a
that.
debate about raping children because I feel like it's a bit
Oh, okay.
annoying.
Okay, but next time you'll answer the reductio, correct?
I will answer whatever reductio you want. I don't care. I
Okay,
just
cool,
don't want to talk
cool.
about the
He's
children
talking
thing
to someone on
again
his
because I
stream.
kind of already did it like 5 times in this
No,
conversation.
he's talking to this guy Atix.
Yeah. So me and him have a disagreement on abortion, but we have a other
Well,
disagreement.
I'm an
on
evictionist.
a lot. Yeah, I know. I understand that.
Mhm.
But we'll schedule a debate and
he hear
we can
Atix?
do our
I
live
got you. I
debate.
promise you. I will set
You
up a
gotta-
debate with you.
Very cool.
Turn Atix's volume up, Dad. I don't know. His volume is turned down for you.
Why does he have it?
Wait.
No, it isn't. Oh, mute.
Yeah, unmute.
So did someone
So
mute
Grace,
me?
so if me and you were in a relationship, right? You're saying that, and I enter it, and you say, "Hey, I want you. If you try to leave me, I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna force you not to stay. I mean, to stay." So you're saying like, if I try to leave me, what are you gonna do? You're gonna toss me into a closet or something, or?
No, my question is if I say the conditions of our marriage are that you cannot get out of this, and you say yes, do you have an obligation to meet that standard?
Not necessarily, no, because you can opt out of that.
But the standard is that you can't opt out.
I don't think you could really set a standard like that because you don't. That person doesn't
I
own
just
you.
I just set the standard. I said,
Yeah, but it wouldn't
if
be.
you wanna do this,
That's not a
if
legitimate contract.
Yeah,
I
it wouldn't
said,
be legitimate.
If you want to do this, no, but the hypothetical is that you
Wait,
agree. I
what-
said, if you
what-
want to get married to me, this is for life. You can't get out of it. You say
Yeah, but
yes.
if at the
You have an
at any
obligation
point,
to
if
stand
any
by that.
point he wants to leave you, you would not have the right to force him to stay there.
I'm
But
not
why
saying
not?
right. I'm
Wait,
saying
wait,
obligation.
what is it? Hold
you
on.
have an obligation to meet that standard.
If that
we
person
set initially.
agrees,
Morally or
if that
legally?
person agrees,
Contractually.
I mean, not contractually,
Rex?
no.
So you don't believe in contracts?
Well, I believe in contracts, but when it comes to your body, when it comes to whether or not you can opt out, I believe you have the right to opt out of a contract when it
but
comes to your
why?
body.
Why do you believe in that? Why do you believe in
Because
that?
you're the owner of your body.
Okay, so where's that source from? Like, what is
And your
what-
body signed the
what is that-
contract, right?
What is the source
Yeah, but
from? Like you just all you're doing is
Man
getting
economy,
like,
man economy at state. We have plenty of books. There's a course by Liquid Zulu that's also really good that goes over this.
I know there. I'm sure there's a lot of books, but what is
Liquid
is it
Zulu.
objective or absolute?
This is my
Quality
subjective
of-
opinion. There are libertarians that do believe in objective morality, but
I don't care.
I'm not
it's your
I'm not
subjective
smart
opinion.
enough to. I'm not smart enough
It's
to
just
understand all
subjective.
that, so I generally
Liquid
just say
Zulu
I have
another
support.
incel?
Okay, cool. It's
No,
just
he's
subjective,
based.
right?
He's a based Ancap.
He's a based Ancap.
Hey, KingSithis, do you own your body?
That's a preference,
Yes.
what you like.
He's a virgin.
Right.
Do you own your body? Do you own your body?
Yes.
Can I sell myself to slavery?
No.
It's a preference.
I knew this was going to come up. I knew it.
Because
I guess I
ownership
don't own
isn't
my
the
body,
right isn't the right to sell. It is the right to exclude. And you can't in order for you to sell something, you have to transfer the title of that thing and relinquish control of that thing and give it to another person.
So you're putting.
You cannot. It is
So you're putting limitations
it is impossible for you to relinquish control of your body and give it to another person. Not
But
saying
you said
that
you play
Ryan,
Russian
I'm
roulette.
not saying that you
Why
don't have
are
the
you-
right.
Russian roulette.
I'm not saying that you don't have the right to. What I'm saying is that it's impossible to do so.
Then
Why are you limiting? Why are you
I'm
limiting?
not limiting anything. I'm
I'll-
not saying you
I'll-
don't have the
I'll
right to
buy
do
my
so.
body.
I'm
I'll
not
buy
limiting
my
you.
body.
I'm not
I
limiting
want
you
to
because
sell
I'm
myself.
not saying
Hold on,
you don't have the
incarnation.
right to do
Tell me
so.
what I can.
All
you're
I'm
in
saying is
slavery.
that it's impossible to do so. If I say that it's
Why?
impossible to fly, wait, incarnation. If I tell you it's impossible to fly, am I saying I'm limiting you? Am I limiting you?
Well, it isn't impossible to fly. Humans can fly.
Oh, so fly right now. Use your mind like Superman.
Okay,
Fly like
I'll
Superman.
get on a plane.
Fly,
Okay, I'll get on a
okay,
plane.
fly
Oh,
like
it's not-
Superman. Is if I tell you it's impossible for a human to fly like Superman, am I limiting you?
Oh, well, then yeah, you're right.
I'll show you how.
Am I
You're right.
limiting you?
Hey, oh,
Am I limiting you?
Am I limiting you? Are you limiting me?
Yes.
I was going in the.
But that, what does that have to do with me selling
If
my body?
I tell
to
you
a-
that
a-
it's impossible
between
for
two
you to
private
fly
parties?
like Superman, am I limiting you? Yes or no?
No, you're not. No,
Okay.
you're not.
So if
That's
I
not
tell you
something
that it's impossible to sell your body, I'm not limiting you, right?
Well, yeah, you are, because how can I not sell my body?
Hold on, wait.
Like, if
Incarnation. I think I can
If
answer
I
this.
well, wait, if I own my body and I can sell, like I own property, like I can sell anything that I have, I can buy and sell anything. Why can't I buy and sell my body?
If I tell you it's impossible to fly as a human being like Superman,
I don't
am
see
I
what that
limiting
has
you?
to do with the transaction.
Am I limiting you?
Right? Why?
Am
what's
I
the
limiting you?
fundamentals of-
Am I limiting you?
Prostitution is impossible.
Am I limiting you?
Incarnation.
What is
Are you talking about selling yourself into slavery, right?
All we're saying is that it's impossible to sell yourself into
fly.
slavery, right? And you're
Why?
saying, oh, well then you're limiting that person. What I'm saying is no, I'm
Yeah,
not
you
limiting them from selling themselves. What I'm saying is that it's impossible to sell yourself. The
Is
reason
it
why?
possible to sell your labor?
Why is it
possible
why
to
is it
sell
im-
your
wait, wait.
labor?
Why would it be
Your labor isn't a
impossible?
physical object.
Stop.
Is it
Fundamentally,
possible
What you're
to
doing,
sell,
why is it im-
what
why
you're
is it
doing is you're doing a
impossible-
service
stop,
for
stop,
another
stop,
person,
stop.
and that's what a
Dude,
job
dude.
is.
Why
You're selling
can't
your
I?
time.
Why can't
Your
I?
time
Okay, let's
isn't.
put it
You're
this
not
way.
selling
Stop for a
time.
second.
You're selling
Why-
your service.
No, you're not.
If I were to
Most
approach-
jobs
if
are
I were to
selling
approach-
40
Working is a
hours a week.
service. A
Oh,
work
wait,
is a
let's-
service.
If I were to, slavery is a service.
But it's
Based.
inconsensual.
Forced-
But it's
forced
unconsensual.
labor, though. Yeah.
I'm
Slavery
glad
is
you.
a
I
service.
think it's kind of
Okay,
funny
what-
that you would say that slavery is a service, as in like you
So
know.
if I wanted
Wow.
to, so hold on, I have a question about this now. I have a question. So if I wanted to create I wanted to create a service, right? That was like mass commercialization of this, right?
Wow.
Service. How would I go about doing that in the ANCAP society?
You buy it from another consenting individual, or you homestead the property, and then you sell
Okay,
it.
what do you? But King, could I ask you, what do you define as consent?
But I want to do it on a massive
When you
level,
make
right?
your will known to another person,
Suffer.
and then somebody defies that will
When
when it
does
comes to
that
your
happen?
property.
What age and neurological development
I've
does
answered
that
this.
happen?
I've answered this question, so I'm not going to answer it
Okay,
again.
I'm sorry. I must have missed it. You can answer it again. What
I've
age?
answered this question already. So
Okay, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. What
people,
age?
different age individuals, age at different ages. So I can't give you a precise age. All I can tell you is that when
Maybe
they become,
9, 10,
when
11,
they-
12,
it's not
13,
that.
14?
It's generally not that. It's generally around 18 to 21. And when they become
Completely
adults,
false.
that's when they have the
That's
right to do what they want.
Send me the studies of that. That's completely false. That's completely. Wait,
I mean-
18 to 21 is when generally we have a neurological button that goes off in our
Is somebody
neurological
talking when I'm not hearing?
development that gives proper consent. 18 to 21.
Yeah, that's generally when people turn into adults. yes.
Send me the study of the neurological development on that, please.
I mean, you can go and look it up yourself.
Is the argument?
No,
wait,
you.
is the
If you're
argument-
making
the
that claim,
argument-
you have to provide the evidence. I don't. You made the claim. So listen.
Well, because most of the time when you look at people who are 18 to 21, they are able to express their will, whereas generally
Most
people
of
who
the
are under
time-
that age, they're generally not
Okay.
able to. So wait, let
Maybe
me ask you a
it-
question. Let's say I showed you a study that said that 13-year-olds enter adulthood. Would that then make it okay for you to rape them? Is that what you're saying?
Wait.
Oh, Lord,
Rape.
I
Hold on.
can't take.
Wait.
I can't take
You
the
said
child
hold on.
raping anymore.
Hold on. Let me answer that. You said a 13-year-old consents. They can consent or
Thanks
not.
for having us, guys.
I'm saying we can't consent.
If they cannot
damn.
consent.
Yeah, now
Hold
you
on.
scared off the two people that actually were fun to hang out with.
All right,
now,
cool. So
okay.
a 13-year-old cannot consent.
Yes, children cannot consent. Yes.
What age is children? Again, you keep saying that.
What
What age
age?
is that?
What age do children hit puberty?
I don't know.
All right, so I don't know neither.
Wait,
there you go.
Wait, puberty is consent?
What?
Puberty is consent?
No, I'm saying it happens within a range, right?
Okay, what range? 9, 13?
Generally 18 to 21.
You have no evidence proving that. You just
I
said,
mean,
hold on.
you could say that all you
18
want,
to
but
21?
most scientists would disagree with you, as far as I can tell. Generally, people turn
Then
18.
send a source. Everyone, 18 to 21 is proper age of consent. Then what is
yeah.
the qualifier? What is the qualifier? So when we do our debate, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I got a few other good ones for you. What are the qualifiers for consent? All you're saying is 18
Whether or
to
not they're
21
able to express their will in a coherent way, and children can't do that, so therefore they don't have
in
the
a
right.
in a coherent way, and the coherency happens.
See,
from
the children
18 to
cannot
21.
make their own decisions because they don't have the full understanding and of the ramifications of those actions. So therefore, they're treated
And
different than adults.
Okay, cool. So that age from coherent understanding ramifications from 18 to 21. That's your
Generally,
argument?
yeah. Generally, yes. That's generally what it
Okay.
is.
Okay, cool. Send me the study. But when we have our debate,
Yeah, I don't
again,
believe in
I'm gonna run
empiricism.
these-
What?
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Okay,
this is kind of
cool,
an
hold on.
empirical question, though, to be fair, right?
Me?
Okay,
Trying to
so-
understand, like, when brains are developed when people become adults.
True. Adulthood, I think, is more. There's more neurological studies at 25 years old. The brain's fully developed. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I would raise it to 25 then.
No, you can't change it now. I have it recorded. You said 18 to 21.
Yeah,
right?
generally, it's 18 to 21.
Okay, cool. Maybe you can send a study.
Oh shit.
Maybe you can send a study on that. 18, maybe not 17. Generally, 18 to 21. But maybe not 17 because you have to give a differential mark
Oh, that shit
on
pretty
the
deep.
neurological study. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit
Pause.
here and throw studies back and forth with you
I
about
know,
whether
I know you
I'm-
won't. I know.
yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So, I've given you my opinion. You can take it or leave it. If you don't agree with me, then that's fine. If you think people need to be older in order to vote or be an adult, that's your opinion. But for me, I generally think that people turn into an adult 18 to 21. Now, I mean,
You'll
sitting
learn
around.
very quickly. This
if
isn't
I show you a
debate
study,
An Ancap, it's ask an Ancap.
yeah.
Yeah, you can think that. You can think generally, like that's fine. You can think that. But if you're gonna make an arbitrary
I'm not making an arbitrary claim.
okay, then 18 to 21, but again, we can go on this topic when we have our fun discussion.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you again. I'm not gonna sit here and throw studies back and forth with you about well, this age is that age, this age. All I'm gonna tell you is my opinion, and you can either take it or leave it.
Opinion based off what? Evidence, right? Like you said, opinion based off 18 to 21.
Yeah, generally.
Or could I just say 8 to 16 years old? I mean, could I say that too?
That's your opinion, yeah. That's what
Hey,
you
yo.
believe. But I would disagree with you.
Okay.
Hey, yo,
you can
what
disagree.
happened?
Yeah, what's
This
the
guy thinks it's okay to have sex with
8
children.
to 16.
Well, you
are an
all you're
extremist.
doing
Holy
is using the
shit.
same logic. You're using the same logic.
I'm not using the same logic. I've made it very clear at which I think the
Who wants
the
to
age
have
of
sex
consent
with
is.
16-year-olds?
This guy
No,
apparently.
he said 18 to 21. What evidence does he have? He doesn't know. But if someone said 16 to 19 or 14 to 18, it's the same logic. Arbitrary, subjective consent. That's his
He
whole
referenced science. He didn't make it arbitrary.
What is it?
You weren't
No,
tracking.
he just said he didn't believe in
referenced science.
empiricism.
He
You
didn't say
can't
it was
say that.
arbitrary.
No, CMFP. He just said he doesn't believe in empiricism. You can't say that.
Oh. Well,
So
then
he
I
has
reject
no
that.
grounds.
He
Yeah.
said it was just his opinion.
It's his opinion based off.
I thought you
is
mentioned
it
science earlier.
sufficient
My
evidence.
bad.
Well, if he doesn't believe in empiricism, that means that it doesn't matter. It's just his
Yeah,
opinion.
true. No, that is true. It's just an opinion. Doesn't matter.
I didn't hear that part.
I did
That's
want
why
to
I
ask
said
you,
it's not debate an ANCAP, it's ask an ANCAP. That's why I said it's not like this guy's not even trying to debate. He's just trying to fucking tell people what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to be here, you can you're more than welcome to go. I mean, I'm not making you stay here.
I think this is why it's fun to discuss this topic, these topics with you, because it's very subjective and arbitrary, and you can just say an adult is 14
Well, yes,
to 18.
I believe in subjective morality again.
Yeah, adult is 10 to
Yeah,
16.
but subjective is not arbitrary either. But if you say you don't believe in empiricism, then I mean,
No, I'm in the sense that I don't think that correlation necessarily equals causation. In the sense that I don't think that like adulthood is. I don't think a scientific study can just tell you automatically like when the general age of every single person turns into adulthood.
No,
what I would say is
you're 28.
What I would say.
Voice crack.
What I would say.
You're still
who said
going
that?
through puberty.
All right.
You're still going.
All right, I muted Lucas,
What?
and I'm gonna kick him out the room. Quick.
Okay, yeah, this guy's just a dumbass.
Lucas, what is it? Oh,
All right, you guys, I'll be back.
Lucas Timothy, got you. No problem. Oh,
I
he
will
left
not
on
be
his
back.
own. No
Later,
problem.
y'all.
yeah, he left.
All right, anyone else?
I mean, aren't you the evictionist, Sithis?
Yeah.
So can you tell him?
Tell me what?
Didn't he just ask? Didn't he? Wait, didn't this guy just ask what it is? Or something?
Lucas, I muted him.
Oh, wait, was it Lucas? Wait, who asked that? I didn't see. Wait, can you unmute him? He just wants to know, I guess.
What is an evictionist?
Evictionist is a person who believes that you have the right to own your own body, and that you have the right to exclude other people from your body, and that would mean a child in the womb. No.
It's false.
So you can evict a fetus.
You just made that up.
Well,
I didn't
no,
make that up.
evictionism.
That is evictionism.
Evictionism is like the stance on abortion that you don't have the right to kill the fetus, but that let's say the mother, that the fetus is inside, they have the right to exclude the fetus from using its body, and therefore the mother has the right to say have the fetus removed surgically and placed in like an artificial womb. So like you're like minimizing harm to the fetus while still removing it. So you're respecting the rights of both, according to the evictionist, of the mother and the fetus, right?
Yeah.
And you apply that to like infants, not just fetuses, or like children.
Way
in general-
too many
children
snakes
in general,
around me.
I guess. So you can like evict your 1-month-old baby from the house.
Yes.
And like that doesn't constitute murder.
No.
Well, the baby's gonna die, right?
Yeah, but it's not your fault. That's like saying like if I evict somebody from my house and then they die from starvation, that's not my problem.
Well, what if they don't?
I don't
have
really
the
know that is
ability to feed
evictionism, though.
themselves?
I mean,
It's not.
that's quite literally an eviction.
Well, but like eviction specifically, like a moral theory regarding abortion, though. So like I don't know.
Yeah,
if it
but the
really
whole
applies
idea is
there.
that you're the owner of your body, the same way like a renter is the owner of the land, and if somebody's on your land, you have the right to evict them. It's the same thing with like property.
Yeah, but like when you look at I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now for evictionism, and it says it's a theory based on property rights, and it's about no being, according to Rothbard, no being has a right to live unbidden as a parasite within or upon some person's body, and that therefore, and then outside the quote, and that therefore the woman is entitled to eject the baby from her body at any time.
Mm-hmm.
How does that like? I don't know that necessarily extends to, like evicting a baby from your house. Like, does it?
I
guess
it could.
I guess
because if you don't want
maybe,
to have the kid anymore, you can give it up for adoption.
I guess, yeah, because like in both situations maybe like whether you have a fetus in the womb or a baby in a house, like they're both you could argue in both cases that they're a trespasser if the property owner, say the mother who owns her body or the owner of the property that the infant's on, if the property owner doesn't want the baby or whatever on the property any longer, that they're technically a trespasser, or that they are a trespasser. So I guess you're right.
And like adopting, like putting it up for adoption isn't an eviction, right?
I mean, technically, yeah, it would be.
I mean, okay, technically, yeah, but it's like an extra step.
Yeah, dude. But that would just be giving up the child for adoption, which I think is perfectly legitimate. If somebody else wants to,
yeah, that's fine.
I think if somebody else wants to come in and say, "Hey, I want to take care of the kid that you're boarding or whatever," they have that right.
I think they have the obligation to, if they are going to evict it, to adopt it though, because like surely it will
put it up for adoption. You mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it would be up for adoption as soon as they evict it. Like it would be like it's up for grabs as soon so how we so like the role of guardianship can be homesteaded by any person as soon as it's like given up. Does that make sense? Like same thing with like if I abandon my house, someone else can homestead it.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I do think it would be like at least morally obligated, like the parent / mother would be morally obligated to at least give it to someone else, like not just like lay it on the porch and let it die.
Yeah.
Like do you think like babies are like worthy of moral consideration?
Like okay, so there's like that's like a personal question. I would say yes. But do I think it's a rights violation to abandon or the role of motherhood? No, because you aren't obligated to take care of that person.
Why aren't you obligated to?
Because you're the owner of your body.
Okay, but then do you not think, like, I think given what you've been saying, you believe this, so you don't think that, like, say in the case of a mother has this baby that she gave birth to, and they're in the house together, and she's like, I don't really want the baby anymore, I don't consent to taking care of it, so then she, like, just puts it out on the porch or the sidewalk or something. You think then, like, in that case, there's no obligation upon her to be like, I should go out and, like, put it up for adoption at some agency, or I should go ask someone to take care of it.
No, because
that's where intuitively, like, I like disagree.
Because fundamentally, I mean, like, yeah, you could say that, but stuff like that is very rarely going to happen.
Well, like,
the reason why
well,
is
you
because
saying
you
that,
could
but, like,
still.
we need to address the edge cases.
I understand.
Too,
I am. It wouldn't be. I actually did because I said it wouldn't be a rights violation, and I'm just saying that isn't barely going to happen because most people aren't just going to do that. And two, if somebody else wanted to take up the guardianship role of that person, they would be a rights violation by stopping them from doing so. And there would be other ways to incentivize people not to do something like that isn't necessarily violating their rights. So for instance, if every business had like a system in which they say, hey, any person that abandons their children, and by doing that, we're no longer going to allow them in our business anymore. That's one way in which you could,
like, any business.
Like not any business, but
okay, so you're kind of operating
of the businesses that would not be okay with that and say, hey, get this bitch out of here, right?
If they found out that some woman did
like
that.
If people found out
it's
that
kind
people
of like a reputation thing.
Yeah, I think reputation would deal with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense given what you've been saying in like An Ancap theory. And I generally do agree with, like, you know, I guess, like, I don't know what specifically how to term it, but like the whole theory regarding like reputation and how that would work and like how that works in society here in Ancapistan and whatnot.
Reputation would be very important because that's the one thing that sort of makes people choose you as opposed to another business, because like if they don't know who you are, then they're gonna pick what they're used to.
Yeah, sure. I guess then still like I guess part of like where I diverge from you, and why I don't really line up with your view on like the whole hypothetical we've been talking about where like the woman has the baby and she's like, I don't want the baby anymore, I'm just gonna go put it wherever. I'm not really gonna go through the effort of like specifically trying to give it to somebody or whatever. And why I think that there's obligation upon the mother to like go out of her way, I guess what you would define as slavery, to go out of her way to try and ensure the safety of that baby. And like
I would say she would be
properly-
incentivized to, yeah. Because if she did,
Why
do
would
that,
she be
nobody
incentivized?
because nobody would
okay,
want to. Nobody would want to associate with her. If you
But
found out,
I'm trying to deal with the edge case where it's like someone who just doesn't like I know you say like it's very rare, yeah, of course, like there's not going to be like a mass.
If like I answered the edge case, I think it is not a rights violation.
No, but I'm contesting that I think it is a rights violation of the child.
Yeah, like I think it's murder if you like abandon your kid and it starves to death.
I would say it's like murder by negligence. Sorry to interrupt.
Exactly.
I would say it's because yeah.
It's
let
only
me make this quick.
negligence
I
if
think
you're
that's-
obligated to take care of that child, which I don't believe you are.
But we're saying that, or at least I am saying that you are obligated because if you are obligated to take care of it, if you say you birthed it and you have been taking care of it for however long, and then randomly the mother, whoever it is, decides, I don't feel like taking care of the child, and they just throw it on the sidewalk or they do whatever like that. They need to, in this situation, they should not do that, or that there's like an obligation upon them not to do that, because that is not like going about giving up the baby in the way that in the manner that minimizes the harm to the baby. That is obviously harmful to the child, and they could go and properly give it up for adoption. They could go give it to family, and to just put it on a sidewalk and just walk away or whatever. That is a rights violation of the child. That is something you are obligated not to do, because you are not, going about that in the minimally harmful way.
I'm not sure where you can derive the minimal harmful way from the non-aggression principle. Like,
ooh, yeah, like
because
well,
all
like,
you're
what
doing.
is-
Sorry, are you gonna say something? Go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, like what is the punishment for someone who like violates another's rights?
Well, it's an eye for an eye, or restitution generally.
Like,
and caps, we
do you
generally
think, like,
believe
if-
in like a restitution based. We would want something more like, if somebody violates your rights, they would have to pay you for whatever they did to you. Yeah.
Do you think like if someone like, this is just like this is related to what you just said. Like, do you think if someone, say you have a friend who gets murdered by some fucked up person, whoever, do you think you then have the right, not out of self-defense, to go and murder them, or like that? That would be violating the NAP though, right?
Wait, say that again.
So if you have a friend or whoever and they get murdered by someone, do you then have because you said eye for an eye, do you then have the right to, not in self-defense, go and take their life due to what they did?
If nobody is that right was created when that person violated that person's rights. So if that person is dead, you can homestead that right and take up the mantle of doing the restitution if you wanted to.
So you're saying, interesting. So wait, but like, do you mean as in like the person who got murdered, like they had the right to defend themselves, even though in this situation,
well, they can't,
they failed
now
or whatever?
they're dead, but because they're dead.
Yeah.
So,
and do you think like you? Yeah.
If it would be like, let's say like I got shot by somebody and then you were like, oh my god, that's fucked up, calm, and you're like, oh, I want to avenge my friend for what was done to him. You could homestead that right to get restitution against that person, because that's a right that was created.
But like
by
restitution in the form of like going and shooting them back.
It could be either that, or you could take them to court, right?
But I don't see how you have the right to just go and shoot them just because they did that before. Like
they
that.
created that right when they shot your friend.
But like I would say that would be violating the NAP because there's no immediate threat to you or anyone else. In the case of where
you shot that person. That person got shot at another person.
Yeah, but like let's imagine person A shoots Okay, yeah. Let's imagine person C shoots person B, and then person A, who's the friend, say, of person B, they then go and find person C, and person C is just sitting at their house. You know, they just escaped after shooting person B, and then you, person A, you pull up to their house, and you would knock on their door or something, and they open their door, and then you just shoot them or whatever. Like, is that just?
Did the guy violate your friend's rights?
Yeah, because he shot him.
Have you homesteaded the right to restitution?
Like, what do you mean when you say that?
Well, then you're basically saying I have the right to. So when somebody violates your rights, right? They've created a right of restitution, right?
Yeah.
Somebody can homestead that right? If say
Okay,
I'm dead, right? So I could be like,
you're
hey,
taking
I'm gonna
up the mantle.
Yes, I'm taking up the mantle of providing restitution for this person that died, right? And then you would have the right to shoot that person because they shot him.
Yeah,
or you
that's
could
like
be
where I
like,
disagree.
or you could be like, hey, if you as opposed to me shooting you, you go to this work camp and pay me back restitution for the crime that was committed, and then maybe it would be given to like his family or something like that. And then, yeah.
Right, like
sure.
I guess like the problem comes in is when you like if you do the God, I'm getting tired, my bad.
Me too.
If you do the if you like murder the murderer, let's say, or kill the murderer in restitution, then like his friends might take that, like, you know, they might take that wrongly and try to kill you for killing him, and then it's just like, and then your family gets mad at them for doing that and then it just all blows up. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I'm not denying that could happen, but that's separate from whether or not you have the right to do that thing. Just because someone does, someone wrongly assumes that you violated that person's rights, right? It doesn't change the fact that you have the right to get restitution. That person violated your rights.
That's fair.
That is fair, yeah. I do just agree with like, yeah, like there does like become a tension between, you know, eye for an eye and the NAP, like in those specific
yeah, I agree, honestly.
Instances. Like I do think like eye for an eye isn't the best, maybe, like,
well, if somebody's aggressing against you,
but I do agree that you do have the right.
You have the
like,
right to do that thing back to them. Like if somebody shoots you, you have the right to shoot them back. If that's what they did to you.
I would say you only have the right to do. I would say you only have the right to do that if you're acting out of self-defense or you're defending another person.
Yeah, but you could shoot somebody as restitution for what if they like somebody shot me in the leg, and I survive, and they're refusing to go to court, right? And they're refusing to go to pay restitution. I have the right to shoot that guy in the leg because that's what he did to me. He deserves it.
Well, like that doesn't. I don't really see like how that follows. Like I don't really see how that follows.
There's a course by Liquid Zulu.
You're violating the NAP though, because yes, at one point they did aggress upon you by shooting you, but then unless because in this situation
it's not an initiation of force.
Well, it is technically.
No, they've initiated the force.
No. Okay, at one point they did initiate force against you.
So if you're responding to that force, that's not an initiation. They're the ones that initiated it.
You're responding to the force, not in the moment.
But you're not initiating force.
Reasonably can defend yourself.
Yeah, but you're not initiating force.
Where you're defending your own body out of.
Yeah, but the non-aggression principle is one does not have the right to initiate an aggression. If you're responding to an aggression, that's not initiating an aggression. That's retaliation.
Yeah, but if you respond to the aggression like
that's not an initiation of force.
But it is.
No, it's not. They are the one that initiated force.
Unless you're responding out of fear for your own safety, like someone shoots you and then you shoot them back right after. That's way different. You have the right to do that in that moment because you're defending your own body in the moment. No. Let me explain.
No, incorrect.
You are defending your body.
You're not initiating an aggression.
No, you are. But you are because you're not defending your body in the moment. If it's hours after the event occurs and there's no immediate
so people
threat
shouldn't
to your
pay punishment
person,
for what they do.
No, you should, but not in the form of eye for an eye. It should be in the form of
I
like
just
restitution
disagree.
in terms of like financial compensation or whatever, right?
No, I disagree.
Or-
If what? Okay, but what if they refuse to pay you? Then what?
Then you get private security or something.
And then
you
if they
make
refuse
them
to
go,
pay
you
them?
get them to go to their. No. You get private security or private security to go to their house or wherever and force them to go to court.
What if they have no money?
Hmm?
What if they have no money? Or a house?
They go to a prison where they work to pay off the debt.
Yeah, so you're kidnapping them and forcing them into a
No,
prison.
no. I'm using the same.
That's an initiation
I'm
of
kind of
force.
using the same logic as you.
That's an initiation. No, I'm asking your logic.
It's not.
No,
Because they
don't use
initiated
my
the aggression in the
logic. I'm
first
asking
place,
when
so
I ask
have
you
the
a
right to
question.
do that.
Listen, when I ask you a question, I'm asking for your logic. I'm not asking you to tell me my logic. I know my logic. I don't need you to tell me my logic.
No, this is my logic.
Okay, so if I come up to you and I shoot you and I refuse, and I don't have any money, and I would refuse to go to any camp, I refuse to give you back your money. You don't have the right to shoot me.
You don't, unless your
Yeah,
life is in danger. You don't.
Yeah, that goes against libertarian ethics.
No, it doesn't.
Because you've
Perfectly
initiated
well
force
within.
against me. You've initiated force against me. I have the right to respond to that.
But you don't have the right to respond in this situation where someone causes bodily harm to you unless you're responding
That's not true.
responding to their aggression in the
you're
moment.
just wrong.
Like you are defending your body. You're not. Okay, wait. It's all about self-defense, because if you someone shoots you and then hours after you go to their house and you shoot them back, you're not responding. You're responding to that aggression.
You're
that
responding
occurred.
to that aggression, yes.
Yes, but that occurred. It would only be just
They've
for you to
initiated the
respond
aggression,
like that
right?
if you were responding to defend yourself.
Did they initiate
You're not
the
responding
aggression?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so you responding to that is not an initiation of force. It's a response to that initiation of force, right?
It's a delayed response that isn't justified
But
because
it's a
you're not
response.
actually
It's a
defending
response
yourself.
to their initiation of force, right?
Sure.
So they're the ones that initiated the force,
continuation.
right?
I think a continuation would be probably a good word.
No, because you're
What
not
do you mean?
initiating anything.
No, I agree. It's
Well,
not
if
an
you're
initiation,
continuing,
but
that
you'd be,
doesn't
like,
matter to me
continuing.
neither. What matters to
No,
me
yeah,
under
that's
the non-aggression principle is whether you're initiating force. If somebody initiates force against you, you have the right to respond to that. It doesn't matter if it was 10 minutes second, and then I can ask you the same question. How
You
much
don't have
longer,
the right because you're
how
not
much
responding out
longer,
of self-defense.
Okay, so how much longer after am I not allowed to shoot him? What if he shoots me in the leg and I wait 10 minutes to recoup myself and then I shoot him back in the leg? Does that make it okay?
It depends on whether they are posing an immediate threat to you.
What if they're
Like,
not
so-
a threat? What if they shoot me in the leg and then they throw their gun away? I can't respond to that by shooting them.
If they, unless you have reason to. Let me think about this.
You do realize this goes completely against libertarian ethics.
No, it doesn't. No,
it does.
wait, no, it
completely.
doesn't.
Because if somebody violates your rights,
If you have
the right
reason to
respond
fear for your
that.
safety, then you have the right to respond with
And
via
you
self-defense.
also have the right to respond if they've initiated an aggression against you. Yes.
No, but not if it's like hours after they shot you.
If they've
and you go to their
initiated
house
an
and you
aggression
shoot
against you,
them.
I think that's reason to believe that they will probably do it again, or they could do it again. Right?
I mean, sure, but like
Alright, so
you're
there you
not.
go. So then I can't shoot them.
No, but you need to minimize. You need to minimize
No,
harm here.
that's
like,
not a principle. That's not part of the non-aggression principle.
And like
well,
you probably
it's something I'm introducing.
just
Yeah,
like maybe
then you're going
practically.
against the libertarian ethic, respectfully.
Yeah, this is like the reason, like intuitively, it just doesn't. So like it doesn't make sense to me. So like how I'm responding to this is developing this additional caveat that works with the non-aggression principle.
It doesn't.
To work. How does it not?
Because the person is initiating an aggression against you, and you have the right to
Okay.
respond to that. If you
So
say you
does
don't,
it-
then you're not. You're saying then that person is legitimate.
So let's just see. I'm just trying to like test you. Test
You
the
can't
logic
tell
here.
people, oh, you can't respond in this specific way. How they respond, right, is whether or
Well,
not they can respond to up to what that person did to them.
Only if they're responding via like self-defense.
Yeah, no, that
Like, in
just goes
terms
against
of,
the libertarian ethic.
Maybe this is kind of
Yeah, that would go against the libertarian ethic. I can send you
It
some.
doesn't.
I can send you some. Yeah, it does, 100%. Because fundamentally, If somebody violates your rights, you have the right to respond to that. It doesn't matter if it was 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. If somebody violates your rights, somebody also got on you and shoots you in the leg, yeah, you have the right to do that back to them.
So the length of time doesn't matter, and nor does, say, if someone shot you at some point and then they go across the world or something, and then
Nope,
you go.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't change the fact that they. Does it? Wait.
But you're not responding out of like reasonable self-defense.
Does them going across the world make me unshot?
No, obviously not.
Does me leaving the room make me unshot?
No.
So if they've initiated an aggression, right?
But you shooting them doesn't get you unshot either. That's the thing.
No,
Exactly.
but it does retaliate against that person.
Well,
You're
to be fair, you could
retaliating
say like
against that
financial
person.
restitution.
And when can
doesn't
you
either,
retaliate against another person? When they've initiated an aggression. If they've initiated an aggression, you can retaliate to them up into what they've done to you.
But if you're retaliating with violence, you can only do so if there is still reasonable fear, there's reason to believe that it is going to happen to you again.
Incorrect.
Like, and if the person, how is it incorrect? You're just saying it's incorrect.
It's incorrect because it goes against the libertarian ethic. As far as I know.
But how? How does it?
Every
does it?
Rothbard would completely disagree with you. Every single
I don't
Papa
care.
would agree.
I don't care.
Okay, they're the people who make the libertarian ethics. So you could say
This is my own libertarian ethic.
So then you're no. Then you have your own ethic.
You have to contest
you're not.
mine.
Listen to me. You're not contesting. You're not bringing forth a libertarian ethic. You're bringing forth your ethic. I'm telling you the libertarian ethic. You could disagree with the libertarian ethic,
and you think my ethic is wrong.
Yes, I could personally think it's wrong because I'm a libertarian.
Okay, yeah, of course you are.
So I'm gonna disagree with that. Yeah. Because it goes.
But you
against the
haven't
libertarian
presented to me how.
I did.
No, but you haven't.
I did.
But you haven't. I've been shooting you down every time, though.
No, you have not.
I've literally told you how it
I
doesn't
literally
make
told
sense.
you you can respond up if somebody initiates an aggression. If somebody initiates an aggression against you, you have the right to respond up to what they've done to you. That is what the libertarian ethic is. I could give you sources as to what I'm saying. If you disagree with that, then you're not really agreeing with the libertarian ethic. You're going by some other ethic.
Okay. And
yeah, so that's
even if that
fine.
is the case, so what?
I mean, then you're just incorrect.
What's your point?
Just
How am I incorrect?
Because that's not what libertarians believe.
No, Peter Griffin's correct, man. Peter Griffin.
Of course, I'm Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin's not a libertarian.
Okay.
He's correct, man. I've seen him on that show before. The Simpsons.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Because I'm getting.
Don't head
tired.
out, man. Yo.
Bro, I've been hanging out for a while, so.
Yeah.
It was a fun talk. Anyway.
It was a good. What do you
That's
call
good.
it? It was a good call.
It's a good talk. It's a good talk.
I'd be interested to talk to you about this again or something. I think I can.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Because
Just let me know.
Yeah. Okay.
Think about them more. Come up with the best arguments, and I'll come up with.
Yeah, because like I'm working off of. I won't go into it because you said you're about to go, but I'm working off of certain principles I've thought about and tried to develop before. I don't think I've demonstrated exactly what I mean here, but.
Well, I'm going based off of the libertarian ethics and the non-aggression principle. Anything that would contradict that, I'm gonna disagree with it. And I could show you. Stefan Kinsella has a really, really good book called "Private Property" or something about the law of I forgot what it's called. It's a really good book. I can send it to you. And it goes. And then there's a course by Liquid Zulu that goes over this too.
Yeah, I've seen.
I was just gonna add really quickly, you can do that, but I think you'd probably agree that it's the best course of action would be to not shoot them yourself, like going alone, like assassinating kind of thing, but to get a group of people, so that your reputation isn't damaged within the tribe kind of thing, right?
Well, what's
you'd basically
most
them.
practical thing is different from what
exactly.
is the...
And I'm just kind of sprinkling this on top. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah. Take care.
Have a good night.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.